Yay, maybe. Can you guys see us? Are we living?
Are we living?
Is this working?
How's it going?
Why are we still offline?
Stream configuration quality excellent.
Why are we still offline? Oh, there we
Oh.
go. Yay!
Yeah.
Why does it still say we're offline? Alright, hey guys. Hopefully, sorry we're late. I was having technical difficulties.
Seems like we might be online right now. I hope we are.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Someone let me know if we're actually on. People, it's showing us online, so people talk to me really quick. Is there anybody that can you pull up?
The
Do you have
video
Twitch on
should
your
have
phone?
started, otherwise it wouldn't have said start.
Yeah, I don't know why it says we're offline.
Does that mean it won't update people, like send the emails out or whatever?
If I type something here, it'll pull up. Maybe just we have like ourselves like hidden.
Can't we just go to the page on the internet and see what's happening?
Shh. Stop trying to use logic.
Can't we just open a browser and go there?
Sorry guys, we are currently. I'm dealing with technical difficulties that's making this thing stupid. I just might not be able to see chat right now.
There we go. Looks like something's happening.
Ah, there's no dot.
Oh, you gotta click that.
Yep, we have to say.
Start watching.
Is this working?
Yes.
Well, I can see it.
Let's see if we can get some
Say offline
feedback.
now, no?
Let's see if we can hear
Is
ourselves
anyone
talk.
else watching? No, the speakers aren't on for that reason, so we can't. Well, we're gonna have the round start, so I'm just gonna update that. Someone yell at me if you guys can hear us. I don't know if we just don't have people view. Oh, yay, I can see it. Yay.
You gotta watch out.
Hi, Cook the Fourth.
There we go. Unenthusiastic. Hello.
Hello, we got it working.
Congrats for being the first visible comment in today's chat.
Eggs are right.
Alright, let's get this set up.
There is a guy playing eggs.
There is a guy playing eggs?
Yes. Right?
I think. Did someone say they were playing eggs?
Yes, we have one player
Alright.
playing Eggs and Gravy, which is eggs with brainstorm. Gravestorm.
I was
now
about to
he's
say.
back.
Alright.
No brainstorms, yes gravestorms.
He is facing. So our first match is Junk versus. What's Richard's last name?
Sherman.
We have Arthur Lynn. He's playing the same junk deck that you might have seen on camera in previous weeks. And he's going against Richard Sherman, who's playing a bug control deck with Tassiger and Vendilion Click. So it should be interesting to see how these black-green decks line up against each other. We have a Breeding Pool tapped for Richard, followed by a Marsh Flats untapped for Arthur. Let's see if Richard has a 2-drop here, something like a Tarmogoyf to get on the board. Tarmogoyf's safe to play on turn 2 in this matchup, since you're not really scared of Lightning Bolt out of a junk deck.
Unless it gets smothered.
Unless it gets smothered. Good point. You're now okay getting pathed on turn 2 also. And it looks like Arthur's going to fetch for a tap land after Richard passes with 2 mana up. He played a basic, so either he doesn't have a lot of lands, or he really wants to leave 2 mana up and doesn't want to take damage.
If he's playing control, it might just be remand.
Remand seems most likely. You never know, it could be Mana Leak as well.
Mana Leak, and he has 1 Deprive.
So it could be a 2 mana counterspell of some sort.
This way.
Arthur's draw for the turn is Liliana, which is going to be pretty powerful in this matchup, I think.
He looks like he has quite a good hand to start off. So, oh, I don't like those abrupt decays though. He has 3 abrupt decays.
He's got a lot of abrupt decays, which probably won't do much considering Richard did not play a 2-drop. But we'll see if he has some good 3 here. Ashiok, maybe?
No, he doesn't run it.
I would be so impressed if he was running Ash.
No Ashiok,
We've
which
actually
is
cut.
good for him since abrupt decay is going
Liliana
to
the
cut it
Veil's
right
been
off.
cut.
So Arthur on turn 3 is going to go for, looks like a Lingering Souls here.
It's gonna get leaked. That's what he moved to the front of his hand. Yep, Mana Leak.
Leaked.
I guess of what you could get Mana Leak, Lingering Souls really isn't that bad because you still get to recast
I
it.
guess
Totally.
he just doesn't want it to go
It's
out
only
of
half a
control.
card. Now, maybe
Yeah.
Richard, if possible, is going to try and remand that on the way back, since that exiles it for good. And it's
Does
a good
he
way
have
to
a
get
remand
card
in
advantage.
hand?
That's a good question. Well, we're gonna get
That
to
beautiful
see
Inquisition.
Arthur's hand.
That's gotta be Liliana.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly, he's just going to take Liliana here. So Arthur does have the 4th land, so we're likely to see a Siege Rhino next turn, unless Arthur wants to wait for Hand Disruption to see if there's any counter spells.
Oh, the Ziggs from chat is actually saying this deck, some version of this deck does run Ashiok.
Okay.
So it is a legitimate thing to hold up Abrupt Decay
I guess
for.
it would be good against other control decks, and you just want to steal theirs,
Or if they don't have that many win, if they're like a combo deck,
Waste.
you can just mill enough of their win cons. Like you can just beat Scapes if you make them mill too many mountains.
I think Sherman has a couple.
So he's
Maybe
going
2 to
to
3
play his
circles.
4th land here, and looks like cast a 2-mana spell. That's going to be
Flashback
Lingering
Lingering
Souls
Souls.
from the graveyard.
Remand for value.
Richard, it looks like, I think he has Vendilion Click in hand right now.
So I guess he's debating on clicking away the Siege Rhino.
Or playing Remand, which it looks like he has.
Nope, he let that resolve.
He let it resolve, so we'll see if he goes for a click here, which is not very good against Lingering Souls. No click. He does know about the Abrupt Decay.
He's got to be saving mana for the Siege Rhino then.
The draw for the turn is Spell Snare, which does not do very much against
Abrupt Decay.
Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
Even though it looks on the surface like it does for about 2 seconds before you actually read Abrupt Decay.
That's
It does stuff against Goyf and Skoos.
Sure
Although-
counters Skoos.
I do know Arthur just cut one of his Skoos for the 4th Lingering Soul, so he's now running a 2-4 split instead of a 3-3 split.
Alright, Arthur's gonna fetch at the end of Richard's turn and get a
Is he
Temple
gonna
Guardian.
get clicked in response to that?
Well, there's really no point in clicking in response because
Well, because then he has to waste mana on his turn to Abrupt Decay. So then if he wants to get rid of the click, he can't cast Siege Rhino.
sure, but he could just as well do that during Arthur's draw step as opposed to right now.
That's fair.
And so Ashiok against Siege Rhino would be pretty good if you
It'd be
hit
one
it.
thing if Arthur only had one
That is
Abrupt
also
Decay,
true.
so you could get rid of the Abrupt
Yeah,
Decay.
he does know Arthur has 3.
But Arthur
Abrupt
has 3,
Decays.
so it's not like he can take the removal spell and then go to town with a click. Aside from which, these 2 Lingering Souls tokens are gonna stop click from getting in, so...
Is he just taking the 2?
I mean, his
Looks
clicks
like
are the
there's
only
no
thing he's got in
blocks.
the air.
So,
It's just gonna have to chunk
Richard
one down
down
the
to
road.
18 here.
Yeah.
Richard, interestingly, has not played a fetch this game. He's played a fetch, but he has not cracked a fetch.
I guess the best matchup with Ashiok would be against Scape Shift, obviously.
Yeah, chat's kind of echoing what I'm saying, where it's like, if you can get rid of enough of their win conditions with Ashiok, you can just win. If you hit like a Siege Rhino
Sure.
or 2 with Ashiok, you just beat them. Let's see, is this going to be Mana Leak or Remand? I didn't see if he had another
One of the
Remand.
He's got
Mana
Snapcaster
Leak.
for Mana Leak. That's a good one. Alright, the Snapcaster is going to start racing Arthur a little bit.
Got to exile the man.
Although it's also going to die to Abrupt Decay, is my guess. Since when you have 3 of them, you can afford to burn one on a
I'm trying to
Snapcaster.
figure out if he realizes that Mana Leak is exiled. I can't tell the way his graveyard pattern is.
It looks like he doesn't. Do you want to go out there and
Can
talk
you go
to him?
tell him that the Mana Leak's supposed to be exiled? I don't know if it's going to be relevant, but
We'll see.
correct card order.
There we go.
There we go. Mana Leak is now exiled.
Goodbye,
correctly.
Mana Leak. You did your job and you did it again.
Did it twice. Yeah, Snapcaster kind of similar to Lingering Souls in that you can use it twice.
Alright, the draw for the turn looks like a land.
Thank you.
And he's going to play the Pluto Delta that he drew. And Richard should be at 17 now, I believe, since he cracked a fetch.
Oh yes, he did just crack the fetch.
Snapcaster gets in for 2, so we're tied at 17.
Snapcaster beats.
I'm curious whether Arthur wants to, let's assume his Rhino gets countered, whether he wants to leave a Spirit back to block Snapcaster.
Well, I don't
I mean,
know.
I guess you could just
Cares.
keep going 2 and 2, and you plan on pulling ahead with Rhino down the road.
So he can keep 1 back and then trade 1 for 0, basically, or he can trade 2 for 2. Those are his choices. So it depends on how he sees himself positioned in this matchup.
Yeah, I guess like has he drawn yet? So we don't know his draw yet.
No, he's about to draw for the turn. And Siege Rhino might resolve. The point might be moot. He's also drawn a Treetop
Village is quite good there. So you
quite
definitely
good.
just slam it. I don't think he cares that much about it.
Yep.
Looks like he's gonna get clicked, which is probably gonna attempt to take his Siege Rhino.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely take
It's interesting that he allowed Arthur to move to his main phase and just cast Siege Rhino. I wonder if that means he has a counterspell. Because if Arthur attacked, that means that he had an opening to play Siege Rhino before it got clicked.
I think we did see that he had still Remand in hand.
Abrupt and Decaying Response definitely does not make a whole lot of sense here, since you might as well force the person to make the decision. As it turns out,
Oh, he
his hand
doesn't
is
have a Siege Rhino.
all Abrupt Decays. He doesn't have a Siege Rhino.
Can he take Treetop Village or is Vendilion Click
No,
only non-land?
Vendilion
It's
Click
gotta
is
be
only
non-land.
non.
Oh yeah, he just pointed that out. Yep.
So
Cannot
he's gonna
take the Treetop.
one of the Abrupt Decays.
I think I might almost not take anything there because one of the things is you don't have to take anything with Vendilion Click.
Yep.
You don't. I mean, he's already
Ooh,
got the abrupt
Inquisition of
decay.
Kozilek. That's a
Okay.
good. I'd much rather have that than Abrupt Decay.
I'm glad he drew that because we'll get to see Richard's hand. Vendilion Click is tapping, untapping. Looks like it's blocking. Looks like it might be getting Abrupt Decay.
Yeah,
Either
it
before
would never- it
or
would never
after
get a chance.
blocks. Can you
I'd
ask
probably
him if it's
never get.
before or after?
I was pretty sure we can assume afterwards because you should never get a chance to do it.
You shouldn't, but sometimes people do. No question, if you're gonna Abrupt Decay, if it blocks, you should do so before it blocks.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna
it's an easy
assume it
mistake
was
to make.
before.
okay,
And take the Remand. Very good. So it's just the Spell Snare left.
just Remand and Spell Snare.
So his glyph is never resolving.
So what do you think? Do you Remand there? Do you Remand the Inquisition and make him cast it again?
I don't think you do because if he he's going to clearly cast it again there.
Yeah, the spirit didn't get in.
Yeah.
Or did.
Yeah. I don't think you remand it there because if you draw something better and he recasts it, like you still want to be drawing what's on top of your hand.
But what if you draw into a 4-drop?
Well, like what if you flip up a Snapcaster?
Right. So I don't. Those are both sort of roughly equally likely.
Was there a
Yeah,
fetch?
I
I guess
think
Snapcaster is better.
I
but-
think you play more relevant 3-drops than I think you play more relevant drops less than 3 than you do 4-drops because like if you remand into a mana leak, it's the same thing, and you'd rather have the mana leak.
I agree with you in some cases, but in this situation, I'm actually not sure because Mana Leak's not really relevant here at this point anymore, and things like Spell Snare and Abrupt Decay
Oh, Arthur
might be
fetched
good
again.
later.
We need
but
to knock
Arthur
him
fetched
one
again,
life.
so he goes down 1.
Thank you, chat. Arthur did fetch again that we missed, so we need to knock his life a little lower.
So you got the 2 from the spirits.
Snapcaster gets in for 2, so it's going to be 15 to 14. Looks like Cryptic was the draw for the turn. That's going to be good, no matter pretty much what the situation.
Well, if he moves to combat, like, and he cryptics, you can still swing with Treetop Village.
I'm kind of hoping he goes for bouncing the Snapcaster here at some point to Snapcaster
Yeah,
back to
get to
Cryptic.
do it again.
Cryptic Cat. Does he have enough blue mana? Oh, he does now have enough blue
Yeah, I
mana
think
to
a counter
snap.
bounce Snapcaster would
I
be better
think
than
he
draw.
no. I can't tell what that land is on the far
Ooh.
left. If it's another Watery Grave, he actually does have enough blue for Snapcaster.
It's-
Cryptic.
He has Watery Grave,
Breeding Pool Island, so that's enough for a Snap and a Cryptic. Alright, Lingering Souls tokens getting in for 2. This is a close race so far. Both sides have a lot of dead cards, and there is Lingering Souls, so that's going to be a problem.
Lingering Souls make it a little less of a close race.
We'll see if he goes for counter draw or counter bounce Snapcaster Mage. I'm pretty sure he's going to counter here. Maybe
He
not. Maybe he'll
might
counter
not.
the flashback.
He might be saving it for something
Now,
else.
if you're Arthur here, are you worried about engineered explosives? Are you worried about Abrupt Decay, or do you just flash back right away?
I think he just flash it back.
And that's what he's going to
Because
do.
if he's not countering the first one, he's unlikely to counter the second. Is his logic? Looks like he is going to actually counter the second.
Looks like he might be planning to counter the second here.
But yeah, but my logic is if he doesn't counter the first, you may as well flash it back right away. Because what's the worst that happens?
So he's tapping out of blue mana, which is kind of interesting.
He has Abrupt Decay in hand, so he just might Abrupt Decay something.
Yeah.
So counter bounce the Spirit Token.
But I mean, you should still leave Watery Grave untapped instead of Swamp. Minor thing, but...
Yeah.
So counter bounce one of the other tokens is not bad
Yeah.
either.
Yeah, Arthur still looks like he's going to pull ahead in this race.
Yeah.
For now.
I think I would have bounced the Snapcaster there.
Do they both have an Abrupt Decay? No, Richard has a Spell Snare, not Abrupt Decay.
So draw is Creeping Tar Pit, which is going to add another twist to this race. But at the same time, the Treetop Village is really going to... Arthur's
Do about the
definitely
same thing
favored
when
here.
it gets through anyway.
I mean, obviously one Thragtusk is all it takes to turn things around. So we'll see if Arthur wants to block here. Looks like he's just going to Abrupt Decay the Snapcaster.
Oh, so Justice Peanut has a good point that if he were to counter bounce his Snapcaster, Arthur could Abrupt Decay it in response.
Very good
And then
point.
the counter spell would be countered itself because it doesn't have a target.
The counterspell would still
The
counter
counter
the
spell would
spell,
resolve, but the Snapcaster would die anyway.
The Snapcaster would still die.
Yeah,
That's a very good
so
point.
it's bad value.
You're absolutely right.
Although I'm pretty sure he just Abrupt Decayed the
Who is
Snapcaster
that?
anyway.
Justice Peanut. Thanks, Justice Peanut.
So that was 3 damage. Or did he attack with the treetop too there?
Looks.
Yeah, I think he did.
Looks like he might have played a tap land and attacked
Yeah.
the Treetop Village, since I'm not sure what else he tapped
So
land
that's
for.
5, so he is at 8.
Yep. All right, so Richard has a Creeping Tar Pit to his name and not very much else. Both players have kind of flooded out.
Do you
a
throw the
little bit.
Creeping Tar Pit in front of the Treetop Village?
So if you do that, you're going to be... Looks like he might have
I
passed
probably-
the turn
yeah, I
already. I think
probably
we're on
would.
Arthur's next turn.
Yeah. He just drew his card and passed.
Well, I guess he
But-
played it since he had the Spell Snare in hand, so I guess
Yeah, I
drew a
guess he
land.
played a land.
And a Wildwood has entered the fray as well. So these
That-
animation
How
lands
much
are
did y'all
really
lose? 5?
putting a hurt on Richard.
Yeah, he lost
here.
5 last turn from the
You're saying
attack.
it's six.
He lost
Oh,
5
no,
last
it is
turn.
6. Yeah, I can't do math.
And I think he's about to take 7 this turn because
Yeah,
He
that's
has to
game.
block then or else he dies.
he has to block. He has
Oh,
to
no,
block
he dies
actually.
anyways. Yeah, no matter what, he's dead.
He could block Stirring Wildwood and go to 1.
Yeah, but then he's still
Since the
basically
Wildwood doesn't
dead.
have trample. Yeah, he's still basically dead. Even if he draws Wrath or something.
The land will kill him.
Yeah, there's
The
nothing
lands
that
will
gets
kill
him
him.
out of that situation.
Even if he draws Cryptic Command, the opponent can always just not animate the
And then-
lands
Yeah. You
until
tap
the
his
Cryptic
team.
Command gets cast.
Yeah.
After the Cryptic Command resolves, you then animate the lands.
It would have ticked up once.
If the opponent only has 1 land, you can actually get around that by tapping their team and bouncing their land.
Yeah.
But if they have 2, then that play no longer works. So it looks like a Slaughter Pact
Oh, in
is
English.
coming out of the deck for
Italian?
Arthur.
No,
Spanish.
Spanish.
Slaughter Pact actually seems decent in this matchup since it kills Click at least. Though I guess you have Abrupt Decay to kill Click.
I don't like Slaughter Pact. I
At
don't think
least-
Richard has not shown Arthur enough creatures to warrant keeping in Slaughter Pact.
The only creature he's actually seen is Snapcaster,
Snap.
Click and Snapcaster.
Well, he knows he's Bug, so you can expect a few more creatures, like possibly a Tasigur or a Tarmogoyf, even though he didn't see
Right.
it. You definitely
You don't
like,
play green without.
But even Tarmogoyf trades favorably with Slaughter Pact on mana in the long run. Obviously, Slaughter Pact you get the discount up front, but it's still 3 mana for 2 mana.
Yeah.
Is that a Blood Baron in Arthur's sideboard? I
Yeah,
believe it
he
is.
decided to put in Blood Baron in his board, which might actually come in here.
Well, it's got protection from black. It doesn't have
And white.
protection from
Yeah.
green or blue.
But it means unless it's countered, it gets through.
One
Yeah,
thing that hurts Sherman.
I don't know that
think
Richard
he-
has any removal that's not black. So I think it might have protection from Richard's entire deck once it comes in play. Although Richard is likely to be playing some sweeper effects of some sort.
Sherman has some number of 2 Golgari charms main and side. I think he might have had 1 main. He just didn't see it for the tokens, but
Yeah, Golgari Charm is pretty good versus Lingering Soul. So Arthur's boarding out all of his Abrupt Decays, it looks like. And his Slaughter Pact and Dromoka's... The last card is Dromoka's Command he's boarding out, it looks like.
You think
I wanna-
Golgari Charm is good against Lingering Souls?
yes.
Yes.
Because
It
they
kills
can
them.
always just not flash it back if they suspect it. And they sometimes can check on your hand.
It still then becomes 1-for-1, and it can also kill random other stuff.
Well, it's kind of like a 1 for
I mean, it's
1/2
really good in his
if
case
you're
because he
using it
only
to counter
has
half of a Lingering
a
Souls.
couple clicks.
I do like that it has the versatility to also counter an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. Like if you have a click out and you can just
Make some instrument.
regenerate it
Regenerate.
once they try an Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
So that's nice at least. It's
Can also shrink your opponent's team in combat.
can shrink your opponent's team in combat. It can save you from dying for a turn. And who knows what crazy enchantment somebody might bring in.
Yeah.
So
So I think Arthur brought in 4 Fulminator Mages there.
Fulminator Mage. So he's going after Richard's mana base,
Yeah.
Or the,
which is not
Because,
going to
like-
work if Richard draws as many lands as he did last game.
Yeah, well, it's because, like, the logic with that is, like, he didn't see very many creatures from Richard's deck.
and he saw Creeping Tar Pit. So.
Yeah, but he saw land. So his logic is Richard probably seems like a more hard control deck.
Yep.
So why not just bring in this Fulminator Mages to kill it?
And it's a good way to be a 2-for, get
Doesn't
a
he
2-for-1
have
against a control
Spellbomb?
deck that doesn't have a lot of ways of blocking a 2-2. Because the 2-2 doesn't kill them quickly, but it will kill them eventually. And then
So-
when they destroy the Fulminator, you can
Sherman
sack
brought
it.
in a Nihao Spellbomb over there. So
Yeah,
that-
there is the Spellbomb to shrink Goyfs.
Now Spellbomb to shrink Goyfs.
get rid of
Kill
Lingering
Lingering
Souls.
Souls.
Exile Lingering Souls, though it doesn't necessarily always work that way if they cast it and flash it back right away, because you don't really have a window to exile it. They can just
Yeah.
get priority once they
Cast
get
it,
to the
retain
graveyard.
priority, cast it again.
But if they get into a situation where maybe you're keeping the Nile Spellbomb in hand, so they tap it on turn 3 for Lingering Souls, then you drop the Nile Spellbomb.
We did just see Tasigur
You gotta follow.
also.
There's a quick Nile Spellbomb.
Is Richard
the-
running
the
Goyfs
ra-
or is he just running Tasigur?
He has 4 Goys.
No.
The
The Razor Gamer, thanks for the follow.
Razor Gamer.
Thank you, Razor
won.
Gamer.
Alright. So this should be an interesting post-board matchup. Arthur might have sided out a little bit too much of his removal, but he still has a Liliana. He left his Lilianas in, which do a lot, because just being able to make him sack his 1 or 2 creatures is pretty good.
Yeah, when you're playing against a creature deck that doesn't have Lingering Souls, then Liliana can just be a nice solid 2-for-1.
Yeah. And it just shreds the control player's hand.
It seems
It's
like
always
Arthur's
good.
deck is a little better set up for this matchup overall.
Is that one land? If that is one land, that is.
He's got the
I see some
Inquisition.
cards. I see a lot of spells.
Is he on the draw? He's on the draw. You might keep this on the draw.
Depends. Sort of depends what the other cards are, but also sort of doesn't.
The problem is his one card in hand is a swamp, which makes this a little bit riskier of a keep.
So Arthur's gonna mulligan.
I think if that was a dual land, like a Overgrown Tomb, you could keep it, but I think because it's a basic swamp, you can't.
I think you mulligan it anyway.
It depends. How many I don't know. If he had like two discard spells, I think you can still keep it.
I guess it depends on if you're a gambling
The thing is, if
person.
they just have a deck that has like, if they just have a draw with like 2 Tarmogoyfs,
I also am really aggressive with my.
you're just
one
gonna
land
die
base.
really fast.
There's a problem. I am definitely really aggressive.
I think I'm
the
with you. I
one-lander.
would have kept
And
it,
his
but
hand was heavy on the 3 and 4 mana spells. Like he had at least Liliana, Fulminator, Siege Rhino, and I think he might
He
have
had a
some other
2-drop though,
stuff
didn't
too.
he?
Also, the Razor Gamer, we only stream Modern and Legacy. Modern is on Wednesdays right now. Legacy is on Thursdays. And once Mark, the owner of the channel, gets his car fixed, we'll also be streaming Monday Legacy. But right now, it's just here.
I think Junk is better than.
That's a standard Twitch. All right, so both
The other
players have
names.
6 cards here.
I just like Junk because it's funny.
So Richard is gonna go with.
Junk is the old way.
Richard's on the play
right
here,
way.
and he is considering his land drop for the turn. I think both players have officially kept. Though it could be that Arthur's still considering his hand. It looks pretty land heavy. I see there's a Liliana there. So he's gonna go with a Polluted Delta.
Ooh,
Tassiger the draw for Arthur.
Did he keep 5 lands and Liliana?
I think he kept 5 lands.
Oh,
Liliana.
Siege Rhino Liliana. And then he just drew a
Going down to
Tassiger.
19.
That's actually pretty good, having a lot of lands with Liliana, because the nice thing about Liliana is that if you have too many lands, you can just discard them to Liliana.
Yep.
Richard fetches for a Water Grave here. It looks like he has some 2-mana counter spells.
His hand is also immune to Inquisition of Kozilek.
Serum Visions. So he can... Yeah, that's true. If Richard Inquisitions Arthur here, he's going to lay him down on the table and
Laugh.
feel very happy with himself. Arthur also goes to 19 for a fetch. Getting a Temple Garden.
Yeah.
Richard has the mana up for Remand, and in this game he actually has it.
What decks do you play? Gibbos?
Yeah,
Give us
Gibson
some-
is talking about how he's going to be wrecking
Enemies will
on.
cringe.
Some combo deck, obviously.
Is
probably.
that standard or modern, the SCG IQ's coming up?
I don't know. I know there's a 5K this weekend. That's standard.
That's standard. There's also the Modern Masters release this weekend.
That is true.
Pretty good options. So Arthur goes with the tap land on turn 2. Richard wishes he has cast Serum Visions now, but that's fine. He can just cast it this turn and still have Remand
Well,
up.
Arthur does have some scary 2-drops, though, so I feel like holding it is pretty good. Although
yeah.
now Richard is clearly signaling he has Counterspell.
Now he also has Abrupt Decay, so
I thought that was a Goyf.
could be.
Slaughter
Looks like Slaughter
Pact.
Pact is still in the deck. Looks like he's looking at 2 Slaughter Pacts, and he's going to keep them both on top. So he's happy having a lot of removal.
Slaughter Pact does not kill Siege Rhino.
No, it
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
It kills Treetop Village and
Doesn't
Stirring
kill
Wildwood.
Tassiger either.
It's good against man lands.
Yes.
Or person lands, I guess.
It is
What's-
very bad, though, if you get Slaughter Pacted and then Fulminator made your only black source. No, don't play the Orborg. Giving him more black sources.
Giving all the black sources he could ever want. Liliana's going to
That's
come here and pretty
good.
much get Abrupt Decayed right on the spot if
He
Richard
gets a
has
chance
one.
to activate it.
Unless he remands here.
No, I think he just said okay. Is it? Oh no, he's thinking about it. Looks like.
Liliana has no dice on it at the moment.
I think you have to remit. No, he's
And-
letting it go. It looks like he's planning on abrupt decaying it,
Here come the dice.
which is fine.
Nope. No, it's
Discard
getting
remand?
discarded.
Wait, what's going on?
He looks like he's
They're
discarding
definitely
the remand.
discarding. So Liliana has
Yeah.
resolved. Liliana gets
I
Abrupt
don't
decayed.
like necessary. Oh, so he's actually also setting up for a really good delve right now because this next turn he can cast Tassiger.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is that it's nice casting Tassiger on 5 mana so that you can immediately activate it that turn. But that does not seem to worry him. We'll see. He might go with Tarmogoyf here. Here's a Tarmogoyf, which is currently, we've got land, instant, sorcery, planeswalker. So it's a 4-5, I believe.
Yeah, we actually have a. We used to have a big dice out there. Let's see if they find it. Yeah, we have the Tarmogoyf dice.
There we go. The Tarmogoyf dice are in the house. Tarmogoyf is a 4-5. So Arthur's on a 5-turn clock that is quickly going to grow as soon as he drops this Siege Rhino.
Yeah, just say now he just slams the Siege Rhino and doesn't care.
There it goes. 4-5 versus 4-5.
I don't think that there's a way that gets countered with anything in his hand. So let's move him to 21.
Richard falls to 16. Oh, something happening. Looks like Richard has something that he can cast.
Can't slaughter pact it.
Richard also seems to have missed his land drop.
I think he was thinking of slaughter pacting it and then realized he couldn't.
Yes, and now he draws his second slaughter pact, and he can't be feeling too great about keeping all these slaughter pacts at the moment.
Yeah, he actually can't slaughter pact or abrupt decay, so all his removal in his hand right now is dead. And I think now at this point Arthur can just start landing. I believe Arthur does not have a Foaming Mage, but he does have a Tasigur, which also cannot be slaughter pacted.
The good news for Richard is that slaughter pact does at least kill Stirring Wildwood.
No, non-land. Slaughter pact. No,
It's
slaughter pact does.
non-land.
Yeah, slaughter pact does. Abrupt decay doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, now we're gonna get to see all these slaughter pacts, as well as a Tasigur, which he chose not to cast that turn.
Yeah, you definitely get rid of the Snapcaster there. Going.
I feel like I would have been tempted to just Snapcast or Serum Visions that turn.
Oh no, his Tarmogoyf is bigger than the Rhino.
Uh-oh. I wonder if he realized that when he made that play.
I don't think he cared. I think it's better to have the Goyf one bigger, because he can just slam Tasigur now. He knows Tasigur is going to be resolved.
So if you're Richard, why not just play Snapcast or Serum Visions on your turn?
Threaten that counter spell?
Threaten a remand. I don't know. Seems like pretty thin value. It's not like Arthur can really afford to play around a counterspell. Because it only gets worse for him if he holds it. Also, I would have just cast Tasigur that turn if I wasn't.
Yeah, I think
Snapcaster Serum
Tasigur
Vision
might have been the correct play. But he also might be like trying to hold up that abrupt decay for something.
Another unslaughterable creature.
And that shrinks the Goyf. No
Arthur
more
here
points.
can exile all his bad cards. It looks like he's left Inquisition. The glare makes it kind of hard to see.
Yeah, that's an Inquisition.
So he chose to exile all his cards but Inquisition. I feel like I would have been tempted to keep Liliana there. Maybe he's thinking that he wants to be able to activate Tasigur and also that same turn cast the card that he gets back with Tasigur.
Yeah, we'll have to see what starts occurring. That looks like a remand?
Yeah, it's a remand. The Stirring Wildwood, by the way, has come into play for Arthur.
That's a 3-4 though, so that just gets blocked by a Goyf. Though it almost would be worse just to swing in with everything. He takes the Siege Rhino, he takes the Stirring Wildwood. If he doesn't play Tasigur, because he takes the Stirring Wildwood and then just takes 8.
I mean, if I'm Arthur and I get to untap, I'm just activating Tasigur.
Yeah.
No reason not to. And I would do it main phase so I can cast the
Inquisition.
if that's
At
what I end up
least.
getting back. Plus, you never know, you might get back a Tarmogoyf or something, some 2-mana spell. Or you might mill Lingering Souls, and then you can just cast that.
Well, Lingering Souls would be
So
sweet.
there's a lot of good reasons to activate Tasigur in main phase, and it looks like that's what Arthur's going to do.
Looks like that's what he's thinking about doing.
I think he has an untapped land in hand. It looks like he's just selecting the exact right lands.
He has a fetch land in hand, I believe.
So here come 2 cards. It's an Inquisition and another Inquisition. I think that's just 3 Inquisitions in the graveyard right now.
Yeah, so he gets back Inquisition and casts the
There it is.
Inquisition.
Immediately gets played. 3 Inquisitions in the graveyard again.
This is going to get remanded,
It is going to get remanded.
and then he's going to play a land and recast it.
Yep. And one of these slaughter packs is going to bite the dust, unless Richard drew a different spell that can be taken. Oh, and actually he did. It's an Abrupt Decay, so one of these removal spells is about to get passed.
Yeah, that's definitely where to take the Abrupt Decay there.
Alright, now here I can't imagine Richard not casting Tasigur. I mean, maybe he was thinking he didn't want to delve away cards. That might have been it, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to
Because he had a
not
snap in
cast
his
Tasigur
hand
to
at
make
that
sure
point,
that his
didn't he?
Tarmogoyf stayed bigger than Siege Rhino or Tasigur.
Yeah, he did also have a Snapcaster in his hand, so if he would
At
have been
that time.
getting rid of anything with the Snapcat, with the Tasigur, he wouldn't be able to Snapcast
Right.
it back.
At the same time, all his cards in his graveyard are 2 mana, so and he didn't
Yeah.
have a 4th land, so it was going to be a while before he was Snapcasting back things anyway.
Yeah, here comes down the Tasigur, it looks
Yeah, the
like.
slaughter packs are looking pretty good.
What's the chat saying?
Oh, they're
Mighty
talking about
strong.
the side effect. Thank you, Curd Bros, for following.
By the way, I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm Zach. I'm one of the people that's been talking.
He plays funny Grixis decks every once in a
I
while.
like to play Gurmag Angler. You might have seen me in a match against Affinity or getting my butt kicked in by Burn a few times.
I believe one of the matches you had, though, was when you were still running the Pyromancer's Ascension and the
Yep.
Isochron Scepter.
Yep, the Pyromancer's Ascension was short-lived, but
Isochron Scepter Power.
a nice experiment while it lasted. Alright, Tasigur comes down. Back to the game. Enough about my crazy Grixis decks.
Oh, so yeah, Chad just pointed out Richard can't actually use Tassigur's effect because he doesn't have enough lands. Ooh, and there's a Goyf. Does he have Spell Snare? No.
Looks like it's just going to get insta-slaughter pacted. Which I probably would save till end of turn in case Arthur now drops a Fulminator Mage.
Are you guys ready to run out there if he draws a card?
It doesn't work on Fulminator though either.
Yeah, Fulminator's still black.
It's red
Yeah,
black.
but you don't want to slaughter pact it and then get the Fulminator cast.
If he were to slam Fulminator Mage, he blows up the black source, and then he can't pay for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I see.
And Arthur's going to play his last land. It looks like he's choosing not to activate Tasigur.
Can't cast the spell with it anyway, so, you may as
So
well just
that
do
makes
it.
sense. Give the person less information about whether you're going to flip a Lingering Souls or what's happening.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I am here.
Yeah, Texas Ranger's here. He's sitting on my left. He's gonna be running. He said he might be bopping in and out, but he's just kind of hanging out. That Mana Leak is good, but he can't activate it yet, unfortunately.
Yeah, this Fulminator Mage when it comes out is going to be pretty bad. Yes. He runs 4 Creeping Tar Pits.
Alright, Arthur's going for a fetch land.
Probably getting some white to get
I'd be
his mana.
surprised if he did not fetch
he-
for an untapped land here. And it looks like he has done just that, so he's going to
Get a
take
force.
3 damage and activate Tasigur.
No, he got a force. He took 1 damage.
Got a forest, take only 1. Wonder if Arthur has any crazy cards in his deck that will grow Batterskull. Like, I would grow Tarmogoyf. Like, if he just flips a Batterskull here. Which is doubly bad, because then not only are you growing the Tarmogoyf, but you also don't get
Ooh,
to draw
Maelstrom
Batterskull.
Pulse. So it's Inquisition of Kozilek or Maelstrom Pulse.
Mm.
I think. Oh, I don't even. Those are both bad for him because Inquisition takes the Mana Leak. Maelstrom Pulse kills.
Mana
Goyf.
Leak's not that good right now. I mean, Arthur has 7 mana. Mana Leak's just not a very strong card.
Yeah. Also, like, Arthur's just so far ahead right now because he can keep activating Tasker each turn, so he has so good a card
Yeah.
advantage. Also, he has a Stirring Wildwoods and now a Treetop Village.
Yeah, I mean, Tarmogoyf is going to hold these creatures back for a while, but Arthur can just use Tasigur to
Pull ahead.
get all
Which
the removal
he's
spells out
already
of
ahead,
Richard's hand.
so...
No, I think I would use Tasigur first. Slight change in play.
Oh, there's the click. Oh, man.
Click
Oh,
has
he got the Click
made
there,
an appearance
too.
and a disappearance. Click would actually, to some degree, be a game changer here, although...
Yeah, because Click makes him race.
He just sits there and flies in the air.
At the
It's
same
also his
time,
only
if
way
he
to-
gets the slaughter packs out of Richard's hand, then Stirring Wildwood can block the Click.
It's also
Yeah.
the only way he can block spirits.
So now we're looking at Arthur's graveyard.
He's got to be giving back that Abrupt Decay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's going to be Inquisition,
Or Inquisition, maybe?
Goyf,
I
Pulse,
mean, he's...
or Abrupt Decay. It's
No,
the Inquisition. And he's going to cast it again. Alright.
Take the Mana Leak.
He does take the Mana Lake. So between Tasigur and Inquisition of Kozilek, Arthur is just shredding
Why
Richard's
did
hand
he
here.
Due to having
give the
two-
Inquisition back?
Due to having 2 manlands, there is an argument actually for taking the Slaughter Pact, though.
Totally, I agree. Mana Lake's not good here. You can always just Inquisition for it later. Since he doesn't seem to have any cards in his deck that are worse to get back than Inquisition,
Yeah.
I don't see a great reason to not just take Slaughter Pact there.
Well, because, like, if he draws a Siege Rhino, he wants his next Siege Rhino to resolve unimpeded.
That's fair. He doesn't want to have to
Which I think
waste
is
4
why.
mana doing it
Because
again.
also, by the fact that he keeps giving him Inquisition of Kozilek, I'm pretty sure if he activates Tasigur again, he's just going to get the keep it being able to Inquisition.
At the same point, there's not so much value in resolving Siege Rhino now, since it can't really attack on this board. If you just care about the life drain, you can just as easily cast it later.
Yeah. Also, if he ever has to cast Slaughter Pact, though, that means he basically time walks himself.
This is true.
Does he have Collected Company?
No, I do know Arthur's not playing Collected Company, because he plays way too many things above 3 mana.
Collected Company, flip Tasigur, Siege Rhino.
It's so good.
I think there is a Collected Company.
The draw for the
deck.
turn for Arthur
it's
is
not this one.
Tarmogoyf. So he's gonna get back another Inquisition, presumably. Scavenging is also a card you do not want your opponent to have when they have Tasigur in play. Because they can exile every single card that they don't like and leave only 1 card in their graveyard.
It's got to be the Inquisition again.
I wonder
and
if
a
he's
Goyf.
giving him different Inquisitions or the same Inquisition every time. You know, like, is he spreading them out, or like just is he getting pounded by the same card over and over again?
I somehow don't think that's relevant.
He's going to go with. Oh, it looks like the top Inquisition as
Third
opposed to the
rose.
bottom Inquisition.
Oh crap! Yeah, we don't have a timer. Sorry guys, I totally forgot a timer. You want to peek your head out the window and tell me what the timer's actually at?
Time is immaterial.
I am terrible. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, and the draw was another Mana Leak. So I think we're seeing here why Mana Leak is not a good card in this matchup.
I'm just gonna put 30 minutes.
16:30.
16 minutes left.
Yes.
Dang.
16 minutes and 30 seconds left. So
Is the timer showing? No, I showed the wrong one.
Mana Leak gets taken. Tarmogoyf comes down. Tarmogoyf gets Slaughter Pacted. If I'd been Arthur, I would have been very tempted to be just a little bit more patient with that and Inquisition the Slaughter Pact later and then drop the Tarmogoyf.
Well, he's up a game, so he doesn't actually care. Like,
As bad as this looks, I mean,
Oh, you
he's
mean
doing
Rich?
he's doing pretty decent not to have died with 3 land.
So
yeah. Well, it's like totally a stalemate right now because Arthur pulled out his removal. Arthur pulled out too much of his removal. Although, is that a Tech Edge?
looks like it's a Lingering
No, that's a Lingering
Souls.
Souls. Oh, Lingering Souls is gonna help close this up fast.
Yeah.
Because that's a Lingering Souls, flashback Lingering Souls for 4 Spirit tokens.
The incredibly small bright side for Richard is that he can't also activate Tassiger, but
Now he has a land?
here's the land.
Oh, it's a
Creeping
Creeping Tar Pit, though.
The best land he could have drawn. And still not nearly good enough against these armies of spirits.
That's
Lingering
definitely like the
Souls is
worst
just-
land he could have drawn.
Lingering Soul is so good in these green-black mirrors. It's just a really tough card to beat. That's why I like Engineered Explosive so
Golgari
much.
trying to be a start.
The draw
He could
looks
actually
like a
trade when he
Thoughtseize.
attacks in too.
Thoughtseizes. Does Arthur know what card Richard has in hand?
I like activating Tassiger before playing Thoughtseize here, even if you're going to play Thoughtseize. And here we go. Tassiger gets activated. Fulminator Mage in the graveyard. I don't think he'll be getting that one back. Looks like the Inquisition makes yet another appearance in Arthur's hand.
Ooh, so
And
that's...
he looks at another Tassiger, which will now get Thoughtseized.
Whee!
Which is especially bad because now, when Richard activates his Tassiger, Arthur can just give him back this very same Tassiger that he just Thoughtseized.
I think you give him back Slaughter Pact.
Can also give him back Slaughtering Pact, but Slaughtering Pact is way more relevant than Tassiger here. It kills a Lingering Souls token.
Yeah, but then he time walks himself every turn. So is he gonna activate?
Small
Oh, he
price
also
to
attacked
pay.
for 4, so Richard is at 12.
Alright, and now the race has begun in earnest. Richard goes to 12. Arthur goes down 3 to 15 thanks to this Creeping Tar Pit.
So is he activating Taz?
No, he didn't activate Tar Pit. He's activating Tassiger.
He's activating Tassiger. Never mind.
Arthur's head's blocking our view a little bit though.
He's not gonna get much. Very good.
And sure enough,
You got
he gets
Tassiger.
second Tassiger. This is like the hard lock.
Was that another Lingering Souls? Swing for 4.
Just Thoughtseize Tassiger every turn,
Activate.
and then
yeah.
give it back to them every turn when they
Activate
activate
yours.
Tassiger.
Let him get you.
So Richard goes down to 8, and Arthur is choosing to hold these Lingering Souls.
What is that? Is that a Lingering Souls in his hand? I don't actually know if that is.
Okay.
Yeah, I just saw a white card. It could be Path to Exile. So it makes more sense to do it on his turn.
If you have Path, it makes more sense to just Path the Tarmogoyf and then attack, I think. May as well get in for 4 here.
Fair.
Well, that means your 4 spirits will finish him.
Alright, a Tassiger activation for Richard as he draws and plays a 6th land.
Give him Mana Leak.
Give him any card in his graveyard. Give him actually every single card in his graveyard, and I think he would still lose this game.
I'm pretty sure you just give him Mana Leak because Mana Leak literally does nothing right now.
I'm pretty sure Richard could just draw his entire graveyard and still lose.
Yeah, he's just gonna give him back all his Mana Leaks.
So, certainly one card from the graveyard is not going to do it.
Activate Tassiger.
Activate Tassiger. There's another card that he won't get back in Siege Rhino. What's it going to be? Inquisition of Kozilek? Perchance?
Probably.
There it is.
I would almost stop casting these Inquisitions of Kozileks at this point, just to
Yeah.
rack up on them.
Although he's actually
Fulminator
been getting
Mage.
relevant
What
cards
is,
with
what
him
is
the
the
whole
Inquisition
time, which is
count
crazy.
at this point?
Pretty much every
6 or 7
Inquisition has
times.
actually nabbed a relevant target.
Yeah, I think I actually did cast 6 Inquisitions or so. in
And
this
that
game.
is another Lingering Soul, so that nearly locks the game up, since even if Richard deals with this wave of spirits, he's still at 4, and he'll be immediately find himself facing down another wave of spirits. Although it looks like Arthur has just chosen to cast one of them right now, which Richard goes for a mana leak here, which is not what I would call good value, as Arthur simply pays and gets 2 spirits. So now he has Richard on a 1-turn clock, even if Richard has 2 removal spells. Richard's draw is an Overgrown Tomb. Not going to do it here. But we will get one final Creeping Tarpit, Tarmogoyf, Tasigur attack.
He's just saying I give up because...
Path to Exile.
Path to Exile.
Oh, he hits the land.
Hits the Tarpit, adding insult to injury.
That's game.
Everything bounces.
I would have loved to see a Golgari Charm there.
Yeah.
That would have been the sweetest Golgari
Shrink all the
Charm.
creatures.
Oh, your creatures get -1/-1. You just lost your board.
Well, it actually shrinks your creatures too.
Oh, is it all creatures?
Unfortunately, yeah, it shrinks all creatures. So
Still means you lose all the tokens.
that's why we had that famous play in the Pro Tour where the guy, in response to Selesnya Charm exiling a 5/5 creature,
Yeah.
he cast Golgari Charm to shrink his creature, and fizzled a Selesnya Charm.
Oh, flip it
was pretty
back
insane.
to the booth.
Hey everyone.
Texas Ranger's a little off camera right now. You can kind of see his shoulder and his hand now.
I'm Zach.
Hey, we have like 10 minutes left, so we're probably not going to get another round going down.
We can check.
I'll go check if you want. Let's go down what stuff is actually there and see what people are interested in. I'll check to see if we magically have a round
There's still
open.
time left. I mean,
Okay. So we have about 10 minutes left in the round.
Which means most rounds are probably done. So just go through some of the decks that we have and see what people are interested in.
Sure. So let's talk about some of the decks that we have people in the room playing today. We have a blue-white fish deck, played by Zeke. We have an Esper Tezzeret deck, played by Paul. Paul Myers. He's got likes Tezzeret a lot. This deck has lots of artifacts and lots of proliferate synergy, putting counters on Everflowing Chalice, that kind of thing. We have Hugo playing Affinity. Hey, Crimson Viper, how's it going? We have Richard playing Bug, as we just saw. We have Joe playing Naya Burn. We have Sean playing Collected Company Abzan,
Nothing.
which is an up-and-coming deck these days, so I know I'd love to see how Collected Company Abzan plays on camera.
Badly.
We have Mr. Cameron playing Exen Gravestorm. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what Gravestorm is
only
or
one
does,
Gravestorm card.
There is a card that has Gravestorm.
and he is playing that card in his deck, whatever that card is. We have Jacob on Blue-Green Infect.
But that's
have-
not the actual card I'm looking for. Hold on.
Martin playing Norn Soul Sisters. We have Brandon on Grixis Delver. We have a blue-white Tron player. We have a Grixis Control Blood Moon deck. We have a Jeskai Geist deck. And finally, we have an Esper Mentor deck. So those are our options. Say in the chat if you guys want to see one of those that I just ran down. In the meantime, we'll talk about Bitter Ordeal, which has Gravestorm.
Alright, so there, I'm going to scroll up a little bit and look at some of this stuff. That was, we just finished round 1. Let's see, there's Affinity, 4-color no, that's, yeah, I guess some people want like the 4-color Mentor.
I don't know if it's 4 colors. I think it's only 3 color Mentor.
It's 3 to 4.
Sorry to
We'll
disappoint.
see. Some number of Mentor.
Esper Mentor.
Esper Mentor.
Esper Mentor, another vote.
Norn Soul Sister.
God,
So
no
search a
Soul Sisters
player,
too.
target player's library for a card.
So just play a bunch of eggs, then like try to.
Do you
mill
have to
their-
name the card beforehand? Or do you just get to search it for any card?
You just search
you
it for
want
any
as you
card.
play it?
You do it for the same number of times that a card in the graveyard that turn.
Wow, so you can look through their deck and
Yeah.
then choose the
Take
card
all
that
the
you
win-
The
want.
entire point is you just literally play 60 cards. You play like however many spells and just nug their entire deck.
It's
Either
not
to
one of those
all
cards
lands
like
or-
Surgical Extraction where you have to choose the card beforehand.
No, you basically just get to storm count of like 40 and then completely remove their deck.
Just take out all their playable spells and leave them with a bunch of lands.
So instead of
Everyone's dream.
So instead of playing with yourself for 15 minutes and winning, you play with yourself for 15 minutes and take their win conditions away.
No, you play this stuff for like 20 minutes because you have to get to a much higher storm count.
You don't
for this
even have to
great
take
shot.
all their win conditions. You can just take like 30 of them. And
Well, because
then-
if they have any creature, the problem is with this is you oftentimes you have to take their entire deck because if they have any creatures on the board that you haven't killed, that means you still have to deal with that creature.
those creatures will kill you eventually. Yeah.
So you basically have to get their entire size of their deck. So you have to get like a storm count of like 53.
So it sounds like it's kind of like Grape Shot, except instead of needing like 19 storm, you need 39 storm.
Yeah, something like that. Well, no, so it's 53 is starting 7.
Let's say you're
probably
going off
4
on turn
turns.
6, just to
Okay.
give
So
yourself
like
a lot of
36 storm.
time. 36, I'm getting 46. storm.
46, yeah, I can't do math.
Should,
The math major sucks at math. Sorry, guys.
should we spoil them with the raffle
What are the votes for?
prize?
Looks like
we do have a raffle. We're gonna let you guys know what it is later.
we have a request for no eggs. We have a request for Mentor or Bitter Ordeal. Is Bitter
I'll
Ordeal
tell you
a
what,
gift stack?
If the eggs is 2-0 after this next round, we will put eggs on.
So just to be clear, the eggs deck is the Bitter Ordeal deck.
Yes, if he is 2-0, we will put him on. Thanks, guys. Because of measures, I never realized how pasty I was. Yeah, I am very, very pale. Quite pale. Looks like we got some. Let's see how good we can see how the Espermentor guy's doing.
Yeah,
Do you want to go check his record?
sure. Let's go find out. Let's get some people that are 1-0 on camera. I know I like it better when I'm seeing people that are
Yeah. You want to
have good
go?
records.
Do you know who it is?
What
that's
were
on
the
Espermentor?
people saying before?
The Esper
Like
Mentor
Affinity
deck
and-
is Sam Ives.
Espermentor, Affinity.
Affinity is Hugo.
So that was what was the one people were asking for probably the most.
People
like,
are asking
Mentor
for
and
Esper Mentor. They're asking about Bitter Ordeal, which is the
Sydney's-
Bitter Ordeal
also
that's being played by Cameron.
is bad.
Cameron
Esper
does
Mentor.
Cameron is on the Bitter Ordeal
Is
deck.
he the one who normally plays Living End?
Is who?
Is Cameron normally play? I think I know who Cameron is.
Yeah, he usually plays
Esper
Living End.
Mentor.
Yeah, so he
versus
might also
that
just
man,
playing
Collected Company.
eggs and Living End and doesn't act. It's just kind
Tezzeret.
of trolling.
Bitter-
Yeah, check with the Absent. Here, actually, he knows which people are on the. Do you know which people are on the correct decks?
I can ask if you want.
Yeah.
You know him better than
Yeah, yes. Let Zach go out there. You can go ask
Alright.
Collected Company the record and Mentor.
I'm gonna go
And-
investigate. I'll investigate Collected Company, Mentor, and the Eggs deck.
We're gonna. The eggs deck has to go 2-0.
All right, we're gonna have
Because
a
I
higher
ha-
burden of
I-
proof on the Eggs deck.
I have a thing against eggs, so unless it's 2-0, I don't like
Gotcha.
streaming it. I have a bias against eggs. Sorry, guys. Living End is not actually there, unfortunately. Also, I saw Cindy earlier saying hi. You just missed the Junk match on camera. It's pretty entertaining. Junk versus Bug Control. It was pretty good. Grindy match. Took 40 minutes. We'll see how Affinity's doing. We're gonna go right now check on Esper Mentor and the Collected Company and see which either of those are 1-0. I don't see the list. I did not see the Undying deck out earlier, so probably not. She might have showed up. Sorry, needed some caffeine. Did not sleep well last night, so doing the caffeine style. I don't know what they're doing on the little thing over there. The previous match was won by the Junk player in 2. There are a lot of people who said they don't want eggs. So the rule of thumb, my rule of thumb is with eggs is he has to be going at least 2x or better. So I will put him on 3rd or 4th round if he has won 2 matches. Because eggs is really slow. And yeah, exactly what Kids of Viper said. Oh yeah, I can talk to you guys about the giveaway. We are gonna have one giveaway after the 4th round of a Spanish promo Emrakul.
Emrakul.
So pretty cool.
Hello.
Arthur says hi.
Okay, goodbye.
And now bye. That was the guy who was playing the Junk deck in the previous round. I don't actually know. The person who has the sheet just left with it. We had someone who was testing Amulet of Vigor, but I don't know if he actually decided to play it. He is not playing the Amulet of Vigor, so unfortunately, no. We do have someone who owns the store owner does actually own the Amulet of Vigor deck, but he is not playing, and no one wanted to borrow it from him today. What do we got so far?
Sadly, the Eggs and Gravy deck did not get it. Esper Mentor is currently locked in a tight game 3, and Abzan Collected Company managed to win their match, as did the Affinity deck.
You want to go see if Collected Company wants to go on?
Collected Company is happy to go on camera.
Alright, so you talked to him about it?
Yeah.
Alright, does he know he's on for next round?
I didn't tell him definitively that he was
You
on,
should-
but
you
I did
should-
ask him.
You should tell him to just plan to be for next round.
I told him it was going to be for He's likely to be for next round.
Okay. We'll just confirm it so he knows to go there.
Okay, and he can tell his opponent.
Yeah, and then he'll be able to tell his opponent whenever it goes up. So yeah. So we will have the Collected Company Abzan, so we're going to have 2 different junk decks for you. Vastly different playstyles. It'll be interesting to see how much of the Collected Company playstyle he's going. There's been a lot of different Collected Company decks. I'll pull it up for those of you who might not be familiar. Also because the wording is very specific. Yeah, so Collected Company, look at the top 6 cards, put 2 of the creatures with CMC 3 or less onto the battlefield, the rest on the bottom of the library in any order. So, works pretty good. It's basically the pod shell without pod and running Collected Company instead. We will likely put Esper Mentor on if he's doing good. He's been editing his deck a lot, so some iterations are better than others. But as of right now, we're going to run, because there was a decent amount of interest in it, we're going to run the Collected Company Abzan deck and see how it does. Trying to see, I know a lot of people are trying to optimize the deck list of it and see what's the best they can get it. So we will have Collected Company on next. Should
Assuming
be fun.
their opponent is also happy to be on camera, which is never guaranteed, but
Yeah,
always likely.
it happens every once in a while.
It almost happened with Emerson and Gabby last week.
Collected Company, I don't believe is a variant of Summoning Trap exactly. Because Summoning Trap, you're more trying to get big, stupid stuff down, and Collected Company, you're trying to do, like, a combo with, or just out Zerg Rush your opponent.
That said, they do have certain similarities. You're casting a card and then putting creatures into play from your deck.
But it's very different building styles, because Summoning Trap, you want to cheat crap in, like, Primeval Titan,
Yes.
Evercool, stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas Collected Company, you're just trying to put in, like, very efficient creatures, like Kitchen Finks. You can go for the combo style, where it's, like, doing the infinite life gain combo. Or you can also, whatchamacallit? I just totally mind blank. Oh, like you can do like an aggro style deck, like you see in Standard, where it's like mono blue devotion with it. Or you can do like, I've seen like Zoo deck start trying to run it, or the Elf deck was running it. So there's a couple different playstyles you can do with the Collected Company.
Absolutely. Another difference is that with Collected Company, you really want to be hitting 2 creatures, not just 1, in order to make the card good, since you're hitting small creatures. Which means that you have to have more creatures in a Collected Company deck than you would in a Summoning Trap.
If I had monies, I'd be very I'd be very interested in trying to do a like 5 domain Zoo Collected Company deck where you can just get in Geist of St. Traff.
Geist seems good,
stuff.
definitely. Knight of the Reliquary seems like a nice 3-drop to put into play. There's some strong 3-drops.
All right, so
In Modern.
who are we looking at?
So we're looking at Sean.
Sean versus Joe.
Sean versus Joe Cheney. So Joe is on Naya Burn. So this is going to be Collected Company versus Naya Burn. That seems like an interesting matchup.
It'll either go. It will likely be fast either way. We will see how it works.
Or not. We'll just have a bunch of Kitchen Finks.
I don't. People are asking.
How to be a mod.
Oh,
I'll be a
so
mod.
the way you become a mod is basically you stream and then you make yourself a mod while you're behind the camera and Mark's not paying attention. So we don't actively make other people mods. We've just, as we stream, we've made ourselves mods because it's easier when we're in the chat later. I cannot make people mods because Mark will yell at me.
I can't make people mods because I don't know how.
Yeah. So they're going to be setting up soon, but I'm going to flip the camera over and update everything. But yeah, essentially, like, the only people who are mods are people who have... someone kicked the camera. Do you know how to set this up?
I'll go try and
Okay.
move it.
It needs to be pushed forward a little bit, and the right leg needs to be slightly tilted. Counterclockwise tilt.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's see. So, match record. It's going to be changed.
1-0 for both players. Naya Burns. So
Sweet.
we've got Destructive Revelry, which is great against Birthing Pod. Oh, wait. No Birthing Pods.
Trollololololol.
Different type of Birthing Pod.
That is perfect. Thank you.
So what's interesting is that it's called Collected Company deck, but it's just as much a Court of Calling deck, because the deck is also playing four Court of Callings.
4 quarter combo.
I'll be curious to see to what degree Sean chooses to focus on the combo as opposed to just playing value pieces.
Also, I think we missed this earlier. Thanks, Thyrixis, for following. I probably totally did not pronounce that name correctly.
Let me try. Thyris. There has to be just to mess with you, man.
There are too many X's.
This guy's trouble saying Grixis. I mean, now we're talking like Thyrix6.
I can pronounce Grixis correctly.
Okay, no, I got
I just choose to pronounce it Grissix.
It's Thyrix6.
Thyrix 6.
Thyrix6.
Thyrix 6.
Thank you very much, Thyrix6.
Is that him on the right there? Is that...
Looks like Joe to me.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot Joe was on. Yeah, that's definitely Joe. What's
Yeah.
Joe's last
Joe
name?
on the right. Cheney is his last name.
So Captain QC.
Not spelled like Dick Cheney. Important
Where
to know.
is that at? Like the Midwest somewhere?
Yeah, Captain QC, where do you live? Like what town area do you live in? Because there should be more than that.
Naya
if you're near a
Burn.
major city. It's just Burn.
Just Burn doesn't get the Naya distinction.
The Naya just means you're playing Boros Charm and the...
And possibly Path to Exile.
yeah, and also Destructive Reverie out the board.
Possibly Lightning Helix also.
Yeah,
Suddenly we're talking 12 cards.
doesn't matter, it's Burn.
Maybe they're playing Core Firewalkers.
Burn does not deserve a more descriptive name.
Wow, a lot of Burn hate from Mr. Eric Millington here.
Burn is also the only deck I've top-aided a PPTQ with.
Self-hating
But-
Burn player. The
I'm
worst
so-
kind.
I'm sorry to anyone who was at this event. It was at JT's Comics right outside of Rockford, Illinois. Me and 8 other people showed up bringing Burn, and we put 4 of us in the top 8.
God.
Hey, starting the timer.
You guys are such savages.
Timer just started.
Yep.
May as well embrace it, man. Burn is your deck.
I don't actually like Burn.
It's the only deck you can win with. You're a Burn player forever now.
No, I can do quite well with that Nausea and Affinity.
Just
I
get it
haven't
branded
played
on your
it in a while.
arm.
You have the timer going?
Gotta pull it up.
Okay.
Alright.
Sean sits down. He's got the customary pen behind the ear going on.
We're 30 seconds in, pretty much.
We have an MTG Card Market box versus a Dice Dojo score pad. We'll see which side's
Repping
equipment
stores.
comes out the winner.
Whoops.
Both sides shuffling up. I like that their sleeves are very different colors in this match. And the other one was like kind of purple and blue, very similar.
Also, the reason why I hate Burn is because it makes me change the life totals a lot.
Lots of clicking.
It's also the reason why me and Paul, when he was on here, hated Storm, because they were playing the pain lands. So I had to keep ticking down by 1. I actually, from talking to Joe before, I don't think he runs a Tarka's Command, because he just thinks it's bad. Because you only have 1 Stomping Grounds in the deck. So I think he just basically runs the 4 Skullcrack and doesn't worry about it. Although this is a matchup where having the extra Skullcracks is relevant, because Kitchen Finks is such a brutal card against Burn.
Not to mention Scavenging Ooze and
Yeah.
whatever's in the sideboard.
I wonder about stuff he does play in the board of this.
I'm in the kind of same boat as Joe because I only have 1 stomping ground in my burn list, and every time I see it, I'm kind of like, well, if I don't see a fetch, I'm never casting this.
I like making your burn deck more consistent at the cost of a little bit of power.
Well,
can
what
respect
do you
that
mean more
decision.
consistent?
I mean, not playing a card that you only have.
Oh,
few
a
sources
Tarka's
of mana to
Command? Yeah.
cast. Yeah.
Oh, so like it's just not that good. It's a Skullcrack.
It's better than the Skullcrack.
It's basically a Skullcrack.
If you have a creature out, you can do 1 extra damage, and
And the
burn
3
deck
damage
plays a lot of creatures.
Yeah,
So.
but essentially if you're playing because you think you need Skullcrack like 5 and 6.
So Sean's got an
Here, like
Anafenza in
6.
hand. He's gonna take 2 on turn 1, not knowing what Joe is playing, and he's gonna play this Birds of Paradise.
Let's see if he bolts the bird.
See if he bolts the bird or goes with a creature. And it
Here-
looks like it's gonna be
here it's-
Monastery Swiftspear here. So there's no hope of a Birds of Paradise block. This bird's, now that it's in play, is actually going to be pretty good for Sean. It's going to give him an extra land every turn. He can take fewer damage from his lands.
It's either gonna be turn 2 Kitchen Finks or turn 2 Anafenza here.
Kitchen Finks is the superior play against a removal spell since it can block Swiftspear pretty well. However,
Is that a Brimaz?
you're then losing the value from
No, that's the
Anafenza.
Anafenza. Yeah. Scoos is good.
Interesting. I feel like I would have played either the Ooze or the Finks, or either the Anafenza or the Finks over Ooze, since you really want to play Ooze and activate it and start gaining some life with it. It's a powerful
I mean,
late game
right now
card.
he can't even block because
That's
he
not very
triggers
good on
prowess.
2 mana.
That's really bad.
I don't think he actually had I don't think he wants to double win Anafenza because he doesn't want it to die.
Yeah, but you also don't want Scavenging Ooze to die. And
I
you'd
think
rather the
you're
Scavenging
more-
Ooze die after there's a creature in the graveyard.
I think you're kind of okay with Scavenging Ooze dying.
I don't like this play, but Doesn't matter that much.
I also think he wants a tapped land off that fetch and didn't want to take more damage. Because I don't think he actually blocks here.
Well, if you want to tap land, you just
That
play
blocking
Anafenza
seems really
and then get a
bad.
tap land. And Anafenza only costs 2. You have the Birds of Paradise to make
You want the
mana.
possibility of gaining life.
Yeah, there's no
Alright.
way he blocks here. So that's going to be
Bolt
5 damage.
goes upstairs, and Monastery Swift Spear hits for 2. The Swift Spear the Ooze is left alive for now. Joe doesn't feel that it's time to aim any spells at
I
Sean's
might even have
creatures.
just fired the bolts.
But
at
we'll
the
see.
ooze to begin with.
If the Swift Spear dies and the Ooze starts eating it, then that's going to be a problem.
He does have Eternal Witness also, but he needs removal in order for it to start mattering.
Yeah, Eternal Witness getting back a fetch land is not so hot unless you really need lands. Joe, it looks like, is going to crack his fetch here, so he's got a 1-mana spell to play on his turn. Not a creature, since a creature would have gotten cast. Also not a spell, since I would think you would have wanted to cast a sorcerer pre-combat.
It has to be a white land here. He has Boros. Oh.
So you're getting a Stomping Ground untapped. It could be a suspended Rift Bolt. That would make sense, since you can't trigger the Swift Spear with it this turn. It's really the only card that makes sense here. But nope, it's going to be a Lightning Bolt on a Bird of Paradise, so I think he just missed a point of damage there.
Yeah.
I also don't really
Oh
like
no, this might still be in combat.
bolting. It might still be in combat, that's true.
I think that was still in combat because he did point at his prowess guy. So that was definitely still in combat.
Technically, you still trigger the prowess even if you're not in combat.
Yeah.
There's just no longer as much reason to announce it.
I'm going to assume that was still in combat.
Sean, meanwhile, fetches for land, dropping down to 10.
What?
Sean
Oh yeah,
is
he
fetched.
fetched. Okay. I need more of my caffeine.
Eric's caffeining up so we can type these score updates more frantically. Now he's shifting the keyboard over to me,
Keep being a smartass. I'll make you do work.
threatening to make me do work instead of just talking about magic
That's weird
the whole
looking at
time.
these because I remember being at the house and seeing y'all
Mm.
raffle them off. No.
Interesting. So Sean could have taken an extra 2 damage there to exile a card with the ooze, but he's just choosing not to do that to preserve his life total. But now he is going to take 2 damage.
Kitchen Finks.
And
It's 'cause he
Kitchen
just
Finks
gains it
come
right
down
back.
and
It doesn't
immediately
matter.
regains the life. Eric, I really think you should reduce it to 8 and then back up to 10.
Yeah.
Just so people can see the full life total trajectory.
That's not going to happen. Because it doesn't track life total changes
God.
anyways.
We have a responsibility to our viewers.
Yes.
So the
My responsibility is not stabbing you.
Swift Spear is probably not going to attack into the Sphinx. Searing Blaze might actually change that.
He has to have a land drop, though. Oh, he does have a land drop.
Oh yeah, he does have to have a land drop.
I don't know that you Searing Blaze it, though, because he
I
just
think you
gains
do.
the life.
He gains the life, but then you can attack with a Swift Spear.
Or do you Searing Blaze the Scoos?
Searing Blaze is the Scavenging Ooze
I would get
also
rid of the
makes
Scoos.
sense.
You want to get it before it's out of control.
But if you're going to do that, then you don't attack with Swift Spear, unless you have a third spell that you can cast.
Let's see what he does here.
He's going to go for a Goblin Guide, followed by, my
Oh, he-
guess is Searing Blaze something. Joe took a shock to... He took 2 from the Ooze, it looks like, and he also took some damage to get a Sacred Foundry.
They're saying
what
that
is
he
he
was
called?
at 15 and lost 2 down to 13 because of the shocking earlier.
Yeah, he
Oh, yeah,
played
'cause the
shocking
previous
earlier.
But did he fetch the first shock or did he just play it?
I think he did fetch one of them. They are correct. I totally missed the fetch
Well,
shot.
now he just got he took 2 from the Ooze, so now he'd be down to 13.
The Ooze, oh yeah, the Ooze did attack.
Yeah,
Alright.
the Ooze attacked. So
Sorry
down to
guys,
13.
I'm not paying enough attention to the life totals.
Meanwhile, Sean takes 3 from Searing Blaze, which takes out the Scavenging Ooze. So Sean goes down to 7.
Yeah, and that
then it looks
killed
like
that.
back up to 9 after a Swift Spear attacked and traded with the front half.
Does
of
that
the
include the
Kitchen
Goblin
Finks.
Guide damage though?
I don't know that the Goblin Guide actually attacked.
The Goblin Guide did attack.
Goblin Guide
They
did
both
attack?
did.
Okay, yep. So unfortunately, in all this confusion, we didn't see what Sean drew off the Goblin Guide, but hopefully one of you guys saw what was revealed and can shout it out. If not, we have a
Wait.
2-1 Kitchen Finks versus a Goblin Guide. Joe's at 15 with... Got it. Is that 5 exclamation marks? That is some real
Wait, is Joe
certainty.
at 15 or
out of-
13?
He's at 13 now. That was
Geofringe.
a while ago.
Yeah, because it was with the Scoos. There is a slight delay between the camera. I'm
They're,
pretty
saying,
sure
they're
he's at
saying he got a
13.
Bloodstained Mire off the guide.
Bloodstained Mire off the Guide. That's interesting land to play in a Collected Company deck, since
You have to...
I would think you want to play black-green, black-white, and white-green.
Yeah, he might not
Options.
have the full mana base.
Yeah, it seems like it might be a slightly budget-conscious decision there. Only slightly, since it's still a fetch land. And Anafenza is the play. And if that bolsters onto Kitchen Finks, that is going to be pretty strong.
Pretty nasty.
The draw, it looks like, was a spell. I think that's a Shard Volley for Joe.
Does Anafenza have first strike?
Anafenza
Yes.
does not have first strike.
Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure. But I don't think she does.
Nope, she's just a 2/2.
Yeah, so what, all the
Regular
correct fetches that
two-two.
you're saying he should run are from Zendikar,
Yeah.
which is you were saying green.
So we see the card that drawn for Joe is a suspended
green
Rift
white.
Bolt.
The green-white one is not from Zendikar.
That's Windswept Heath.
Alright, so here's the
Yeah.
situation. Sean is at 7. Joe has a Rift Bolt with 1 suspend counter on it and a Boros Charm in hand. So Sean is effectively dead if he doesn't draw a way to gain life this turn. Scavenging Ooze would do the trick, which is why I wish he had just played Anafenza before, so that he could drop the Ooze now and start gaining some life. But instead, I think he's just going to be dead here. Unless Joe chooses to block... Unless he finds a way of bolstering and killing the Kitchen Finks.
Looks like he drew a second Anafenza.
So he could play the Anafenza here and then kill his own Kitchen Finks. It's actually a reasonable play.
How does he kill his Kitchen Finks, though?
I don't know. He'd have to
He
have
doesn't have
removal
a
spell
way
in
to
hand.
kill his Kitchen Finks.
What does he have in hand? I think he might have a Slaughter Pact.
Hardcast Rift Bolt targeting Anafenza.
Yeah, I don't know that I would hard cast Rift Bolt there with my opponent at 7 having a Boros Charm in hand. Wow, another Kitchen Finks.
That's quite good. And it bolsters
And
on
it
the other
bolsters
one.
the other Kitchen Finks, so... Sean has
The
infinite
Slack game's gotten
the
out of
ability to
control.
gain 2 life with his removal spells. He's
But
also fairly close to assembling the infinite life combo, which, as you might guess, is pretty good against Burn.
he also just loses to a top deck burn spell still.
He still loses to a top deck Burn spell. Unless he has a removal spell.
Any
And it looks
top
like
deck
the spell
wins.
is a Lava Spike, so... Lava Spike targets Sean, bringing him down to 3.
Oh,
Do you go for Boros Charm in the upkeep here? Looks
No,
like
you just
no.
Boros
Looks like
Charm
he's
him.
just casting it now.
it's do you have a removal spell? Nope, you died.
There it is. Game 1 goes to Joe Chaney and his Burn deck, so we'll see what the players have for sideboard
That's
here.
surprising, seeing all the Kitchen Finks and the Ooze there.
The good news for Sean is that this matchup usually gets better for sideboard, almost regardless of what deck you're playing. Since Burn decks don't usually have the most amazing sideboard cards, you can't really afford to take out too many Burn spells if you're playing a Burn deck. And there's some core Firewalkers, it looks like. Some Katakis, Stony Silence. It looks like he's got just the Firewalkers. There might have been one other card. Okay, he's also got Spellskite.
Core Firewalkers is really all he needs, though.
If he draws it.
Yeah, or Collected Companies it.
Yeah, he's playing a bunch of 5-mana core Firewalkers, just sort of intrinsically. As
Yeah.
well as a bunch of, like, 4-mana, 1/3 core Firewalkers. We'll see what he's sideboarding out
So
here.
what does Collected Company do on the side? They just have all their sideboard answers be creatures.
He's choosing to
Yeah.
leave an
'Cause
Abrupt
you wanna-
Decay, leave in Red Cap. Took out something. So we have a Flicker Wisp is biting the dust, which makes sense since it's easily killed by
I mean, unless you're bringing
any
in
spell,
creatures, you're diluting the Collected Company plan.
and just not great.
Yeah, but basically all of the board of this deck is just creatures, because you have, like, the, what is it called? Court of Calling, so you can just kind of hit whatever you want. So you basically just play toolbox sideboards. Like, you probably play, like, some number of Abrupt Decays in your board because it's Abrupt Decay. Oh, it looks like he has... Are those Forge Tenders also?
Yeah,
No, is that 2 core Firewalkers and a Forge
it's
Tender?
2 core Firewalkers and a card. I think it might
That's
be
a
a
timely
timely
reinforcement.
reinforcements.
And was that bottom one a Burnt and Forge
I
Tender?
know he's got Spellskite.
I think that bottom one was a Forge Tender. Let's see when he goes back through.
We'll see.
Maybe.
They're basically the same card.
Yeah, no, it is. That's definitely Burrington Forge Tender.
So, okay, I don't know Modern well enough to know why you
I
would
don't know
ever
what that
want
is either.
Burrington Forge
Because
Tender
it
instead
stops
of-
Anger of Gods.
stops Anger of the Gods. Makes sense.
It stops any red Wrath effect.
Now, what decks are playing Red Wrath effects these
Control
days?
decks.
Pull up
Some
the,
twin
pull up
decks.
the-
Is
That
Twin
Tender
running
over
Anger
here.
of the Gods in the sideboard right now?
The what? Oh. Let me pull up Burrington Forge Tender. Let me pull up Burrington Forge Tender really quick.
I think it's Burrenton.
Yeah.
Burrenton Forge Tender.
So yeah, this card basically is like, you can prevent a red source, so you can prevent Anger of the Gods. Some twin decks are running Anger of the Gods and Pyroclasms. So you can just prevent a bunch of that stuff, and it also can free block Goblin Guides. So like the more relevant thing though is it stops Anger of the Gods, because Anger of the Gods makes your day so annoying.
This guy can take the heat, that's for sure.
And it's also relevant that it can continually chump block a Goblin Guide and a Swift Spear and just never have to worry about dying.
Just sit
Although
there.
it can be gotten through if they Skull Crack. Because Skull Crack removes the protection.
It's like the same interaction with Wild Slash and Master of
Twin
Blades.
rarely runs Anger. Tron runs Pyroclasm.
That's what I thought, the Ziggs.
Yeah. Well, it's more like if you're playing the more controlling version of it post-board, 'cause some of the Twin decks shift into the post-board version, like more controlling it can run it. Blue Moon still pops up every once in a while. So
Sure,
like,
they have some Angers.
Like, as a thing, also the Grixis decks that are running around are starting to run
looks
Angers.
like both players have their starting hands and the game is ready to start. Sean's hand looked pretty good. It had some lands and a mana accelerant at the least.
Torment.
And Joe's hand has enough lands and spells that he's willing to keep it. So we'll see what Sean wants to do on turn 1. It looks like that's actually a fairly close decision. It also looks like Joe's name has shrunk.
Yep.
Okay, now
when
it's
you go to the cards thing, it shrinks the right player's name. Blame Mark.
Nope, Sean is taking a mulligan. I think that he had a 1-land hand with birds and didn't want to rely on it not dying in order to have a chance.
It's a little scary if you have to rely on birds not dying.
It's also possible, especially since Joe showed a willingness to bolt the bird in the previous game.
He didn't bolt it right away, though.
No, he gave it a turn of life before choosing to bolt it, which I think is not really the correct order to do that.
I think it was fine because he played Swift Spear.
Okay, yeah, he
That
got a
line was
down.
actually very relevant because those Swift Spear did enough damage.
Totally, no, that's a great point.
I don't know that it was necessarily the right play, though, because if he were to slam turn 2 Kitchen Finks, that puts Joe pretty far back.
Right.
But like the argument is because he had the Kitchen
Sulfuric
Finks.
Vortex is not legal in Modern.
Kitchen Finks is going to be good regardless. Alright, so Sean's hand this game looks like has at least 2 lands and a Spellskite. So I think that's a keep right there. I'm interested whether Joe chose to bring in Destructive Revelry. On the one hand, it's
I don't
only
think
good
he
against
does.
Spellskite.
It literally only hits 1 card.
On the other hand, Sean effectively has access to 9 Spellskites if he wants them. So if you think that Sean is going to aggressively fetch a
5.
Spellskite,
The collecting company doesn't guarantee you hit Spellskite.
let's call the 4 collected companies like
2,
1.5 Spellskites. So he's got 6.5 Spellskites. If you assume that he's going to be fetching for those over core Firewalkers, which is probably not the case. So all in all, I don't think you should bring in Destructive Revelry here, but it's at least worth considering.
That is 3 Swift Spears in his hand.
3 Swift Spears, 1 game. So we have Shockland from a fetch by Joe into a Swift Spear, and a Spellskite immediately comes down for Sean. So if Joe didn't bring in
Ooh, that is a
the
Searing
Revelries,
Blaze.
he's wishing he did. But instead, we've just got no second land drop and a pair of Swift Spears attacking. So this is looking good for Sean now, but the following turn, Searing Blaze is going to be pretty good if Joe manages to draw land. In the meantime, is at least getting threats onto the table. We'll see if Sean has a way to start gaining life or closing out the game.
Was he debating on which one he was blocking?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Why does it matter?
And you got to make the right decision in cases like this. No advantage is too small.
Which of the identical monsters
It's just like which Inquisition do you give back? You have to think about this.
Which art's the ugliest?
Well, the
Yeah.
Inquisition, which
Ooh,
one do you
did he
get
not
back
hit a
is kinda
third land?
It
psychological
looks like he did
thing.
not have a 3rd land, and further only has 1 source of white with 2 Anafenzas in hand.
This is an entertaining.
Anafenza costing double white. We have
Oh, Eruptic
okay.
K.
He might have just had. No, he still doesn't have the 2nd white for Anafenza, but he at least has a spell he can cast. So the Swift Spears are swarming around the Spellskite for 1 damage each turn. Sean is hoping to hit a 2nd white so he can start casting his many double white spells. But he does have at least 1 card that he can cast, and it is... looks like it might be a Cartel Aristocrat.
Yep.
So that... Joe could just attack here even if he doesn't have anything. And
He
I
has a
think it would-
bolt in hand.
I think it would be tough for Sean to block. He
He has
also
a-
has a Goblin Guide. I think that I would actually just attack here and then post-combat play a Goblin Guide.
I think he's going to try to kill the Aristocrat with the bolt.
Right. Oh, don't do it now.
Yeah, you want to see if he blocks with the Spellskite.
You may as well let the guy
block.
block with a Spellskite and see if you can wipe his entire board. Alright,
'Cause
well,
now, yeah.
it's not so bad, but I think it's better to just wait. But Joe...
It also wouldn't wipe his board because like he could also just sack the Spellskite.
That's true. He could also, though, just bolt upstairs.
Yeah, so he lost 2 life that time. I think you definitely hold the bolt,
I
though.
think you just bolt upstairs. I think you attack with both, and then
I would
if,
wait
if,
to see
if
what he
they double
blocked with
block, then you
first.
bolt up.
Ooh, there's the last land, so that's going to drop him to 13.
And now we have a 3-mana spell coming out to play.
And offense. Ooh. And a bolster.
The Viscera Seer
Oh,
grows to a
what
2/2.
does bolster read?
It just bolsters your
Is it
weakest
toughness
guy.
or is
It's
it toughness or power?
It's
Okay.
toughness. Joe still does not have a second land, but he does have Swift Spear after Swift Spear. The 4th Swift Spear comes down. And we'll see what else Sean has, aside from another useless Anafenza. Looks like that's a Murderous Redcap, which is going to be very happy to chew through these Swift Spears if it comes into play.
Can't come into play yet though, because he does not have the second black.
Wow.
That's green, green, white, green, black.
I almost wonder if you sack your Anafenza just to scry. I mean, you don't. But scrying is good here.
What is in his hand?
He has an Anafenza and a Murderous Redcap.
Okay. Goblin Guide.
Yet another 1-mana creature from Joe.
I don't think he can attack. If he
Still no
attacks
second
here, that's
land.
so
No, he has no good attacks
shreds
here.
his board.
He'd be basically throwing away 2
needs
Swift
to-
Spears
He needs to threaten
to deal 1
prowess.
damage and also give Sean an extra draw to land.
Like if he had a land and he could
Is that a
threaten
second
prowess,
Spellskite?
yeah, sure.
Another Spellskite the draw for Sean.
There's a second Spellskite and an Anafenza.
I wonder if Joe has an Ancient Grudge.
So what does this go on here? Do you put the token on the Anafenza or the...
He actually seems to have missed his
He
trigger.
did miss the bolster trigger.
Alright.
Yay, miss triggers.
So now Joe can actually get in here. Nope, he's just gonna play another 1-mana creature. He's just building up this board.
If he does have a Tarkus command, it's pretty sick right now.
There we go. You were saying it was just a Skullcrack. How do you feel about that comment now? Anything you'd like to change?
It still doesn't do all that much because he
Yeah,
blocks.
yeah.
It's-
But it will do something.
Yes. It's still funny.
Sean is gonna untap, see if he can draw that extra land, and he does. So Murderous Redcap is gonna make this board. He's basically gonna rectify the board here. Both sides will have 4 creatures.
Did you hit a Swift Spear or a Goblin Guide?
I think you hit a Swift Spear here, since you know that Joe has a lot of spells. He certainly doesn't have any lands.
That's fair.
Not to mention that Guide is making sure that you're drawing action if you let that hit you. So I like killing a Swift Spear here. May as well while the opponent is tapped out. Not to mention this is actually
Oh, he just has infinite damage. I
So,
didn't even...
yeah, no need to debate any of the creatures. He's just gonna
We're
deal
just
Joe
sitting there.
17.
We're just sitting there going. He totally just kills the spell. The sister, right? It's like no, he just
Yeah.
kills Joe.
But first kills all Joe's creatures, because why not?
I can't wait for the video to catch up to chat. And they're just being like, he just kills him. He doesn't have to
Yeah,
hit the
you
spells.
idiots. What are you talking about?
We are totally both pod players, guys.
Yeah. I mean, the combo has not really been a relevant part of pod in a while.
Just kill Joe. Yes, it's already happened.
Just kill Joe. Joe is dead. Don't worry. Joe is thoroughly dead. We're gonna go to game 3 here.
I like watching. I like knowing when realizing when we say something stupid and just waiting the video to catch up to chat. Where it's like, oh, let's see what they're gonna say to yell at us for being wrong.
GG. He's
We're only
building.
like 30 seconds
They've been pretty
behind.
nice so far. No one said like you guys are noobs.
Well, until I start pronouncing Grixis wrong.
Then they lay into you.
Yeah. They love it when I mispronounce stuff, and by love I mean for some reason get super annoyed at it.
All right. Well, we can have a little like magic card quiz in between rounds if we're short on matches to cover. Joe is kill.
Crimson Viper hates pod apparently.
Crimson
Also,
Viper,
for
you
whoever
might
was
get your
saying to
chance at
put
game
burn
3.
on, we did get burn on for you.
All right, somebody called us a noob. Finally. That'd be so. Nice rolling.
Kill all the sisters and the goblin guys, then kill Joe.
Yeah.
The Moto slow roll.
All right. Some pretty quick sideboarding here. I think it's not a lot of close decisions in terms of what to bring in, though what to take out is a question, at least for Sean. And my guess is Joe doesn't have any many great cards for the matchup.
They noticed we remembered the timer.
Yeah, there it is.
I fully put Zach in for that one.
We got burned on by accident. Yeah. Collected company is.
We did it on purpose. We're here for the collected company. The burn is just a unfortunate side effect.
Yeah, we still got it on. People always like burn it. We never put it on, and
We
it just
are
sometimes
getting it on.
sneaks in.
So Swift Spear gets in
What?
for 1, and
18 next.
Sean goes down to 19 as Joe falls to 18.
No, he's at 129. Nope, 199.
199.
Just
He is
fuck Burn.
gaining and losing life at an incredible pace. Burrington Forge Tender in hand for Sean. We're going to see how good that little guy is.
Chumps that for days unless he goes Skullcrack right here.
He's no chump, this guy. He knows what's up. So Joe's going to draw. Let's see if he has a parade of creatures. He has at least a Goblin Guide and
I
an
think he
Eidolon
does
with
have the
Great
Skullcrack
Rebel.
in hand too.
Oh.
Which makes this funny.
I wonder if he knows that interaction.
I don't know. It's kind of a weird interaction, but Joe's
Now
been
the
playing.
thing is that if you do that, the opponent can always just sack the Forge Tender to counter the Skullcrack.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't because Skullcrack reads
Oh,
you
it
can't
can't be
prevent damage.
prevented.
Yes.
Okay. So Skullcrack is quite good against Burrington Forge Tender. But if he's just fetching right here, right now, it looks like he's more likely to be casting either an Eidolon or a Goblin Guide here. My money would be on Goblin Guide followed by, it looks like he had a 1-mana spell to cast.
It could also just be Eidolon.
I think that's a Smash to Smithereens in Joe's hand,
Oh, is that a smash?
which is
That could be smash.
good
to
card
Smithereens.
against Smellskite. Instead, he's just going to go with an Eidolon, no attacks.
It is hard to tell if that's Skullcrack or Eidolon. We have to get a better view. It might be smash.
Okay, here's the thing. Even if you don't have Skullcrack, it's still good to attack there, since your opponent has to respect it. So I definitely don't agree with not attacking here. It's
Yeah,
not
I
like
would
blocking the
attack
Forge
first
Tender.
and then threaten.
It's
the
really that
Eidolon
relevant.
If you really.
So Sean is gonna.
What is his hand right now?
I think that's a bird.
Ooh.
Joe shocks himself to go to 17.
Oh, funny thing with No, that doesn't work. I was just say, is that just Anaffensive? No. Oh, Core Farwalker.
Wow, this array
This game
of
looks pretty bad.
white creatures should be able to put this game away for Sean.
But he did just. He is gonna have to keep taking damage from that Eidolon. So
Yes.
Well, there is a way you can kill it similarly with the prevent.
yeah.
Yeah,
Skullcrack
Skullcrack
bit.
also kills Firewalker.
That might be a smash in his hands. We don't have a very clear view.
I think it's a smash. So Sean is just happy to sit behind his wall of pro-red creatures here
They couldn't
against
have
a
swung there and
effectively
Skullcrack?
mono-red deck. We no longer think that Joe has a Skullcrack in hand.
Yeah, we think it
Oh.
might be a smash Smithereens for the spell
Probably a
Sky.
smash to Smithereens, but here he is losing to the wrong hate card.
Free swing.
So Sean is basically accepting the fact here that Joe can choose to throw away a creature for 2 damage.
That is a brutal hand.
Looks like Sean has a Voice of Resurgence in play, so I don't think the creatures will be doing very much.
He has
this
it in
game.
hand.
Tarkus Command would do it. He's
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
green. He's
And
doing
here we have a swing.
On the Swift Spear, so it looks like he's taking 2.
Oh, it was the Firewalker that attacked, not the Forge Tender.
Yep.
I don't know if I agree with that play. I don't think there's a great reason to trade damage with the burn deck. I think if you're going to make that attack, you leave the Firewalker back to block so that the Eidolon can attack, which means that the Firewalker is then free to block the Swift Spear.
Is that a collected company in hand?
I hope so. I mean, this is a collected company deck. It would be a shame if we went this whole
We didn't
match
even
without
see it.
even seeing it in hand or resolved.
Value creatures dot deck.
Yeah, just a bunch of like green white. They're not even hate
Oh,
bears.
he's
They're just,
attacking
like,
with
Oh, nice.
both.
Wow.
That is aggressive. He has to have collected company.
I
in
wonder if
hand.
he's gonna just whiff on it. That would be so rough.
You know how funny that would be though if he just hit 6 lands off the
Hit
collected company.
nothing. Just wait, I'm gonna block you with all these creatures. Oops, I didn't hit
Tarkus
any
Command
creatures.
and 2 bolts would end it.
No, instead he's got Kitchen Finks. So Sean takes 2 from the Eidolon, gains 2 off the Finks,
So he's still at 13.
remains at 13. The good news is that this match is going pretty quickly, so we might get a chance to see something else.
That's how I used to play in a legacy deck. I had Orm's Chant on the first Isochron Scepter, and the second one I put Fire and Ice.
Alright, so Joe has chosen to attack with both creatures. Or no. What?
I think he just killed his own creatures so he wouldn't take damage from burn.
Did he just bolt his own Eidolon?
Yes, he just bolted his own Eidolon, which puts him at 10.
I like that you're focusing on the life total here, not on the.
Oh, and he gives a life from
Gaining
Core
a life off
Firewalker.
Core
Why would he not just? Can anyone in the chat explain this play?
I have no idea.
I would love for this.
Oh,
play
he
to explain to me.
sacrifices Birch Forge Tender to prevent the bolt on the Eidolon too.
Wow. I guess that was a good play then.
So he gave him a life, didn't kill him.
I mean,
Well, his thought is he has a lot of burn spells in hand, but would kill himself before he kills Sean right now. So he cannot actually kill Sean because he would kill himself first. So he was trying to kill his own Eidolon so he could start doing actual damage to Sean and not have to worry about killing himself.
This
all I would say is that if I knew my opponent was going to
He
sack
just
Burning
sacked
Forge
himself.
Center,
He wasted
then I
another
would
bolt to kill
definitely have
it.
bolted my own Eidolon, but I would not have done it the second time. Now that there's not an Eidolon,
I don't know.
that can effectively kill.
Malpheus is saying like it was bait, like he's trying to next level by making him sack the guy to get rid of the Tinder, I guess.
Ooh, that's why. Because he just played double Goblin Guide.
Sure.
So that's 6
But he-
damage coming in. He gained
he
2
gets
life.
the life off the guys coming
But-
in.
He's not going to be able to beat
If he
the
remembered.
Firewalkers by doing this. I think he needed to just basically try and trade off the Eidolon. Just like attack in with the Eidolon.
Yeah.
And let it die on its own.
Keep just attacking. I would have just kept attacking him with an Eidolon, but he's also is at a kind of heavy clock right now.
It's
though.
going to be hard for him to win this game
Collected
either
Company
way.
looks like it's on top.
I mean, bottom line, turn 1 Borington Forge Tender, turn 2 Core Firewalker. That's just a hard start to beat for... Turn 3 Kitchen Finks even.
Why has he seen the top card of his library?
Looks like a...
Oh, Goblin Guide. Okay.
Okay.
So he does not want to fetch anymore. Okay, so that'll block the Goblin Guide, trade, gain 2 life.
Yeah.
So he's at 14.
The Kitchen Finks returns to play and gains 2 more life.
So he went back to exactly what he was at the start of this turn.
We'll see if Sean chooses to fetch here.
He has that
so
means he has
lame.
he probably has one in hand. That means
I hope so.
he also just might not need it. We did see him win through the combo the first game though. He may not have cast
That's
the Collecting
fair.
Company, but he did win through the combo.
That's fair. We've seen that before, though. We've seen Pod in the past. Looks like he's got Gavany Township in his deck. Lingering Souls. At least one.
He is at pretty low life total now though, because he's at 8.
Joe? Yeah, Joe, I mean, this is going to be a tough game for Joe to win. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I think just turn 1 Forge Tender into turn 2 Core Firewalker is really brutal.
Into turn 3 Kitchen Finks.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a Collecting Company in hand. He doesn't even care.
I hope he casts it anyway.
That's why I was gonna cast the Kitchen Finks. I think is also in his hand. Oh, there's another
Draws another
Firewalker.
Core Firewalker. I mean, why not, right?
That just puts the game away completely.
But at that point, you could just, like, wait around for... Make sure you don't...
Cast
get
the Collecting Company.
explosives.
I just want to go out there and yell at him to cast the Collecting Company.
Is that legal? Can we interfere with the match? Can we
That's
claim
not-
that it's a rules question that he somehow is legally obliged to cast Collective Company?
That's what your deck is called. Cast the damn Collecting Company. No!
Oh god. Poor Firewalker.
He better do it next turn for the Rubbins.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it would be strictly for Romans. Once you got the second Core Firewalker on the table. Hopefully he'll at least flash it at the end for, like, a still got all these type moment, even if he doesn't cast it.
Time walk task.
Ah, there we go.
Game. Oh, they were smashed to smithereens. Okay.
They were smashes to smithereens.
All
That
right.
might be overreacting, bringing in 2. I think
He
I like
probably
the one,
has
but
2.
I think
I
that
don't think I'd
was-
bring in the second.
I'm gonna go check to see if there's any matches we can throw on, so you guys keep them entertained. Talk about the Collecting Company deck and how he didn't cast it for the Rubbins.
So, a very sporting decision not to cast Collecting Company there. We have Eric going out there to check for a second match. What'd you guys think? It was pretty much green-white. I don't want to say hate bears since they weren't that hateful. Well, in the second game that was won by the Collected Company deck, they were pretty hateful. But
I think 2 smashed to smithereens is pretty greedy. I mean, I guess he didn't see Collected Company, so he didn't know he was on it, but
yeah, he saw 2 spell skites in a fairly short game, which might have made him think that there were going to be more spell skites coming out of Sean's deck. But with only 2, you don't want to have 2 smashed to smithereens just for the 2 spell skites. So that was a pretty good representation of where Burn is in Modern right now, I think, in that it has a much easier time winning the first game than it does with the second and third
has the
games.
chat heard that there's a raffle today?
When white and green come in.
Should we spoil what it is?
Let's not. So there will be a raffle today. We will not spoil what it is. That dies to Red Blast.
That was
So what else do you guys want to see? We have the Esper Mentor deck. We'll see if that guy managed to win his matches. We could look at the Tezzeret deck. I know I'm interested in seeing the Tezzeret deck.
The Tezzeret deck, from what I saw, looks pretty interesting.
Tezzeret is always cool in Modern. It's sort of made a name for itself grabbing Torpor Orb and Relic of Progenitus. And when those sort of disruptive, cheap artifacts are good, I think that's the best time to play a Tezzeret deck, since Tezzeret excels at finding cheap cards, but if you're finding expensive cards, then a lot of the time you'll be too behind to cast them. Plus, if you have these cheap artifacts, then it's good to just play them and make them 5/5s. Already have them on the board. Alright, somebody likes Tezzerator. That's what I'm talking about. We have a couple Mentor lovers as well. Any 4-color gifts? I don't think we have any gifts decks today, unfortunately.
No, there was no gifts.
It's always possible there's one I might have missed. I tried to get everybody, but I did miss a few people. So there might be a secret gifts deck under the radar. We have a Steven behind us. Steven is the best card store runner in the business.
I am. I will not deny this. What do we have?
Got a lot of
We have eggs.
blue-white. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
eggs and
Eggs,
grays.
eggs
Yeah.
with
Cam always
bitter,
plays
bitter
something
ordeal.
weird.
Yes.
Cam always plays something
Unless
so
he's
weird.
playing Living End, and then he just plays a normal deck.
Normal deck.
Alright, we have Tez sounds good. I would live with the Tezzerator match too.
Tezzerator and a lot of mental.
Oh, I would live with a Tezzerator match. We have Tron and Tezzerator. Alright, so it looks like we'll be playing something blue-white, possibly with black for Tezzeret, possibly with black for discard to protect Monastery Mentor. What else do we have? We can get you guys a
What's Eric doing?
Grixis control deck. That could be interesting. Eric's out there looking for a second match to put on.
Ah.
Uh-oh, Steven is
It's all right. We'll
assumed
easily,
Eric's
we'll,
chair.
We'll easily sub for him. For the
Got
time
him usurped.
being. God damn it! He just sat down.
We have Paul Myers
Awesome.
versus Martin Sheeler.
Great. Looks like we're going to have...
We are going to have Tezzeret on.
Tezzeret is going to be on camera sooner than we thought. It's going to be
Against
Tezzeret versus Norn Soul
Soul
Sisters.
Sisters.
So this should be an interesting matchup.
Stab your leg.
I'm almost sad that we don't get to see all 3 games of this matchup. I'm sad that we came in the middle.
I am not sad.
Yeah,
Genesis Chamber Soul Sisters kind of obnoxious. They were playing it last time, and we and who was it? I think it was with Paul. Just started talking because there were so many triggers. We just stopped paying attention to them.
Hopefully they had a really long judge call and they have a time extension.
No, we just gave them a time. They get a time extension for moving. They're going on to game 3.
Well, more time extension, the better.
It's
All right, so you're
multiple
going to see
match.
one full game, the deciding game of this.
Watch on this big
Tezzeret
get mana
Norn deck.
screwed.
Yeah. Well, you can't get mana screwed when you're playing Everflowing Chalice. That's the rule.
What?
It's like an extra mana source.
What is this guy's? Paul. What's Paul's last name?
His last name is Myers,
Myers.
M-Y-E-R-S. Paul's a Hyde Park resident. I know
I've
I've
never met him before.
played with him in Hyde Park.
What store is there in Hyde Park?
First Aid Comics.
Ah, he's a first aider. Okay.
AKA where Raoul made his name. The Raoul that we all
Yeah.
know and love.
And he is
On the left-hand
versus-
side, we have Martin.
I'm just trying to remember how to spell his last name.
S-H-C-H-E-E-L-A-R.
So that is kind of like what you expect it to be.
Sure, yeah. I'd say the C is sort of extraneous, but we got the S and the H. I think Norn only has one N. Fun time. I'd be fine putting multiple N's in fun time if you wanted to do that.
Alright, so they're getting set up.
It looks like, okay, that both sides are drawing their opening 7.
I'm kind of entertained by Crimson Viper's chat comment, which is every time I see someone wear their hat backwards, I remember a pic of a guy wearing his hat backwards and uses his hands to block the sun out. For the reference, I just wear it backwards inside because if I wear it forwards, it covers my face too much.
Just so you know, that's a complete lie. Eric wears it because he's a cool skateboarding kid. And that's
I
why he has his hat
do
there backwards.
longboard, but I don't really skateboard anymore. 'Cause
There you go.
you just die on campus in the skateboard because you hit any crack in the sidewalk and you just face plant the pavement.
Just grind like Tony Hawk, man.
On what? There are
On all
no
the
rails
railings.
in our
On
college.
all the rails at Northwestern.
There is a blue-green infect.
Is that Alex running Infect?
It's Jacob. We have Jacob running Blue-Green Infect. And right now we have, it seems to be a mulligan by Paul.
Comrade Squawks, you should both know and love Raoul.
Yes. Raoul is a force for good in the Magic community.
He's a force for good in every community.
I don't know what he does in other communities.
I don't know if he's gonna want me to say. I do know what he does for work, but I don't know that he wants it publicized.
All right. Well,
It's not anything sketchy. It's just his personal life.
we'll just say he's a force.
He's a force. He's actually like an average Star Wars cosplayer. No.
All right. He's the force.
He's a professional Star Wars cosplayer, 100%.
So Paul looks like has a hand that is keepable at a minimum. Paul is on the play, so Martin is on the comeback trail here, having lost game 1, and first turn champion of the Paris is going to get immediately gut shotted.
Gut shot?
Wow, that's a blowout.
Does he have a red mana, or is he? What does he do? Is he fetching for an
Nah,
untapped
he's
land
just
too?
fetching
Oh.
for a shot gobble shrine here. So
I want to see like super ballsy, like just go to 15 and then Thoughtseize go to 13.
why not? Go for it.
He's at let me get the life totals up top. So he's at 17.
So that gut shot cost 2 life to play,
But
but
it saved him a lot
it
of
gained
damage.
him life, and then it didn't even cost as much as a lightning bolt. So there you go, or as much as a disfigure since he's playing black
Turn
and not
0
white.
plays.
It was turn 1, sadly.
Threw the Tezzeret on the table.
Yeah, throw it on the ground, stupid test.
Just give the opponent a preview of what they're gonna face when it comes time.
Guess
for
what
turn
you
4.
got coming for you.
Fetching out artifacts. Torpor Orb. If Paul has Torpor Orbs in his deck, those are pretty good against Nora and the Were.
You just wreck Soul Sisters with Torpor Orb.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the sisters themselves.
Ooh, Path Exile is very good.
I guess you actually also wreck the sisters. So Path the draw for Paul. He's got some removal in hand.
Esper gut shot.
And
Genesis
Martin is going to
Chamber.
try and resolve a Genesis Chamber.
A generous chamber.
It's very
Generous
generous.
chamber.
It's going to be generous with the 1/1s that it doles out on Martin's side of the table.
No, it goes both. It's symmetrical.
It goes symmetrical, but Paul does not
If Paul's
have very
playing
many creatures.
creatures.
He can play artifacts and then convert them into creatures with Tezzeret, but that
He might
does
have
not get
spells.
you any 1/1s.
He might have Spellskite.
There's a limit to the Chamber's generosity.
He could be playing Squadron Hawks.
He could be playing Squadron Hawks. He could be playing equipment. He could be playing any number of nice blue-white things. He could be playing Stoneforge Mystic. He could just be playing band cards. Why not? Martin's going to take 2 off Sacred Foundry. And play... I think that's the namesake
Playing
Norin.
the Norn.
Wow, and Martin is just going off here between Genesis Chamber, Norin the Wary.
Johnny's Pride Mate.
Johnny's Pride Mate. Well, it doesn't have the life gain going on right now.
Yeah, and that's gonna come back in. He's gonna get another creature.
This looks real rough for Paul.
Path
He does
that.
have Path to Exile, which is going to trigger the Norn again. Though
No, it doesn't.
I
Cause
think
he
he's
would,
doing it while the Norn is still exiled.
Yeah, he. That was very much a wait a minute, kill him
Yeah.
that.
Hang on just a sec. Let me pause while...
Ooh, he
Give you
does
another
have
land.
Chalice.
Does have Chalice.
Ever-flowing Chalice, I should be specific.
Oh, yeah. It's very different.
Chalice of the Void would be pretty sick here, too, though.
I
Chalice
actually
on
saw...
one.
So you guys know Andrew Beckstrom. There was an interesting play with Paul playing against Andrew last tournament where Paul plays Chalice for 2 mana, Ever-flowing Chalice, and he says, Chalice on 1. So Andrew just, like, snap cryptic commands to counter it, because he just assumes it's going to, like, lock out his lightning bolts. And then he looks at it, he's like, oh, that's Ever-flowing Chalice, not Chalice of the Void. Well, I wouldn't have countered it if I had known that. But, I mean, it is Chalice on 1, so I can't really complain.
Chalice on 1.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is an Inkmoth Nexus.
Inkmoth Nexus for Paul, that is going to...
Making Inkmoth a 5/5 is pretty good.
shoot down one of those 1/1s. Norn the Weary has looped back to the top of Martin's deck for reasons that I don't fully understand.
What did he do?
Seems to be jumping around. I don't really know why it went back to the top of the deck there. I guess somebody did something. On Paul's part, it looks like
Oh,
he's
it's because he
got
attacked.
a lot of lands. Oh, whenever a creature attacks.
Yeah, he
Norn
attacked for
runs
3.
away.
So let's actually change the life totals correctly.
Can we get Norn up there just in case some people might not know what that card does?
Alright, I will throw Norn up there in all his trilliness.
Even though Norn doesn't want to be on screen, that's sort of like the last thing he wants is to be like, just put on full blast. In front of
Sorry,
all the
Paul's
viewers.
name. Yeah, so it's whenever someone plays a spell, attacks, remove it from the like blink it, remove it, return it that and step.
Did
So-
he miss a trigger to make a mirror?
I think
Norn
he's
must
missed
be
1 or 2 triggers.
Real uncomfortable being on screen right now. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, you spend your whole life running away and like, okay, phew, that's a relief. I was getting a little anxious thinking about that.
He runs away from combat to get into the spotlight.
All right, so the 1/1s come in for Martin.
Ooh, engineered explosives. Is that on 1 or 0? It looks like on 0.
Looks like it might be on 0.
Because he could also just blow up the Norin.
So if he can kill the Norin, he now has explosives to clean up the tokens.
You can only kill the Norin really with
explosives.
Yes.
That is true.
Or
So
Liliana.
explosives is basically just going to give him time. Thing is, it's hard to kill Norin with Liliana when the opponent has Genesis Chamber out.
Blow it up 0 and then
Yeah, blow up for 0 and then sack it and desperately hope they don't have literally anything that they could cast.
Did we miss an attack again?
Very possible.
I think he is at 10.
So Paul's going to want to save this explosives till the last possible moment so he can prevent the
Let me just blow it up.
maximum number of damage. But I guess he's decided that the moment is now. Nord comes back and makes another 1/1. Meanwhile, Johnny's prod mate comes
Ooh,
down and
that is
makes
going to
another
be a
1/1.
very big talisman. Or he could
Aha.
go for he could also go for the super kill and put it on
I
the
think you
infect.
have to. I think you have to go.
But
for
then
the
it just
super kill.
dies, so you only get 5 infected. I think you have to put on talisman so it can defend itself.
But you can't defend yourself that well against like 700.
But it means he
1/1
blocked the
tokens.
Ajani's Pride Mate. I think it has to be on the talisman here.
I think you have to go for Inkmoth Nexus and just hope that you draw another Tezzeret. I don't think you can win if you're just like. Yeah, he's making the Mox Opal a 5/5 here. I don't think he can win the game this way because I think that the 1/1s are just gonna swarm around Tezzeret and kill it, and at that point,
How big is Tezzeret now? It doesn't have a... Oh, there we go.
Tezzeret is at 2. So, okay, yeah, here we go. So it didn't really matter what he animated since it got pathed anyway. I think that Paul is not going to win this game.
Unlikely.
He didn't have Disruption for the Genesis Chamber engine, and the combination of that card plus Norin is quite powerful.
To Rambo Jesus, I'm pretty sure the Valakuts are in the mail. Because they're not on the desk here anymore, so they should have been sent out.
Tezzeret is bad. I don't think Tezzeret is bad. I just don't think it...
It requires
It's
too much
great.
being built around.
Yeah, it's a style of control.
It's making you play cards in your deck like Talisman of Dominance. So, Inkmoth Nexus
Blocking the Ajani's
blocks
Pride
into
Mate.
Johnny's Prod Mate.
I don't know that I like that. And he takes 3, or were those no, that had been all at Tezzeret.
It does at least shrink the Prod Mate permanently. Thanks to the poison on Inkmoth Nexus.
I don't know about permanently if he gets any life gain,
Or
guys.
Infect. Well, it'll still be always one smaller than it would have otherwise.
So Paul needs to draw
I
Damnation
mean, he
here.
did it too early anyway.
Paul needs to draw Damnation, and then even then, he still can't possibly win. Instead, he has Sphinx's Revelation. So he draws Chalice, Inkmoth Nexus, and a white spell.
Also, for the reference, the fun time on the Norin sister's name is kind of sarcastic. Because this deck is a nightmare to play. I love this deck online. This deck is a nightmare to play in paper because of all of the triggers. This deck is so much fun to play online because you just say yes to everything and then it goes super fast.
Thirst for Knowledge, the draw for Paul. He is frantically drawing cards here.
He has to hit. Oh,
He's
he just
drawn
took a lot.
Dispatch, Spellskite, and another 2-mana
2,
artifact.
3, 4, 5, 6. I think he's not at. He's at like 4. If
I
he
think
doesn't,
this is game. I think
That's
we
the
have
wrong
one more
person.
turn left in this game.
he's at 4. He's at dead on board.
So Paul is going to tap 2 mana for a Spellskite.
That's not gonna do anything, unfortunately. It does give him
Aha!
a creature, but
A 1/1. Norin comes back, making yet another creature. So there's like, what? 6 1/1s on board for Martin, plus the 7 that died. So he's made something like 13 1/1s with...
he's made a bunch. I think this is
Genesis
probably
Chamber.
game. Is that a Shrapnel Blast in his hand?
Why not?
It could also just be a Bolt or another Norin.
Cook is already out.
Here comes the attack.
Oh, good night, Cook.
Good night, Cook. Keep cooking. Norin leaves the battlefield for what might be the final time. Paul reveals his hand of all mana sources and 1/1 removal spells that are not capable of killing Norn.
Yeah, that's game. So what do we want to put on
What is
next?
the best answer from Norn?
So far, the deck that people have
Engineer
been
explosives on one.
most eager to see is Esper Mentor. That's the deck that people have been talking the
Do
most
you
about.
want to go see how he's doing?
Sure. Are you going to take care of that?
Do you know who the guy
What's
is?
his name?
His name is Sam Ives.
Sam.
Do you know who he is?
Alright, I'll go take
Go out there
a
with
look.
him. Introduce. If he's doing good, if he's like 1/1, just put him on.
He's a 1/1.
If he's 1, we'll put him on. We're going to put him on if he's still in. The reason why I say if he's 1/1, we'll put him on because he often drops if he's 0-2. Well, hopefully he's on. I'm trying to remember the one deck we had a few weeks ago where we wanted to put it on, and then he just dropped and we went out there. Also, we just had Burn on Crimson Viper. But we're going to go check on Mentor and put it on. His deck is fun to watch. Unfortunately, no Time Walks. Maybe you should play Time Warp in that deck. Just for the lulz. August. Yes, it is pretty bad online. I believe Sam Party or someone on Channel Fireball just released a video of that online, and it can get really obnoxious. It's just like Pod, though, where it's like when you're doing the infinite stuff, you have to continually keep doing it. And you can just get into really silly timeout versions with Twin, where it's who's going to go longer. Unfortunately, we do not have the Soul Flare deck here. We had it a while ago, but it hasn't popped up since. How's he doing?
Esper Mentor is 1/1.
So, does he want to go on?
And he is happy to go on camera.
Sweet. So you told him to go on then?
Yeah, I told him to just step right on.
Alrighty.
So we'll have some Esper Mentor for you guys. Coming
Flip
up
it back
in
to
round
us. We will have Espor Mentor going on. From Card Market. It's totally going the wrong way. Card Market.
3. MTG Drac. I get that would be Drac GTM. What's market backwards? Tech Ram? Tech Ram actually sounds sort of sweet.
Oh, Rambo Jesus. Yeah, the Jund Scapeshift deck is fine. I've seen it be played a little bit. It works fine. It's just you don't feel like you need cryptic commands. Also, Grave Titan is hilarious.
I do like Corsair of Krufix, especially since Abrupt Decay is sort of on the downswing, though Collected Company Abzan might be reversing that trend very quickly.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, I don't even know that Abrupt Decay does enough versus them, because the entire combo is like instant speed.
Right, but the deck as a whole is good versus Scapeshift since you have Liliana and discard. So I'm just thinking about the card Corsair of Krufix.
Wait, Collected Company Abzan does not run Liliana.
Oh, okay, I thought we were talking about junk.
The
Yeah.
Jund Scapeshift deck also does not run Liliana.
Nobody runs Liliana except for junk.
Yes, or like Fringe
Or black-white
decks.
tokens, I guess.
Or
who
Grixis.
knows?
Some of the Grixis mid-range decks do.
That is true. For instance, Gurmag Angler, which is the best card in Modern. If you're playing Gurmag Angler, you're frequently also playing Liliana.
Yeah, but no, I think Abrupt Decay is actually getting more played because of Collected Company Abzan itself. Because it's playing it, which is taking up, and people are starting to play it against it because it's instant speed combo.
My
Also,
guess
Twin
would
is a
be that
thing, so...
Collected Company and Scapeshift matchup would favor Scapeshift. And I say
It
that
does. You beat
just
creature
because
decks.
Scapeshift had a great matchup against Birthing Pod, which you would actually know a lot about.
Yes. Cryptic Command is a house against that matchup. Being able to board in rats like Pyroclasm, Fire Spout. I don't run Anger of the Gods anymore, but I probably will have to start running Anger of the Gods because Collected Company sucks. You have like stupid stuff though. You can run like Giga Drowse. You just have a bunch of creature removal, which just stops their stuff. Like in my main deck, I run 2 bolts, a repeal, and like 3 Izzet charms. So I just ping crap down that they can't respond to.
It doesn't seem like they have a lot of interaction for your combo.
They also don't. They play no interaction with the combo besides racing me. And they also
There's a
play the
Mind
Sin
Sensor.
Collector. They play Sin
They
Collector
have
from the
Sin
board.
Collector, and they every so often have Mind Sensor.
Yeah, Mind
right?
Sensor just dies.
Yeah, Mind Sensor is very liable to.
You
die
can
removal.
get trolled though if you're not paying attention, and they have enough mana to Chord of Calling Mind Sensor in response to you casting Scapeshift if you don't tap extra mana.
Sure.
Or don't have a way to prevent it in hand.
They are
I've seen
tapped
that
out.
happen before. I've not had that happen to me because I tend to pay attention for that, but I've seen it happen to my opponents. Like I've like lent the deck to people and like seen them have that happen to them.
That's a really good hate card against Collected Company as Grafdigger's Cage. So
When are we going to see Grafdiggers versus
If that
Collected
gets-
Company?
if Collected Company really picks up, I
I
can see
think that Grafdiggers does actually defeat Collected Company. Since they're coming to play... Well, I don't know. Are they coming to play from the library or from, like, some weird revealed card zone?
I mean, they could still hard cast the creatures anyway.
That's
so-
the kind of thing that we'd probably have to go to Gatherer for to really get the true answer.
It prevents creatures from entering from graveyard or
You look at the
library.
tops of cards, put up 2 cards, so you look at them. So they
I think
are
they're still in your
the-
library.
They are still in the library because it's you look at the top 6 and put them into play. So you're putting them into play from the zone you are looking at, which is still your library.
Okay.
So they are technically in a temporary viewed zone, but they do directly go from your library to the playing field. So Grafdigger's Cage does stop
Yeah,
that.
'cause
Gotcha.
Reveal is not a zone.
Yes, so it works against Collected Company, it works against Court of Calling, it works against all their persist triggers. So it basically hoses them almost worse than Pod because they have to run 8 spells to dig through their library. So the earlier you get one, the harder it is for them to deal with it.
Right.
And they run less main deck answers because Pod tended to run a few Qasali Prime Mages. It runs 1 and 1 Reclamation Sage. So, it's a lot harder for them to get them out earlier.
So if we want to predict, a future shift in the metagame, if we assume that Grafdigger's Cage is going to see more play, what are the decks that affect?
It doesn't affect anything else beyond. You only brought in Grafdigger's Cage against.
It's not really very
Collected
good
Company.
against Living End.
It doesn't work against Living End. Pro tip: if you're ever facing Living End, do not board in Grafdigger's Cage. It does literally nothing because
Pro
they
tip,
get.
if you are playing Living End, then just
Just
say that you
laugh.
hope that they don't have a Grafdigger's Cage,
'Cause they come in
that
from
card is going to
exile.
kill you.
Yeah.
With Grafdigger's Cage and Living End, it's a different story, because they actually go to exile before
Yes.
they come into play.
Living End is exile all creatures from your graveyard, sack all creatures to the graveyard, put everything in from the exile zone to the playing field, so they enter from the exile zone, not the actual graveyard.
Grafdigger's Cage does something against Snapcaster Mage, but in my experience, it's not very good against Snapcaster Mage decks, since they don't usually have too many other cards that it beats. You'd rather have something like a Relic of Progenitus that at least can
Yeah.
always be cycled.
Yeah, I don't think there's any deck that you actually care about Snapcaster Mage enough to warrant bringing in Grafdigger's Cage.
Right. I mean, actually, if we had an Esper Mentor deck with Snapcaster and Lingering Souls, that
hey.
could be a consideration.
Snap-
And the fence is only $2 right now.
Yeah, Snapcaster
Wow.
Lingering Soul seems pretty good.
Yeah, it does prevent Lingering Souls, but if you're playing Snapcaster and Lingering Souls in the same deck,
I don't think I would buy Inoffensa, just because I don't really think it has...
I don't
much
think
of a
you
place
should
in
buy
other
it
decks.
unless you're playing the deck. Because,
Yeah.
the cards that tend to go up in Modern are not the pieces, it's the engine. Just like how Pod was an expensive card, but Malira never broke $1. So, Collected Company is expensive because it's the engine, whereas, Inoffensa is, less expensive because it's the creature aspect of it and only one part of the combo. Also, Collected Company is seeing a lot of play in Standard and is being used in other Modern decks, kind of, for creature aggro decks.
Yeah, Collected Company, I saw a Legacy deck playing Collected Company.
What deck was that?
It was basically it was like a Deathrat Shaman deck. It had Deathrat Shaman, Collected Company.
Shardless Bug with Collected Company?
No Shardless
That
Agents.
that would be ballsy. Just play Shardless Agent and Collected
Shardless
Company.
Agent and Collected Company. This is a
You realize
great
how much
combo.
fun that would be? Just Collected Company to 2 Shardless Agents.
It doesn't work like
Cascade
that.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't
work.
work like
Oh,
that.
oh yeah, because it's on
Cascade.
cast. That's
Cascades
it.
on
It
cast.
That
works
is
so
a
that you get
definite
two
non-bow.
Yeah.
You get 2 2/2s, and then it's well, I made bad decisions with my
Put it
life.
this way. You'd rather flip Collected Company than a land.
That is fair.
But it's not particularly amazing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what other 3 cards you'd play in that deck. You
Shows
can play
up-
Geist, you can play Click.
I
Yeah,
think-
Click is good.
I've heard of Jund players in Legacy switching to what's that goblin?
That Goblin.
That-
Goblin
the
Rabble
one, the one-
Master.
Goblin Rabble Master. So I guess you could Collected Company into it and then spiral out
Yeah,
of
I
control
mean,
that
people
way.
are Collected Company into Rabble Master and Standard,
Yeah.
along with simultaneously Collected Company into Mantis Rider and Savage Knuckleblade.
That deck is I actually really like that deck, and I'm pretty sure if I had unlimited money right now, I would build that center deck because it's hilarious.
That deck is not playing a fantastic mana base.
You
I
don't
think
care.
that I
You
would
don't
play that
You don't need a mana base. You have Collected Company. That is
Alright,
your
so
mana
we have our
base.
pairings for the next round 3.
Collected Company with Recruiter.
We have, let's see, we're looking for Sam Ives. He's playing Sam Ives. Playing Matthew Barbucio. Matthew's deck we do not have, so we're gonna
If I
get a
see
mystery
it.
deck.
I know what Matthew. I'm trying to remember what he looks like, but he definitely plays around here a lot, so he should be running his usual.
We're gonna have a mystery matchup.
Thank you, Get Smushed, for following.
Yes. I hope that whoever you want smushed gets smushed.
Yeah, Modern Elves with collected companies. Pretty good.
Modern Elves with Collected Company is pretty good, but it's also like Modern
still
Elves
lacks.
with Collected Company is bad for the same reason why Modern Elves is like Modern Collected Company does not improve Modern Elves very much because it still makes you overcommit to the board. Because the entire reason why Modern Elves is bad in metas when it is bad is because it makes you overcommit heavily to the board to do anything. So you just die to mass removal spells, and
I
it's
think
really
it
hard
does
to come
help in
back.
the sense that they skip the turn to cast their board wide because you're doing it at the end of theirs.
Yeah.
I guess that's a small benefit to not being. You have that extra little turn to where you're not as vulnerable.
The other problem with Elves decks is they play 18 lands, so once your board is Wrath, there's no way in hell you're casting Collected Company.
Because all your mana's coming from.
Yeah, all your mana is coming from your Elves. Like, it definitely can make the deck more explosives, and I definitely enjoy the deck, but, like, my thing is I don't think it shores up the Elves deck enough to make it, like, hugely prevalent. But, I don't know. The deck is definitely fun. I've enjoyed watching people who play it actually play it, because it's also just really funny to go Collected Company into, like, oh, the dude that gives me a bunch of mana for all my Elves, and the dude that pumps my team.
Alright, the players have taken their seats.
Which is which?
I believe that is Sam Ives on the left.
Let's reset their lives. Nope.
Nope.
They're just
There's Matthew on the left.
He is on.
He's on Grixis
He's on
Delver.
Grixis control with Tasigur and Delver.
No, he's on Grixis Delver.
he
and
does
not
Grixis
Control.
Delver. Yeah.
Oh, he's not doing Tasigur.
Are you just eating chicken?
I am eating chicken, yes.
I thought for a second he had like a rice cracker. I'm like, there's no crunch. What the hell? Nope. He's just eating chicken breast.
It's great. My favorite thing to
How the
eat.
hell do you spell Barbuscio? Arbuscio. That's the wrong person.
Other
All right.
side, other side.
Is that how you spell Sam's last name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Timer just started 10 seconds ago.
Alright,
Sweet.
we're about 49. Thank you, Zach Rose. I appreciate the name. I did rise.
Ah, whatever. It's 48. I don't care. The clock's a minute fast.
Okay.
I really don't give enough shits to change it.
It'll add more urgency to the situation.
Sam Ives is playing what?
He's playing Esper Mentor.
Yes.
That's why he's on camera.
I need more caffeine, guys. I'll take a minute.
There, he's taking a caffeine break.
Not yet. It's just I'm gonna be a little slow until I get enough time
Eric
to
is
pound down some more of
planning
this.
his caffeine break in advance.
Yes. Fucking flies.
Right?
Yes.
I'm attracting flies here with my delicious chicken breast.
It's not even seasoned. I'm gonna like smack over my own soda
Yeah,
can.
it's not even seasoned.
Flies don't care, and neither should you.
I'm just saying it's not delicious because it's not seasoned.
Yeah, flies don't care because they don't have sense of taste.
Neither do I.
Apparently.
If I eat my own cooking, right? Alright.
So after this round, he's scrolling.
M. Groshpin, which list are you looking to get? The Espor Mentor list or the which deck list?
Wow, we're going to the third die roll here. Third die roll tiebreaker. Come on,
And
let's
looks-
go for 4. Wow!
Yahtzee!
Will it stop?
No, he just beat it.
Finally. Looks
Some-
like that was 4 die rolls.
At Mentor, of course. That's what he wants.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure you didn't want the Collected Company deck list. We can talk to him after this match. If this match goes fast enough, we can actually ask him to come back here and talk about his deck, because he's talked about it a couple times. And yeah, I'll talk to him about sending me the deck list for it, and I'll give it to Mark to post. Remind me when the match is nearing the end to go out there and talk to him, because I'm a little low on memory space right now. Mentor has been broken in, like,
Vintage the most.
Vintage the most, Legacy a little.
I
I'm
think
seeing playing Legacy Miracles these days in the
Yeah.
sideboard.
It's good there. That's the thing. To me, like, Mentor feels more like a sideboard card in Modern.
All right, Matt has kept his hand. Sam is mulliganing to 6. What do you think of the matchup? What are we expecting?
I think Matt's gonna win this game. I don't know post board. I don't know who's gonna win the match, but I think Matt is just heavily favored game 1 on the play because he's such an aggressive deck.
Especially against a mulligan.
Yeah. Like, if he's kept... Although he's not playing that much discard, so if he just has an aggressive creature hand, Matt can come past it by, like, sizing him with the Mentor.
Though I will say that both Bolt and Terminate and Murderous Cut are... All 3 of those cards are very good against Mentor.
Yes.
Insane.
Wait, am I being called insane for saying Mentor's better in the sideboard?
I think they're just calling you insane in general.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying, like, I definitely think it's a good card. I don't think there is yet an engine that has broken it in Modern. So for me, I like Mentor more in the sideboard of, like, a control deck or something like that, where you can just help you outrace the aggro decks or something like that, rather than trying to build around it. I think there might be a build in Modern that breaks it, but I just personally don't know it, and I don't know how long it'll take to actually be there.
They need 0 mana rocks so they can pop them from spells and trigger all over the place, but since they don't,
I should
have
just
that in Modern.
I should just play one in, like, Affinity. Springleaf Drums, Mox Opals, get there. If Mox Diamond was legal, it would be insane.
Triggers off Cranial Blading. Triggers off Galvanic Blast.
I really want to troll, though, and, like, just play one in Storm.
Sure. People are always splashing white for wear and tear.
Yeah, because, like, my entire thing is with, like, S4 Mentor is, like, if you need to be chaining a lot of spells, either you're playing it in a control deck, in which case you don't really need the 3-drop.
That's aggressive. Matt is just bolting Sam end of turn here as both sides playing lands for their first 2 turns.
Oh, I actually like Justice Peanut's idea. There is a... Gosh, I can't remember. It's Pure Steel Paladin, who you play a bunch of 0-cost artifacts.
Oh, yeah.
God.
But I'm going to pull this off because he just mentioned it.
Why do you like
hold
those
on.
terrible decks?
Because this deck is beautiful when it goes off. Justice Peanut, you just
ADIM.
reminded me of, like, one of my favorite decks. I'm going to pull this up really quick because they're just kind of shuffling. Oh, I should change the life totals really quick.
Sam got bolted.
Nope, not the booth, not the booth. Sorry,
Not
guys.
bad.
Hi, we love you.
Eidolon the Great Revel, Monastery Mentor's great combo. Probably not.
It's a great combo.
By
All you have to
combo,
do
you
is
mean
play-
Nanbo?
All you have to do is play 5 mana and 4 mana spells. It's a great combo. Looks like Sam is going for an Anticipate.
So the combo that Mingresh Point, whatever that is, the combo that was mentioned with Cheerios is you play Pure Steel Paladin, all the 0-cost equipment you can, and just try to draw your entire deck and grape shot them. But Monastery Mentor also just means you can just play all your play all the equipments to get extra value.
Yep.
Although I don't know how this is now a $5 card.
Making tokens. Probably because of the insane Monastery Mentor synergies.
I don't think anyone's
Blood.
played it though.
Blood Funnel.
So Sam has a Lingering Souls here, which is one of the best cards against Grixis type strategies, though it does not trade that favorably with Electrolyze. It doesn't trade unfavorably with Electrolyze, but it,
So I think we may have missed a point of damage.
I
No,
would
I don't
not
know
be
that we
surprised.
did. I don't think we did, because Delver hasn't swung yet, and he's just now casting Lingering Soul. So I think we're still correct.
Very interesting.
I believe this
Oh.
is an Is It Charm to counter one side of the Lingering Souls.
Blood Funnel's interesting.
Blood Funnel is great with Eidolon of the Great Revel and Monastery Mentor.
Are you trying to kill yourself?
No, you're just trying to play non-creature spells that are expensive without killing yourself. So if they cost 4 mana, you play the Blood Funnel, you can start, like, you know, chaining together Jace's Ingenuities.
That's a little sketchy. Alright, the Delver just flipped. So if he swings with it, we're probably going to see a Lingering Souls block. I believe the life totals are correct. If someone is wrong... Oh, actually, yeah, Zach Rose has a good point. It jumped around tiny leaders
Okay.
when it came into play.
It's not legendary, though.
No.
No, but it'll still get played because they're silly decks.
I don't know any casual formats.
Tiny Leaders is starting to get competitive, man.
That'd be cool. I would like that.
It's
Tiny
I think
Leaders
they hold.
is like a souped up legacy.
I
almost.
actually think they still hold Tiny Leaders FNMs at Card Market here.
All right, so Delver comes in.
Double block, bolt one. Yeah, we knew that was kind of obviously gonna
A
happen.
lot of times that's how it works, which is
And now he just flashbacks the Lingering Souls and doesn't care.
basically means you're trading a Lightning Bolt for 1/2 of the Lingering Souls. It's still not a very good trade. You're still trading 1 for 1/2.
Yeah. I wonder if
That's
it's.
why
Oh,
Lingering
does he have a
Souls is so
mentor? If he has a mentor in hand, he could just play mentor and then flashback Lingering Souls.
That you're
Nope.
assuming he has a 5th land, which
I thought it looked like
Looks
he
like
did, but it might be a tap
might
land.
not be the case. No 5th land whatsoever.
Nope. That's brutal. But it's good to
I wonder
kill.
whether Matt will run the same play again. I bet he wishes he had that Lightning Bolt.
He hasn't
right now
electrolyzed. Why would he just
that he
electrolyze?
just randomly cast on turn 1. But instead he has Serum Visions, which is going to find a swamp. So he has the untapped land now to electrolyze these 2 tokens, though he might be worried about something like electrolyze. He might just want to pass here and make Sam waste his mana, though Sam had an anticipate earlier in the game, so it might
Oh.
not be a total waste.
He has 2 mentors in hand.
2 mentors in hand.
He's just waiting for 5 mana. Oh, I think he just electrolyzes pre-combat and swings with Delver.
But then if you get remanded, it's like pretty bad.
Oh, that's fair. But no matter what he's casting, does
You
he
definitely
have
don't want to attack and then electrolyze, I can say that. It looks like he's just going to try and cast it now, and we'll see what Sam has to...
That's definitely getting
Deal with
countered
this.
if he has a counter. Nope, that is an
Not getting
anticipate in his
counted.
hand.
So he made the right play here. I think that both you and I would have waited.
Oh, there. What is that?
Looks
Is
like...
that Gets Verdict?
It looks like a... Ugh, jeez.
Oh, great. We're gonna have some fun trying to figure out what these spells are. Is that...
Somebody in the chat can look up the picture.
Wait, is that... No.
It doesn't
No,
look
it's
like it.
not.
Oh,
Looks-
what spell is that?
Looks kind of like a Zergling.
Is that Dismember? No, that's Dismember.
Is it?
I think that's the promo Dismember.
If it is, Matt is wondering the same thing. What is this card?
Let's go down to the other.
It does look
That
like
is the
it's
promo
only,
Dismember.
It looks like it's only one
So
word.
he lost 2 life from that.
Took 2 life to cast Dismember, falling to 15 for Sam.
Know your promos.
That is a very obscure promo. Like, not that many people play the promo.
You're moving around New York. Cool, man. I like New York. Upstate New York or the city? Thought Scour from Matt. Flips over a probe and a probe. And those are promos, as you can tell. Or should I say probe-mos?
No, you shouldn't say that.
Yeah, I should.
Ever.
Delver of Secret, and he's got a Tasigur in hand, I think. But he's choosing not to cast Tasigur. I wonder why.
Anticipate... Because he doesn't want to get remanded.
I think it's actually because he wants to leave a
Double
bolt.
blue brainstorm.
Well, it doesn't make sense, because it would only make sense if...
I don't
Sam
think
had
he
a
wants to
bunch
get
of
Tessiger
sorceries.
remanded.
That could be it, but he has so many cards in his graveyard. It's not like it's that big a deal to get Tasigur remanded.
That's fair.
The draw for Sam is Path to Exile. He is going to drop the Mentor now that he has the Path, so he's guaranteed to get at least 1 token out of it. Looks like end of turn, Matt's going to bolt the Mentor, and
You have to just path the Delver.
yeah...
Because
you
you're
have
going to path it
the
anyways, so you may as well just get rid of it.
Yep. So Sam is now tapped out, and Matt's going to go find his 5th land, which means that he can cast the Delver, or cast the Tasigur, exile his 5 worst cards, and then activate the Tasigur that same turn. If he chooses to, he might have other plans for his mana, of course. So we've gotten to see a couple nice Tasigur activations.
Earlier, there was a lot of Tessiger activations.
Just
How many
that
Inquisitions of
Inquisition of
Kozilek?
Kozilek, jeez. That thing was working overtime.
That late in the game is pretty surprising too.
It was, actually. They kept being relevant cards to get with it. Although Mana Leak is not a very relevant card. So the draw for Matt is, I think, a spell. It looks like he has a
Looks like he has
Snapcaster
2
in
Tassigurs.
his hand. I'm curious whether he decides to... Yeah, so he is going to delve for the max here. Now, it's interesting when you have Tasigur and Snapcaster in your hand. You're sort of incentivized to keep a diversity of spells for Snapcaster because it gives you more options for what to flash back. But Tasigur is pushing you in the opposite direction because the more spells you leave, the more different spells you leave, the more options your opponent has. So it's an interesting trade-off when you're making this call about what to delve.
I mean, the thing about
You just delve all the stuff you're never going to snap back anyways.
But sometimes you can have a thing and you're like, well, I might snap this back, but I don't really want to get it back with Tasigur.
You can also just delve all your lands.
Yeah, but then
Or leave
you're
them.
just giving your opponent more options for what to
Yeah,
give you
I
back.
feel like what he has though is good though. Like Serum, you're not gonna cast Thought Scour if you have Serum Visions.
Oh, the Serum Visions is being replacing an Izzet Charm, so he wants to keep the Izzet Charm there.
I don't know if that was intentional, but he did also just kind of flash him at the camera, which was nice.
Yeah, always appreciated. So he's leaving up the 4 mana to get back a spell of Sam's choice.
I don't know if I agree.
I think that's another path for Sam, but second Tasigur out of Matt is going to be pretty good. In fact, it will be even better than the first Tasigur, since there will be fewer options after the second Tasigur delves away even more cards.
Yep. And did
So-
he activate it in response?
He activated it in response to the path.
He just got a probe, which is
Which
of
I
course
like.
what he's going to get.
But Probe is fine here. I mean, it's basically just drawing a card. Though it's not like the life matters very much.
Yeah.
The Monk does have prowess, so Monk is a 2/2. Could even get bigger. Inquisition kicks the Monk up to a 3/3. He, unfortunately for him, cannot take Tasker here. So my guess would be that Snapcaster is going to be the card taken, since that's the most powerful card.
Oh, so Chad is asking where Mark is. Mark is currently busy on most Wednesdays. He will start picking up Wednesdays probably next week and possibly the week after for a bit. But he's busy with work. He's been having a client that he's been working with in his actual job, so he should be around tomorrow. He was around last week. I did Legacy with him last week, so he exists. He's alive.
Matt has drawn another Snapcaster.
Also,
But he's going to start with Tasigur.
and as a shout out to get you guys interested, we are after 4th round we are going to be raffling off a promo Spanish Emrakul.
Wow.
So that'll be fun.
I've never done one of those before. How does the raffle work?
We set up the raffle in the chat. There's a little raffle stuff from Moobot. Hopefully
Gotcha.
Moobot will be working, although I did actually figure out the Moobot chat commands to type it in.
Moobot, so that's a cow reference?
It's just the bot. It's just the bot that runs all the stuff on chat on
Right.
Twitch.
Is it like a cow bot?
I don't
Does
know.
it say moo in the chat a lot?
No, hey, chat, who knows how Moobot got their name? Because I don't actually know. This is Tasker number 2?
Tell Mark said Uka, and that's going to be tough to pronounce.
We will tell him.
Uku baka baka baka.
Well, maybe it
kaka,
comes from the
kaka,
interrupting
ku,
cow.
I think. I might have gotten the number of calls wrong. Sorry, I apologize. Should add. Oh, Goblin Raffle Master. That would be a very strong card.
That was Probe Life Loss.
If you could really master raffles, you would get a lot of free stuff from this stream. So
you
Tasigur is
you already
at the
revealed
table.
this.
What?
Looks like a probe got cast.
You already said.
Yep.
So that's sort of not great because it means now he's gonna get the probe back. But again, probe is basically just drawing a card, so it's not that bad. Especially like you have use for lands since you have Tasigur and Snapcaster Mage, so it's even drawing lands off probe is fun. On Sam's side of the table, we have Snapcaster, which looks destined to get back Path to Exile or not. He's gonna get Dismember and flash it back, paying 2 life here.
Snappy Remand.
Snap Izzet Charm, I think, is what's gonna happen.
Yep.
So Izzet Charm counters the Dismember.
But prowess triggers.
Prowess triggers. The monk gets to enjoy life as a 2/2 again. Feels like it's on top of the world.
Did he full pay for that Dismember? Yeah, I think he actually paid the full black for that.
No, I think he played a tap land afterwards.
Oh, so he did lose 2 life again.
Either way, whether he paid 2 or paid 2, he still paid 2. So,
Oh, that's fair.
what do you think, Eric? Has Tasigur been a good card in these rounds that we've watched?
Yes.
I'd say Tasigur is
Insanely so.
showing some strength in these rounds so far.
That's a rough top deck.
Flooded Strand.
Yeah, that just hurts.
He's got nothing. And Tasigur is just going to run away with this game here.
Yep, and now he has a Snapcaster also, though, so it just gets a little silly.
Snapcasters are staring at each other across the table. Matt has some card draw spells in his hand, like he has a Thought Scour, but I think he's just going to be content to activate Tasigur.
Oh, he did
The
cast
Monastery
Mentor.
Mentor gets deprived. Interestingly, Matt doesn't float mana, so he can no longer activate the Tasigur. I feel like I would have been tempted to return one of the tapped lands. But he's no big deal. He got to mill a useless Tasigur, so Thanks, Thought
That
Scour.
just means he's gonna get it back next Tassiger activation.
Yeah, unless he has some delve spell in his hand, like a Murderous Cut or something.
Lingering Souls is pretty good though.
I believe that's a spell snare in hand for Matt. So
I mean, even in a low land deck, Tassiger is just a good body, and when you eventually get to the land where decks where it's probably relevant, you will.
Matt
get
is
to it
protected
eventually.
against Victim of Night.
Has Tassiger protected himself against Victim of the Night?
Spell snare is protecting itself.
Oh, okay.
Tassiger, I don't know. He's just like a creep. I don't know what his actual creature type is.
I think he's human.
barely.
Is he a Naga?
He's creature type barely human.
He's a human shaman
All right.
until he becomes the undead visor.
Vizier.
Vizier.
Vizier. Hey chat, what do you think is like the craziest misspelling that we could trick Eric into thinking is true? Let's just plan that out when the match is going on and he has to pay attention to the match, and then you guys can plan that amongst yourselves, and then
Wait,
I'll
what?
look back and try and convince him about some fake pronunciation. Like that it's Vizier.
Who's the guy playing?
I don't
eggs?
believe you. I
What's
just
his
ignore
name?
you.
Nah.
That's like bidet of Thassa.
If the whole chat was saying it.
Oh, I already know chat lies to me.
Chat lies, he's lied to you before.
Yep.
You don't trust them anymore?
Do not trust chat.
Creeping Tarpet comes down, which, you know, it's not that insane for Sam to race here if you assume that Matt has nothing.
Ban and Snaring Bridge.
He
Makes
could
the
be
game
attacking with
last long.
the Lingering Souls tokens and chumping the Tassiger and hitting with Creeping Tarpet. If Matt weren't drawing like 8 cards every turn, I would almost say that he has a chance. Alright, so Murderous Cut is going to exile some lousy cards from Matt's graveyard in addition to killing a Spirit token.
That's pretty good. I like
is
that
pretty
use of
good.
Murderous Cut.
I dislike that it's... Actually, you know what? Now that the Creeping Tarpet came down, I think I probably would have been more tempted to save it. I think that's 5 cards. You can only exile 4, unfortunately. And yep, the Snapcaster is going back to the graveyard, which is fine. Snapcaster is a pretty good card to get back with Tassiger.
It would be sick if Delve worked like Convoke, where you can like just exile
Tap the
cards of
max?
creatures.
Sure, yeah. Throw them all out of there. Knock their Tarmogoyf down to 0. A Bolt and a Remand into the graveyard for Matt. So Sam has his pick of many different spells
Give him
here.
back Tassiger.
You think Tassiger? Tassiger makes sense here. The only thing is he can just delve away more cards. He's going to give him back the Remand. So Matt untaps. He's got Remand to at least delay. Looks like a Mana Leak. Which, in combination of the Remand, could potentially counter one of Sam's spells if he plays a card and then tries to recast it the same turn.
Yeah, I think just Matt has firm control over this game. His hand is.
I mean, he's drawn,
huge.
what, like 5 cards off Tassiger?
Yeah. Also, Sam has unfortunately been very flooded. But the Tasker engine's real.
So here comes the Tar Pit.
He doesn't actually have a kill spell for it in his hand. It looks like.
Alright, taking 3.
So he has stalls for days.
That's why I gave him back the Remand, I guess. Aha! Lingering Souls have returned to linger even more.
Mana Leak.
Mana Lake takes care of the front half. He's got Remand sitting in his hand for the back half. Again, I think a minor misstep. I think you activate Tassiger before casting Mana Lake here.
Maybe
Just
he
to
wants
give your
back the
opponent
Mana
one
Leak.
less option. Yeah, but you don't want to give your opponent the choice.
Or you just hit 2 lands and don't care.
He gets back some card. I think it was the Mana Lake since it looked like it was pretty
No, I
high.
think it looked
in
like
the
Murderous
pile.
Cut.
If it's Murderous Cut, I don't really understand that play.
No, it was Tassiger.
It's Tassiger. Okay. So the draw looked like another Mana Lake for Matt. He's got Mana Lakes for days.
Sam has blocking for a long time.
Asia-
Sam has blocking for like a few more weeks. Or a
If
few more
Asia can
hours.
acquire Legacy decks, so can Pro Tour players. Talking about putting Legacy on the Pro Tour.
Mm.
A lot of players go.
I think the problem with putting Legacy on the Pro Tour is like a lot of people do the Pro Tour from like standard formats, stuff like that. So having to make them drop like $2,500 or more in order to play a legitimate Legacy deck is very, very like
Yeah. I don't think that you could really have
Bad.
a Legacy Pro Tour. I mean, you could have a proxy Legacy Pro Tour. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but I just don't think they could do that because like the entry into Legacy is extremely different than the entry into Modern for a competitive deck.
You'd have to sponsor the players at that point. You'd have to just like commit to providing players with cards if you're gonna have a Legacy Pro Tour, I think.
Yeah, just release Legacy Masters.
Exactly. Just reprint everything on the ban list.
Fuck the reserve. You mean the
Is that
ban
a
list?
Reserved, whatever. It's a Kolaghan's Command. The card is upside down in the graveyard. That's gonna bother me.
Go change it.
Not enough to.
Oh, there's another
change it.
Kolaghan's Command.
Wow, the Kolaghan's Command. They're coming fast and furious.
Yeah, Legacy doesn't make Wizards of the Coast money.
Eric, would you mind adjusting that Kolaghan's Command on screen? I think you just have to double click it and then it turns around.
That's exactly how that works.
I mean, they can make Legacy make money as much as they have with Modern Masters and all that, so I wouldn't go that far. They could definitely...
I like Malpheus's comment of Vintage called and said her get a real Legacy, get a real mana base.
Alright, Kolaghan's Command turned around. Yeah, what's the mana base like in Vintage that's so much better than Legacy?
Library of Alexandria, Moxes.
Okay, Library of Alexandria is pretty good.
Mishra's Workshop.
Moxes are pretty good. Wish's Workshop is pretty good. Not to mention that Dredgeland, whatever it's called.
Bazaar
Bazaar
of
of
Baghdad.
Baghdad, yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, not much has been happening in this game. Tasigur just keeps hitting and
I believe he's at 4
drawing
now.
cards. I'm hoping that this game ends soon so that we can get a full second and third game. The Tarpit is valiantly plunking away.
I think Zach is literally just showing that he doesn't know Vintage.
I wish I had a new
That's
flag.
brutal. Kolaghan's Command just killed the Tarpit.
Kolaghan's Command kills the Tarpit and returns... I hope he returns Snapcaster. That's always a really strong play. Because then you can just Snapcaster the Kolaghan's Command and...
Bazaar of
Do it
Baghdad is
again.
pretty bad just because Dredge didn't do very good in the Vintage League recently.
Serum Visions for Matt. He draws.
It's because there's
Scries.
just so much easier hate.
Yeah.
DN Fanatic is saying that
Dakmar salvages
Dakmar-
the Dredgeland.
Yep.
So true.
You just play Bazaar and Manaless Dredge.
All
In
right.
Vintage.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
Tech.
Play Cycling Lands too.
Ooh. He's still basically dead
What
if
does
that Delver
Uba
flips.
Mask do with
He's
Bazaar?
also dead because Matt can just mana leak this a bunch.
Ubamask's cards never enter your hand. They always go to like a side zone, so you just draw 2 and never have to discard them because you don't have a hand. So you draw them, they go into the Ubamask zone, and then
You
that's
get to
not the
cast them for
correct
that-
terms.
You only get to
but-
cast them for that turn, though, right?
No, you get to cast them from as long as Uba's Mask is on the field, you get to cast them.
So what you're saying is that tap draw 2 cards is a powerful ability to put onto a land.
Yeah. You know,
Can
like
buy
Library
that.
of Alexandria.
Yeah, that's only 1 card. Bazaar is putting that to shame. The Tasigur resolves, so this game will drag out for longer.
Now Fist is giving me grief on the obvious troll statement I made of Manaless Dredge and Vintage.
Why not? Could happen. Everyone sides 6 Dredge hate. Subscribe to your deck list.
Rukh Thar and Vintage is hilarious.
Go for the throat is
Grab
gonna
Digger's Cage in your Dredge
kill
sideboard.
Tasigur and get itself
Dispel.
dispelled.
Mana Leak the Dispel.
The
This is gonna be a
old
counter
Maniac
war.
Dispel.
No, I think he's gonna Mana Leak or remand it.
Looks like he might be... he's gonna Thought Scour in response. Flipping Young Pyromancer, Snapcaster, and drawing Terminate. Okay.
He's
That's
like,
fine.
sure.
Well, in that case, let's just let that Spell Snare resolve.
Go for throw.
Sam activates Tasigur. Just might as well show the opponent 2 more cards before dying.
Well, he might give him back. I don't know.
A 0 mana counterspell. Pact of Negation.
That's game.
That's game. We'll go to game 3 or game 2. Feels like it should.
Wow,
be
that was such a long game 1.
The thing was, the outcome was not really in doubt for a long time.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know Sam's deck, but I'm sure Sam had stuff that he could have done to get out of it.
Yeah, like
But once you start activating Tasigur, the game is very firmly in your favor.
I wonder if Sam's deck is playing any Delve spells.
I think as a rule of thumb, like the third activation of Tasigur means you pretty much like the third activation more than your opponent of Tasigur means you probably are going to win the game.
Depends what you're getting back. If you're getting back mana leaks, maybe not. If you're getting back like actual cards, then yeah.
Also, Crimson Viper, he did play 2 mentors and they immediately died. He was saying that he saw no mentors. They were there. They were played. They just immediately died.
Not only that, one of them left a token behind.
Yeah, one of them did leave a prowess token behind.
They're asking if Grizzlebrand is in this Grixis deck because of the misspelling. Grizzix.
Mm.
No.
Oh, the reason why that is spelled wrong is because for a long time I mispronounced Grixis as Grisix, and Chad always gave me grief about it, so I just started intentionally spelling the deck names wrong. I should probably switch that back so people actually know. Especially because I'm actually getting better at pronouncing it correctly.
I think enough people
You've been
know
doing
what you're
great
trying
today.
to.
Thanks for following Bappins. Let's change the font too. Why not?
Oath, Show, and Tell on Vintage is pretty good.
Rub
You have-
Delver.
You have 2 angles
Okay.
of attack.
Could also be Herb Delver. Or Burr. Or Bruh. I like Bruh Delver.
Nah, I like Rub Delver.
Hey, Bruh.
Rub the Delver.
Is pretty good.
Like a magic lamp.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Rubbing Delver is pretty powerful magical strategy.
Can't you just look like a fork or anything to eat that chicken? You just like wrap your hand around the chicken breast and die. And
Yeah.
caveman going on over here. Alright, so they're shuffling up. I don't know what either deck is boarding, because like it's almost like boarding for the mirror at some point, except you don't have to worry about bolts coming out of Sam's deck.
My guess is that both sides are bringing engineered explosives if they have them.
And more counter spells. Yeah, probably more counter
My
spells.
guess is that both sides are bringing in Dispel. No, Sam already had a Dispel in the main deck.
Probably has more though, like Dispel, Spell Pierces.
To me, the most interesting question about these mirrors is how much discard do you want?
I know the Delver deck actually does not play that much discard. Normally you only have 2 discard in the entire 75.
They have some in the
beyond
mid,
Kolaghan's command.
Yeah, I guess with a Delve deck, because with a Grixis Delve version, no Delvers, you're playing like 4 Inquisition
Yeah.
main deck.
The
but-
popular Delve version only plays 2 discard spells in the 75.
Okay. So we have a Darkslick Shores into Inquisition, seeing what looks like a bunch of reactive cards plus a Serum Visions. So I'd not be surprised if Lightning Bolt gets taken here, or if Serum Vision gets taken here, or maybe even Deprive. I would be surprised if Dispel gets taken.
I think it's Dispel or Serum Vision. I almost would take this. You could almost take the Serum Visions.
It's almost useless to debate this since it depends so much on what Sam has in his hand.
Yeah, I just take the Serum Visions and laugh. Oh, he has a Monastery Mentor, so he might take Bolts?
Right. I would be tempted to take
I think
Serum
it's
Vision,
between
too.
Deprive, Bolt, or Serum Visions. I think you ignore the Dispel.
I think Deprive is not very good.
It was the Serum Visions. His hand has no threats in it, so preventing from getting a threat is pretty
Yeah.
strong.
And Deprive is just not a very powerful card, since returning a land is like a real disadvantage in the early game. At least it's not a powerful card in the early game, so I don't mind not taking it here with Inquisition. Matt is choosing to play untapped Darkslick Shores here, leaving up mana for Dispel, I guess. And we have a Hallowed Fountain untapped for Sam into...
No, High Tide is not cheap.
Could just be into nothing, so he's leaving open Anticipate and
Well,
Rebound.
comparing it to other Legacy decks, probably.
End of Matt's turn, we do see an Anticipate. Matt elects not to Dispel.
Depends on how many candles you want.
Sam's looking at a Negate and 2 other cards, and it looks like he's chosen a... I think that's a Dispel. He then draws another Negate, so Sam has counterspells for days. If he can resolve
They
this
both
mentor-
have counter spells for days.
They both have counterspells for days. That's true.
So I think you just get to 5 mana.
Meanwhile, Matt has Dispel and Lightning Bolt.
Yes.
Alright, he's Deprive and Lightning Bolt. So if Sam goes for Mentor plus Dispel next turn, Matt can Deprive it and then Dispel the Dispel on his Deprive. Which does set Matt back a turn on lands, and that isn't amazing, especially since these lands are kind of cumbersome to get into play. Well, I guess Darkslick Shores isn't, though it might be if he plays too many more. Anyway, point being, both sides have a lot of counter spells, and I think that making land drops is going to be a key factor in this game.
No, I think dropping a threat is going to be the key factor.
Right, and drawing lands is what allows you to do that.
Yeah. Or just dropping a tar pit.
That's pretty mana intensive. So Matt is going to go for a
Ooh,
Thought Scour here.
Thought Scours. I don't know that I like that. Well, knowing what Sam's hand is, I definitely don't like that.
Right. This mana is key. It's one thing if he needs to do it to hit a land drop, but I think he already had the land in hand, so I would have been tempted to keep that.
But the Mentor will instantly die to the Bolt.
Yes, so he can deprive it, the deprive gets countered, and then he untaps and bolts it.
Is the return the land of deprive part of the casting cost?
Yes, it's part of the
Yes.
cost.
Ooh, that's so you have to return the land even if it gets countered.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun to remand.
It is fun to remand, or just counter in any way.
Ooh, he just played it tap. There, did he not have a land?
So Sam played a
Unless he's about to
untapped
do a one
Hallowed
drop.
Fountain to... Or he didn't play a land yet. He thought scarred himself and then just passed the turn. It's also notable that he hasn't fetched with his Flooded Strand, which is another tip-off that he's short on lands. He wants to leave additional land in his deck, though. I'd be tempted to just get the fetch land, or get the shock land into play and save the life. But he thinks that the deck thinning, seems to think that the deck thinning is more important than the possible life loss. Against a deck with bolts, I just don't really agree with that. He could also potentially be not sure what lands he wants to get, but he looks like he's doing pretty well on colored mana. I don't think Grixis Delver typically plays a lot of mana denial, so.
It's also pretty brutal though that the Stuff Scholar hit 2 lands.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Always rough.
Because there's an argument over how much candles are, how much candle of whatever that is, candelabra.
DEO. It's DEO.
CANDE. Oh,
Just
just
so you guys know, Eric is great at updating life totals, but not so good at spelling magic cards.
Have there been any life total changes yet?
I mean,
Oh,
people have
we did
fetched.
miss 2 fetches.
What is TCG mid on this thing?
Hold on, let's knock some fetches down because we did miss the fetch activation.
Alright, we're docking Matt 2 points.
Yeah, because he has 2 fetch, 3 fetches in his graveyard.
Well, I traded my candles for
And he has
Tundras
chosen
myself.
to Snapcaster a Thought Scour. His graveyard is nicely stocked for any delve creatures he might draw.
Candles are TCG mid 355.
It's like 2 Tarmogoyfs right there. Meanwhile, Sam has drawn a 4th land at least, a Water Grave, which he played tapped. And Matt is going for a Serum Visions.
I'm almost surprised none of these have gotten countered.
By Negate.
Yeah, like at some point you almost. Although I guess like now he gets. Did he attack with that Snapcaster Mage then?
Yeah, he attacked. You can't just tap your Snapcaster Mage for no reason.
You can.
If
You
you
just
want to tap it, you
shouldn't.
got an attack. No, you can't. You can't just tap.
Could be convoking something.
That's true. Are there any Convoke cards in Rub colors?
That's a good question actually.
Yes, there is. Can you think of any that see play in Standard right now? Any red spell?
Oh yeah, Stoke the Flames.
Stoke the Flames is, in fact, a red spell with Convoke. Alright, we got a Lingering Souls here, which is going to get Mana Leaked.
And Dispelled? Let's see if we're gonna have a
Dispel
Dispel
at the Mana
war.
Leak. We'll see if Dispel counters the Dispel.
That's a lot of spells to use.
The Dispel does counter the Dispel.
So he gets one more hit in with Snapcaster Mage, and then he just flashes
Then
back
it's
the
going to
Lingering
get shut
Souls.
down. And unless he draws Electrolyze, the Lingering Souls tokens are going to be good here.
He does have 2 bolts in hand though.
Yeah, he could always double bolt. It just feels so bad.
It also means like just applying that, being able to apply the extra pressure to Sam's life total is very relevant.
Yeah, but he also needs those bolts for a Monastery Mentor, so
yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I'd just go willy-nilly flinging bolts around at Lingering Souls tokens.
Always willy nilly.
Aha! Deprive. Deprive counters the Lingering Souls.
He's reading Deprive has to be an island.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. No.
It's any
Why is he
land.
confused that? Oh, okay. It looks like he was realizing it had to be an island, but nope. He was just guessing which land he wanted to bring back. Apparently.
And he's made his decision.
Negate.
Negate on the Deprive, and Snapcaster is gonna
Dispel.
get the Dispel.
That was a
So-
very long war over both sides of Lingering Souls.
These Snapcasters, especially given that he's playing a burn deck, he has 6 points of burn in his hand. These Snapcasters might just be enough to get the job done. Mentor's gonna have to come down pretty soon. BBQ Delver.
Barbecue Delver.
I think that's like a black deck. with
Well, no, it's
Q,
like a barbecue rub.
Q for Cumulox, maybe. Barbecue Rub is also good.
I mean, I guess he was fighting over it so hard because he wanted to get value out of the Snapcasters and also put a clock.
All right, so Sam has drawn a land. He's got a land. It looks like he might have a Tassiger in his hand.
How many counterspells does Matthew still have?
It's curious to me that he hasn't played Tasigur yet.
Looks
If
like
that is a
Serum
Tasigur.
Vision's negate.
Yeah. So if Mentor just comes down, he's in
Mentor
trouble.
comes down.
No, this is gonna start getting brutal.
If that's a pull to Delta, I would have fetched before playing the Mentor, so you can just cast Serum Visions right away. Which could actually be very relevant here. Yeah, he definitely should have cast. Okay, well he's got a blue spell for.
This
countering
Mentor's
this
dying
removal.
because it's gonna get double bolted. But
Yeah, but even making one token is enough to slow the Snapcaster Beast enough that that he'll have time to draw out of it.
yeah, he's just telling him you're gonna cast a counter spell and I'm gonna negate it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Sam is gonna respond by not casting the spell here.
Yeah, well
So
I think
let's see
he
what
did
is going to
announce.
get negated. Okay, Dispel will get negated, and following the negate, are we gonna see a? We're gonna see a path on the other Snapcaster.
So he's gonna get 2 tokens.
So he has 2 tokens.
The third person is Texas Ranger on the bottom or top of the title.
Unfortunately, the first token doesn't get to grow to a 2/2, which would be a nice feeling for it.
It doesn't matter. This is end of turn.
Yeah, but you want to raise morale.
Okay.
That's my Twitch handle.
Oh yeah, the third guy is visiting from Texas. He played a few times, but he felt like coming back here and chilling with us. We used his actual handle that he pops up in chat with, so his real name is Todd, but Texas Ranger
Is that
is what he goes
another
by.
Dispel? We've had a lot of Dispel
Go for
in
the
this
throat.
game. Might have been a go for the throat. So one of the monks is going to bite the dust here. We're just seeing the overwhelming power of Snapcaster Mage this game, just to like generate card advantage. I mean, Mentor has made 2 tokens, but
Slows down the...
looks like we might also see a bolt on the additional token. I think Sam should be at a lower life total right now.
I don't think so, because he hasn't been attacked that much. He got attacked by the Snapcaster and then wasn't attacked again.
Maybe I've been overestimating how quick these Snapcasters are. It doesn't matter, Zach. I don't know what doesn't matter.
Seems like he's not getting enough value off his Mentor. Like he wasted all his counter spells fighting over the Lingering Souls that he should have just let.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the aggression on the Lingering Souls, but his deck also does have a hard time
Wow,
dealing
looks
with...
like the Snapcaster Mage is going to get blown out.
Chat saying
So
that
it looks like we have a Lightning Bolt in response to the Anticipate. We're going to get the
Dispel.
Lightning Bolt dispelled, so the
They're
monk
now
tokens are now
3/3s.
3/3s, and it's just going to eat this Snapcaster Mage.
people are saying Sam's at 11.
Oh, Sam is at
Yeah.
11? Okay, so I did
thought
miss the
so.
swing then. Nope, that's the wrong person.
He kind of deserves to lose here. I mean,
I
I
was
wouldn't
saying
say he
'cause-
deserves to lose.
Well, if you're aware of Monastery Mentor and you're not respecting it, I mean,
I don't think anybody really deserves to lose. Alright, we have a fetch by Matt. Yeah, it looks like these monk tokens could be pretty good here. He has Anticipate to find more spells, and the spells that he finds are going to find even more spells. And these tokens do a little bit better job of being down than the Snapcaster was doing. So what can Matt draw here? Electrolyze might be good if Sam doesn't have any spells in his hand. I guess a discard spell would be good to clear the way.
you could
into
throw. I mean, I would
Electrolyze.
throw Electrolyze at one of the monks.
Yeah, if you draw Electrolyze, you can just aim it at one of the monks, and then it's a little bit better.
I like the slow recognition from chat as to what, like me randomly changing the deck name to Rub Delver.
What, you've never rubbed a Delver? I don't understand.
Should be called, if you're gonna switch it to Rub, it should be Rub Insectile Aberration.
I prefer rubbing a Delver.
I also can pronounce Grixis. I just always choose to pronounce it wrong because
No,
it rolls
Eric's
off my
been
tongue
killing
easier.
it on the Grixis today.
It just rolls off my tongue easier as Grixis than Grixis.
He played wastefully. What would you have done differently? What do you think you should have done differently?
I think he's just saying that you shouldn't fight over the Lingering Souls when the Monastery Mentor is a more brutal card in the matchup.
But the Mentor died basically immediately. Like, it's not like you can prevent him from casting those counter spells.
I mean, even these tokens with
after the Mentor
prowess,
has
though.
resolved.
That is a Kolaghan's command. It looks like...
Kolaghan's command is a very good draw here because that kills the Snapcaster and gets back another Snapcaster, which you can then use to snap Kolaghan's command again and get back a second
Yeah.
Snapcaster. It just starts off this whole chain. So if any card is going to get him back into this game, and wow, looks like he actually milled over a Staticaster earlier in the game.
Ooh, Staticaster.
Staticaster is going to do some work here. We are down to 6.5 minutes left in the round, so game 3 is going to be difficult to complete, to say the least.
Yeah, it basically is if Matt stalls us out, he wins because he's up 1 in the matchup. Timely
Right.
reinforcements.
Timely reinforcements against it is it Staticaster. I don't know.
Gain 5 life,
That's going to work out
immediately lose the tokens.
so well. He does at least get to gain 5. I think it's 6 life, actually.
You might be right. Let me double check that. I'll put it at 5 for now and up it to 6.
Really? You don't believe me?
I'm gonna double check regardless. You probably are right. I've never played with timely reinforcement, so.
We'll see.
You're leaving?
No, I finally won one. I played the same deck 2 times in a row.
Wow, and an Electrolyze
It is 6 life.
is
I
the
actually
draw.
played the same deck that's on the screen now.
Electrolyze is a good card.
I think that Matt has, despite Malpheus's...
He also did kill the
Criticisms.
Staticaster, so.
Sam killed the Staticaster. Okay, well
Yeah,
now
he
he's
played
got a chance.
He played a Murderous Cut. He's still swinging with a
The
1-1.
game continues on. He's still swinging with a 1-1, but Electrolyze is gonna...
He already used the Electrolyze.
No, he's got another one
That graveyard's
that he just
pretty-
cast.
pretty
Oh, he
nice.
got 2? Did he cast it just at him, or
Looks
did
like
he
he
kill the
Electrolyzed the
token?
Mentor.
Ah, yes.
So Mentor was the draw. He Electrolyzed the Mentor, drew a card, he drew another card. And he played a card of some... Oh, Tassiger, wow. Is Tassiger just gonna do its thing for the 3rd or 4th time today? Tassiger has just been at the house every single time. He's exiling all his useless counterspells, leaving nothing but... Well, he has a lot of useless counterspells.
He's gonna be getting back
exiling
Serum
some of
Visions,
them.
probably.
I would actually leave Serum Visions there over something like a Lightning Bolt, because I think Scrying 2 is pretty good in this type of attrition matchup.
So is Bolt, though.
Bolt is fine. Wow.
He scoops.
Sam is scooping it up, and that's it for the match.
Tassiger is kind of brutal there. Unless he top decked a way to deal with it, he just loses, basically.
So the story of that game was that basically the card advantage coming from Snapcaster Mage was equivalent to the card advantage coming from Monastery Mentor.
Yeah, and Tassiger just shuts games
And
down.
Tassiger just shut games down, so...
Alright, so we are going on to round 3. Let me actually change the round
4,
on
actually.
here. Round
We've had
4? Oh,
3
yes.
rounds already.
Sorry, I am starting to lose track of
So
time.
we have our final round. You guys just want to see whatever decks are 3-0? We could just investigate the pairings and try and get you a 3.
Let's
A
show,
9 point
let's
versus
show
9
off
point.
That's if they don't automatically, like, draw prizes.
the Spanish Emrakul.
The affinity player is
Oh, yeah.
is 2-0.
Some Los Iones Desgarrados.
After this next round, we are going to be raffling off our Spanish promo Emrakul. So pretty sweet. We're gonna do that right after 4th round. So you have to be subscribed to us in order to be in order to be eligible for the raffle, and you have a good shot at winning it.
Emrakul.
We do not have slivers in Modern. What is some stuff we do have in Modern? So, do you guys want me to just find the 3-0 decks? It's likely to be Affinity versus something else. We also has, like, Geist of St. Traft. We have Grixis Control, which I think is doing decent. We have Infect. The Eggs deck is doing bad. I already talked to him. And he, like, I try not to put 0-2 decks on camera unless I...
There are no fairies.
We do not have a Fairies deck or Slivers, unfortunately. We do have a Merfolk deck. The Blue-White Fish deck is pretty good. I don't know that the Geist has Fairies in it. It is Jeskai. But thank you, Under for Life, for the follow. Looks like a few people want to see the Geist deck. Why? Is he not doing well on it? Daniel? What's his record?
I don't know.
Check his record. If he's 2-1, if he's better than even, we can put him on.
Jeskai guys.
Well, what is he going into this round? That was Daniel what? He was 1-1 going into this round. Alright, let's see. The decks that were 2-0 going into this round were... Affinity. Daniel Chloe. He was... No, that was Affinity. Sean Colander, who we saw on here earlier with Collected Company. Nathan Mullen on... I don't know what he's running today. Kevin Kingsley. Oh, we have Blue White Tron also on camera.
Tron would be pretty
Do you guys
fun.
want to see Blue White Tron? We didn't have that written down, but we definitely have Blue White Tron here.
What is his record now?
He was 2-0 going into this round, so he's
So he's
like
probably
2-1
doing
or
pretty
3-0. So, are you guys vastly opposed to Blue White Tron being put on? Because if not, I think we should put it on, because that is a fun deck.
What do you think? Blue White Tron? Yeah? Yeah? Blue White Tron exclamation point. One vote for
Um,
Notron. One for Do Eat. I just did eat. One vote for Notron Go Affinity.
Okay, so they're not liking Tron.
Maybe we'll have Tron versus Affinity. Notron, please. Well, this guy's the most polite so far. Affinity is
Okay,
greater
do you guys
than
actually
Tron.
want to? Do you guys want to see Affinity then? Because I know there's normally hate for Affinity.
Geist and Fish, please.
Let's see how Zeke's doing. Zeke was 1x before this round, so I don't know if he won the next one or not.
We'll make sure to get you guys at least a 2-1 versus a 2-1.
Are you guys okay with Affinity? Geist is not doing well, unfortunately. We're trying to put some good stuff.
Looks like we have the pairing, so we can give you guys a more informed.
Hugo versus Matt. Matt was running.
Me?
Oh,
Okay, Matt running Grixis Delver, so
Yeah.
we'll eschew that matchup.
Wait, I'm going on camera again?
No, we're
we
gonna.
don't, do you want to go on camera again?
No.
No.
Man.
Okay, so we
it's
cannot-
stressful, man.
We
can
cannot
either
put
the
Affinity
Collected
on.
Company deck versus Blue White Tron. That's one set of three O's. Or we could put
How's the Geist deck doing? Because they seem really interested in the
the
Geist.
Geist deck. The Geist guys is 1 and 2.
He's 1 and 2, so we try to put someone on 2. Are you guys okay with
We
what
could
is
see
Martin
Fish
running?
versus no Martin. We just saw Martin's on.
Merfolk versus that.
What's Martin on? Martin's on Norn Soul Sisters. So let's get
Trying to
that
put
one.
something new on.
We could do.
We're starting to run out of stuff. But the guy who's facing Affinity did not want to go on. I think most of the 2L matches we've seen. Let's just go put Geist on.
Even though he's 1 and 2.
All the other stuff we've seen. Or Fish. Let's see. Do you guys?
Fish is playing somebody we've already seen.
What was he running though? He was running. Martin was running Norn.
Fish versus Norin.
Okay, do you guys want to see Fish versus Soul Sisters or
We can see Collected Company versus Blue White Tron.
or Blue Eye Tron versus that or Geist? We need to know very fast.
The Geist is 1 and 2. Company versus Tron. I agree with you. That's the matchup that I want to see. But one vote for Geist capitalized, one vote for Fish. This is really evenly split.
Pick one and go out there.
All right, I'll go.
Zach's
Taco.
gonna pick one because there are 3 decks and everyone's saying
versus
something
Nora.
different. So just go pick one.
Okay, I'll pick one.
I don't know what we're gonna go on.
I'll see who wants to be on camera. We'll see if we have any wannabe stars.
Okay. All of them at the same time. Wait, Pulse. Oh, okay. Alright, we're gonna see. There's gonna be Tron. Everyone's saying something different. So Zach went out there. He's gonna pick which one he wants to put on, and we'll see. It's either gonna be Fish versus. It's probably either gonna be Fish versus
Yeah, Blue White
Soul
Tron's
Sisters or Tron
really,
versus Collected Company. I have no idea which one he's gonna pick because he likes both decks.
Collected Company and Blue White Tron are top.
Yeah, we don't know because we don't know that they're gonna play though. Also, though it is pretty cool that he's did so good. I need to get my spell skies back from that guy. What do we got?
All right, we went with Collected Company versus Blue White Tron.
All right, so it is Collective Company versus Tron.
And hopefully this time we'll at least get to see Collected Company resolve.
So sorry for you guys who really want to see the Fish matchup. It was 50-50 split, so we made an executive decision.
I just hate Fish. Not gonna lie. I hate that deck.
That deck is fun.
That deck is stupid. All the cards are just lords.
You see, I don't like necessarily watching the Soul Sisters matchup because the triggers are horrendous in paper. I
Okay.
love the deck, but it's hard to commentate on because of how many triggers there are and not being able to hear them.
So
announce
shall
it.
we get it this setup?
Yeah. Which one is that on the right? I believe that's Tron. Just
Mm.
knowing the guy, maybe. Go peek your head out
I
and
think
look.
it's Tron. Well, we can see his cards.
Oh, he's pink sleeves. That's Tron.
Okay.
I know him.
All right, Tron on the right with Mr. Kevin Kingsley. And our second feature match of the day for Sean Collender.
Is that how he spells last name?
So far you're A+ on the names.
And he is.
That's actually the main reason that I selected this matchup as opposed to the
What's this guy's
Is it
name?
a Fish
Is this
matchup?
the Fish
Pepper
matchup.
What was Fish?
No, this guy's name is Sean Collender.
No, this is Sean. Okay.
Colian.
This is the matchup of the 3-0s, so I wanted to get you guys
Makes
basically
sense.
the finals.
Yeah, having the finals is always good. What's the deck he's on again?
He's on Abzan
Yeah,
Collected
Collected
Company.
Company.
As I stupidly shouted out when I entered the room, I was like, "Hey, you're the guy who's on Collected Company, right?" And he was like, "You idiot." So, a well-deserved criticism there. But he's still 3-0, so it hasn't hurt him too much. It's clearly Tron. Yeah, if you're from New York.
What?
That's how you say it. It's like coffee, Tron.
I don't know that that's a thing. I will take your word for it.
It's a thing.
Hey,
We're restoring the players to full health.
I don't know.
I need to start this timer. It started like 2 minutes ago, I'm gonna say, so perfect. Already 2 minutes late.
Alright.
I'm remembering the timers tonight, guys. Be proud of me.
Not only that, he's remembering them by the same period of lateness.
I
every
remember
time.
within 2 minutes, which is what matters.
I like to
Oh,
see Collected Elves.
The Collected Company Elves deck actually is really cool. I've seen videos of it. I actually know some people who run it. They just don't go to the store because the store is extremely out of the way for them. The store's out of the way for me. I just like being here.
You just take the purple line down. It's pretty quick. Getting down here is quick. Getting back up.
Getting back up is horrendous.
irritating.
Unless you Uber it.
Yes.
Dude, if Arthur's willing to Uber, I'd be tempted just to Uber back.
Sadly,
from
they
here.
don't pay us enough money for commenting in order to just take Ubers everywhere.
I wish they did. We don't get paid for this, guys. We do this out of volunteer of the goodness of our hearts and
No, it's
because it's
true.
fun.
We only get paid $30 an hour to be here.
Sometimes the food gives us free soda. Sometimes the store gives us free soda. Because Card Market is awesome.
Card Market is a nice place, and it's very conveniently located. And they've recently recruited Chuck Harris, who is the best judge in all the lands.
Dojo salty.
Yeah,
Alright, so
Dojo is
they got
salty.
opening hands here.
I see some Tron lands for Kevin. I see a
Tron lands are always good.
fetch land from Sean. No turn 1 bird here. And Iona is the draw. That is probably not the best draw. Since the whole point of the deck is to reanimate cards like Iona.
with Thirst for Knowledge.
But yes, as Eric points out, you can always discard it with Thirst for Knowledge. Sean fetches for a top land. I don't think Kevin's deck has any 1-mana plays. I guess he might have Spell Snare. You get paid to be in the Twitch chat. Hey, that's fantastic. That sounds like a good deal. Oh, Sean is gonna untap. Kevin has Iona and a bunch of Tron lands. So he chose not to play a Tron land turn 1, which is interesting because it means he can't get turn 3 Tron no matter what. Iona is OP. All you have to do is get to 9 mana. You can just hardcast her. As long as you have 3 sources of white mana. And looks like
Also,
already...
having played this deck, your 1-mana plays are Expedition Map and Past Exile.
Okay,
and
great.
sometimes Snare.
So actually, it looked like he played a Plains turn 1 instead of an Island. So he had Path open for what that's worth. And now he has 2 sources of white mana. So he's only 1 source of white mana away from
Guys,
hardcasting an Iona.
He's so close to hardcasting this Iona guy.
Yeah, it's happening.
I think in
Iona on
this
red.
matchup, though, the Elish Norn is more relevant.
Definitely. Elish Norn is a good card against Pod and Pod-like.
I actually think you sideboard out the Iona.
Yeah, there's not
this
really a great
matchup.
card to name with it. I mean, a color. You can name black, but they don't really have any good black spells. And they can always... I guess you can name green.
Yeah,
Okay, so Scavenging Ooze comes down, which is going to
that's very good.
throw a wrench in Kevin's turn 3 gifts plan, which
Dude.
he actually has. He has turn 3 gifts into Unburial Rites, but the Scavenging Ooze just completely shuts down that strategy.
New plan, hardcast Iona.
New plan. Same as the old plan.
Oh, yeah. Fetches. Sorry, guys. Doot, doot. Actually, I believe he's at 15 now.
Yeah, Gift seems pretty bad.
Yeah, he draws in
against
2 turns
Scavengers.
if he just keeps drawing mana rocks.
Sorry, guys. I was not actually behind the desk for a second, so I did miss the fetches and life totals.
Scavenging Ooze is really kicking butt here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kevin go with a Thirst for Knowledge instead of the gifts.
No, I think you thirst for knowledge and try to hit the path to exile for the skews.
And you can safely discard Iona if you want, since you don't really care if the Ooze eats it.
There's always the chance they tap.
Is that a
out.
path for Sean? That's a pretty good draw here, since it will kill an Elish Norn, if that becomes relevant. Now, if Sean chooses to tap out of green mana here, Kevin will have the option to go
I don't
for
think
the
there's
gifts combo.
any chance he taps out of full green mana.
Looks
here.
like he just did.
Oh,
So
I stand corrected.
you wanted to leave at mana for Path. So this is actually fine. He's gonna gifts for Elish Norn here. Elish Norn is gonna resolve and it will kill the Scavenging Ooze, so Kevin is basically getting a 2-for-1 here. But it's not the game-ending crushing blow that he wanted. Because the Path is just gonna take care of it. Elish Norn doesn't even kill the Spellskite.
It will kill the Skoos though, which is relevant for
It
later
kills
combat.
It kills the Scavenging Ooze. So, I mean, it's good here, right? He casts a gifts, and then he uses the cards that he gets off the gifts to kill Scavenging Ooze and get a Path to Exile out of Sean's hand and get another basic land.
Yeah.
It's just
It
not
looks-
like game ending, and you really want this to be game ending since it's like kind of the point of the deck.
Is he going for 4 Wraths?
4 Wraths. Wow.
Because he
that would be
moved a
something.
Wrath to the bottom. He might not be going for the combo package.
I wonder if he doesn't
Oh,
realize
no, he's just
that
going for it.
Sean is out of green mana, but okay, he's going for the combo here.
No, I think he's more just wondering if he wants to get hit by the Path to Exile, because otherwise he can just get 4 value spells.
Thing is, he doesn't know about the Path to Exile.
If he's holding up 1 white to pass the turn, he's signaling Path to Exile really hard.
Maybe, but I mean, he might also just be signaling that he doesn't realize that he should leave up green mana.
Especially with the Scavenging Ooze on board. I mean, leaving up
Yeah.
the white is pretty
All
obvious.
right, well, guys, I hope you're following this. This white land is going to be the 3rd white source for Iona when it gets pathed, and a Ghost Quarter for good measure.
Ooh, you could almost Ghost Quarter that. I'd almost Ghost Quarter the. Godless Shrine.
Godless Shrine.
Yeah, for value.
Are there any basic planes in his deck? Well,
I have
he's got
no idea.
He's got the other Godless Shrine.
That's how fun that would be, though. Just
Yeah.
come at me.
Let it live for a turn.
It
All
would've-
right.
It would have been pretty crazy if he ghost quartered it.
Kevin
It
can
would
Went
die-
to, went to the
Yes.
second main phase, then dropped Elish Norn.
Yeah, it would
But,
die instantly on upkeep, but.
Let's see if he goes for the island or the plains here. Okay, he's
Oh,
going for the island.
He's not going for that. I'm gonna hard cast Iona.
Hey, he's still got the Ghost Quarter.
Actually, if he plays another Tron land, he almost does just hard cast Iona.
He does.
Because he can Ghost Quarter one of his lands
Yeah,
after
no,
tapping for mana.
he has enough mana if he plays, because he'll have basically 11 mana in play. Ghost Quarter counts for tapping for a mana.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
The thing is, I don't know how good it is here. Okay, well, it looks like Sean has 2 green cards in hand, 2 Court of Callings. He's going to start with a Voice of Resurgence.
That looks like it's resolving.
No paths on a Spellskite out of Kevin, who untaps. He has Thirst for Knowledge to dig for an additional Tron piece. Remand would have
Not
been
the
good
best.
last turn, but is no longer very good given that Voice is on the battlefield. All he needs is another plan.
Another Plains, that's supposed to be.
Yeah. Alright, so 3 mana. Looks like he's going to go for the main phase Thirst for Knowledge to see if he can hit the 3rd Tron source. Whatever that is. I mean, I
Ooh,
just
Batter Skull
have
he
no
just
hope.
hit. That's
oh,
good.
and it looks like it... No, it looks like it's a Tron land that he already has.
Yeah, I believe he already has that land. It's the one right underneath
Yeah.
Thirst
The
for Knowledge.
Knowledge is covering up.
But next turn, casting Batter Skull is really good.
Sure, yeah. I don't know if Sean is playing any main deck ways to kill artifacts. Like if he has a Reclamation Sage.
I believe he has a Quasali Pride Mage in the main.
But if you're Kevin, you might want to consider going up to 8 mana so that you can, in the event that that does happen, just return it to your hand and play it again.
Well, he's going to be playing all the lands he can.
So he's on 7 mana now. Next turn he'll have 8, which is enough to play Batterskull and have up 3 mana to return it in the event that it gets Reclamation Saged.
Yeah.
Voice of Resurgence here hits for 2. Kevin goes down to 16. Kevin's still at a high life total here. The Spellskite is just not doing very much on the board. If that card were like a real card, like a Team
Turn
Recharger,
just getting back Path? Getting back past Exile, maybe? Or was he
we'll
getting...
see.
Oh, he can also remand it if he wants the extra if he wants to deal with the token, but no, he doesn't feel like it.
Yeah. I don't think you want to give
Did
your
that just
opponent a
get the
token
Path
here.
Exile, or was that the Scavenging Ooze?
I think it was the Ooze, but I'm not sure. I mean, rephrase. I think that if I were him, I would have gotten the Ooze.
Modern versus
I didn't see what it
Legacy.
actually looked like it was. Modern versus Legacy. Which deck is the Modern deck and which one is the Legacy deck? So in Azorius Signet, he's choosing not to deploy the Batterskull just yet.
No, he might just deploy it and not hold up the 3 mana backup.
True.
I guess Kevin would probably be the most
And that's what he's going to do. So here comes Batterskull.
legacy.
Let's see if he remembers his trigger. Oh, remember the trigger. Gets the germ token. So that's going to shut down Sean's offense here, but it's also just going to get immediately pathed.
Yeah, it ramps him though. Now he can cast
It
Iona.
ramps him.
Now
He's
he can
there.
cast Iona.
There it is.
That's a good question. What color do you name with Iona?
I think you named green. Shuts off companies, shuts off Court of Calling, shuts off like most of the creatures. And I don't know if there's any black removal that even kills Iona. I mean, honestly, Iona is pretty good against
I believe this deck might play
against
Murderous
this
Cut.
company.
Like
I think it's
a one
better
or
than it
two
was
Murderous
against
Cut.
original Birthing Pod. Yeah, Murderous Cut would be annoying.
I think for what the board looks like, you name green because he has. You might almost name black or white.
I think you name green in pretty much all situations.
Well, because like if you're trying to race them, you don't want them to have removal.
The impotent
Skews.
Batter Skull just sitting there without anything to be equipped onto.
And he took 4 from that swing.
Yeah. So we'll see if he can get the Batter Skull going quickly enough to stabilize.
Dude, Batter Skull on Iona.
I think he might have not been able to fetch a land off that.
Thank you, Cisco 3 for the follow. Yeah, he has both his basics out.
He has 3
Here
white
it is.
Slam the
moment
Iona.
we've been waiting for. Iona hits the battlefield. Let's see if we can
I'm
get
gonna go figure out
confirmation.
what
Yeah,
on
go
color
ask.
it is.
Go ask what he's
color.
naming, just because we want to know.
Thank you, TX Rager. We'll see if we can get
Yeah.
that figured out.
I believe this deck only plays 2 basics, or like the 3 basics he has: 2
Yeah.
islands and a.
Yeah, seems like he did not have a 4th basic to get.
Although that's strange, because I think you do normally. No, because you might actually play a regular basic. Right?
Gibbous M, how many times have you named the right color with Iona? What's your winning percentage? So we have Iona gonna shut down these cards pretty good unless Sean has a way to kill it.
Oh, he got the second island with the path.
Yeah, he's got 3 basics in play.
Yeah. What I was saying, the last path he did, he
Okay.
got the island.
Which
there,
makes
that was
sense,
the plan.
because while having 3 white mana is nice, you don't really need 4
he has
white
3
mana.
white. Yeah. He had the 3 white mana from the Signet.
Yeah.
I think he plays maybe 1 more basic planes.
Alright, so Sean is
Does he play Shriekmaw?
fetching for things.
If he has Shriekmaw in the deck, that's kind of brutal there.
Yeah, Shriekmaw is gonna... I mean, if he named green, Court of Calling can't fetch Shriekmaw, so he'd have to actually have the Shriekmaw in hand.
What do you mean? He's doing this in response to the Iona, I believe.
Right, but by the time Iona is in play, it's too late to cast Court of Calling.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
So you can't Court of Calling for Shriekmaw in order to kill Iona. Looks like instead he might be casting Chord with Iona on the stack. I think what he was doing was looking through his deck while fetching for the forest to see if there was any good cards that he could get for 3 mana. He decided that there was something that was worth cording for, and he's now going to cord for that thing, whatever it is.
What if he just gets Kitchen Finks to stall? Oh, no, and if...
I've never failed with Iona because I always name blue.
Because he was playing EDH.
That's easy. I don't play EDH. Why is blue the best color to name in EDH?
Because blue is the most annoying color in EDH.
What about green?
Green doesn't matter.
What about red or black or white? What about Armageddon?
Because the people who play blue in EDH are the most annoying.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna not weigh in. Alright, he's fetched for an Anafenza, which is... I guess it's good in that it brings him closer to comboing out.
Yeah.
He's still not very close to comboing out, especially given that he's can no longer cast Collected Company and...
He also cannot cast
Waterfall.
Kitchen Finks.
You killed elves 5 times and infect once. Okay, so yeah, they just concede when you cast Iona, so you don't even get to name a color. You
Yeah.
can tell them what color you would have named. Nothing stopping you from just saying the name of a color.
A lot of decks will just fold to Iona, because like if you cast Iona versus Infect and name anything but green, you're wrong.
Iona is also very good against Storm.
Do we want... We're just going to assume he named green. Did he name green?
We're about to get
White.
confirmation.
He
of it.
named white.
He named white.
So he doesn't want to die. He doesn't want his Iona to die.
He wants Iona to stick around, but I still don't know, because I don't know if he can beat all these chords. Like, he doesn't really have a great answer to the combo. That's the thing.
He has Remand and...
He has Remand to Remand chord, but Sean has enough creatures now that like he can Just cast Chord for Viscera Seer, get it remanded, and recast it in the same turn.
He's gonna get his other Court of Calling here, obviously.
So Bird is putting a counter on the Eternal Witness.
But Batterskull is a 2-turn clock.
It is? Oh, you can just equip Batterskull to
Batterskull
Iona.
to Iona and swing.
That's
oh,
true.
that's a lot of life.
That's a good point. And that's actually a great reason to name White. If you think that you're just going to kill your opponent with Batterskull before they combo you, you have Remand to buy time. The
He also
Remand
has
does
Thirst for Knowledge.
give them tokens. If you have Thirst for Knowledge, you probably want to cast that now because you don't want to cast it on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, looks like he's casting Thirst for Knowledge now to see what he wants to do on his turn.
I think also to look for Tron lands. Expedition Map, that'll do it, along with a Worm Coil and
Oh, wow.
a Tron land. So my guess is he just discards like 2 lands here. Wow, he's discarding. Okay, I guess he drew the 3rd Tron piece.
Yeah, that's right there at the tower.
There it is. So now he can probably both play Worm Coil and equip Batterskull. He's just got a bunch of life-linking stuff going on.
Yeah.
That looks like 6 mana, which will be his Worm Coil mana. Okay, no, he's gonna... Wow, decides not to equip Batterskull.
He doesn't need it also. Because 8 twice is also still lethal. He's gonna chump with the bird.
Does he have enough
Right.
mana to replay?
Well, I guess the
Batter?
bird's getting chumped anyway. So now he's got Worm Coil and also can leave up double Remand. So this is a fine play.
Does he have 2 remands in hand though?
He has 2 blue spells. I think they might both be remounts. Everyone is talking about Stompy for some reason. I guess people are like rebelling against all this counter magic. They just want stomping. Sorry. I mean, Batterskull is pretty good at stomping. I don't want to be stomped on by
Let's see. So that is a what is that green spell in his hand?
The green spell is a chord,
Chord of
and
Calling,
the draw
is
was
that Collected
a
Company?
second Anafenza.
Is that Anafenza? It looks
So
green.
that's not very useful here.
Ah.
He probably wishes he had corded for Viscera Seer now instead of for Anafenza. Because if he had done that, he'd at least have the spells in his hand to get the combo down, though this counter magic is obviously going to make that trickier. I think he's considering now whether there's any value to playing Anafenza for the bolster trigger, and deciding that there's not, because it doesn't really do a lot to make one of your cards into a 3/3 or 4/4 when Worm Coil Engine is there. Wow, people are still naming Stompy decks. Demon Stompy?
I like Werewolf Stompy because it's funny.
How much of a crowd we have?
That's a good question. How many people are watching right now?
Looks like 128.
Just one.
128.
120. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
128
A
viewers.
perfect number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Hexadecimal.
awesome.
We have our judge here approving of the fact that the
I like
number of players is divisible by is a power of 2 even.
Sherwin, the guy who you should, I believe, no, that was Raul who was earlier stated, the guy you should know and love.
You can know and love Sherwin too.
Everyone already knows and loves you.
I hope so.
Iona is on white.
Yes.
Iona's on white. So we'll see if Kevin chooses to equip Batterskull here. I don't see a lot of downside to doing that, but he seems content just to let Batterskull sit there on the table doing nothing.
I just don't think he needs to equip it.
Swag.
What else is he doing with his mana?
Swag Tusk Stompy.
I think we might have missed Cisco. Thank you for following.
Oh,
That
thanks
was a
for
while
following
ago.
Cisco
Sorry.
3. Appreciate.
Cisco MTG Card Market is located in Chicago, a little bit off the Belmont red line and brown line and purple line CTA stop.
Also the turquoise line, maroon line, and lavender line.
All the lines. Oh, so he just bounced and replayed the Batterskull, which is why he
Okay.
didn't equip it.
Fair enough. Though I think he had enough mana to both equip it and bring it back and replay
Oh,
it.
he did.
That's what happens when you play a Tron land every turn.
Thank you, Shino Binin, for the following. Also, as a reminder, guys, after this round, unless we can get another match on here super fast, we are going to be raffling off the Spanish Emrakul. The Spanish promo Emrakul.
Los Eones Desgrados. Tearing those eons. Merfolk is on the rise. You're by LAX Airport? What do you think of LAX Airport? I've spent a lot of time in LAX Airport.
So what did he just draw? I think Sean is dead.
This is
Why?
a pretty tough thing to get out of.
Because he needs to have 2 Court of Callings and Kevin has 2 counter spells.
Well, they're remands, so you can just recast them.
He doesn't have enough mana to recast it enough times to get his combo through this
But
turn.
he's not on a one turn.
Also, yes, he is. I'm sorry, I forgot to change the life total. He's
Thank you
definitely
for-
down to 7.
Thank you for following. I'm Vasgar. Is that for the viewers? Yes, it is for the viewers.
Yes, we raffle. I'll explain the raffle when it comes up, but basically you have to be following the channel to be entered in the raffle, and then one of you guys who enter yourself in the raffle will win it. And then when Mark gets around to it, we send it to whatever address you tell us to, and it normally comes in within a month or so, because sometimes it's slow to mail, because Mark has a very busy life.
So Celestial Colonnade has joined the fun.
So that looks like it's probably lethal.
This might be lethal damage unto itself. Kevin did not even need this Batter Skull and Wormcoil Legend that are just sitting there.
I think you just equip the Batter Skull to Celestial Colonnade for
Totally.
Rubbins.
I mean, how often do you get to equip a Batter Skull to a Colonnade?
I'm very much a fan of the Rubbins factor during matches.
You need that Emrakul in your sneak attack deck. Well, I hope you're following.
He is definitely following.
He's already
Awesome.
won.
I believe he has
He's already
won
won
before.
recently.
All right.
Yeah, it was funny because him and Shay were like giving each other grief, and then Rambo won it.
I think he got the Valakuts.
Yes, he did get the Valakuts.
It's a cool place. Yeah, I mean, when LAX is running in the middle of the day, there must be like 10,000 people there or more. These airports are like the size of small cities. If you look at like
Okay,
their
so someone's
population at the
scooping.
time.
That was Game for Tron. Also, there's a question from Chad asking why is blue-red aggro on the rise and elves and twin falling. I'm gonna call elves on the rise. It's just now there's new tech for it, so people are testing it out. The aggro decks are rising because Tasigur is really good, and Twin Beyond the combo doesn't actually have a way to deal with Tasigur.
Yeah, I think Twin is falling because it's not very good against Grixis decks.
Yeah, like it just falls to discarding counter spells, and if you can just play a 1-mana 4/5, like Twin doesn't have an easy way to answer it if you can keep up counter spells the rest of the game.
Or 1 mana 5/5. Let's not neglect Gurmag Angler.
Most of the
here.
Grixis decks are not playing Gurmag Angler. That is a very specific one.
Thank you for following Typhus 337.
The one before it, yeah.
So we have some sideboarding going on. The combo pieces are staying in, it looks like. Moliera will not be being removed. However,
I'm Vasgar also.
Cartel
followed, thank you.
Aristocrat did. Vasgar has gotten his second shout out of the day. So,
What happened?
congrats to him.
The one before Typhus.
Looks like for sideboarding, Kevin is staring at that Iona inquisitively.
It was good that game, but
Provocatively, yeah, it was.
well,
good
I
that
feel like
game.
you need to have a certain number of threats in, but like he also has Wormcoil to hit. Elishorn is
also-
obviously the best one if you can protect it.
I
but-
didn't notice it at the time. I was saying that he could cast the Inoffensive to get the bolster trigger, but he couldn't because Iona was naming away.
Yep.
So it's not a legal play.
If it wasn't there, he could.
Why didn't Coco deck Cord on their turn? Yeah, I agree with you. They probably should have done so.
I think it's just because like he didn't have anything he could actually get to win.
Bangs Naughty Bits, thank you for following, and I have a modern deck to suggest to you. I would suggest that if you keep that name, you play Rub Delver.
Yes. And always call it Rub Delver.
So Flame Slash doesn't kill. No, Flame Slash doesn't kill anything anymore.
Oh, I need to change Sean's record. It is 1-1 right now. Sean won the first game fairly quick because Kevin was just too slow. And Sean won the first game in this match. And now this is game 3. So it is 1-1. What? I'm pretty sure that was game 2. Wasn't it? Or did I actually write that
I
down
think
wrong?
that was game 1.
I think it was game
Was
one.
that game 1? Oh, I thought that was game 2 already, which is why I didn't change it.
I was hesitant to say that because
It's very possible that was just a very long game 1.
Seems like Eric has imagined a phantom entire game. So tell
Well,
us,
that game took 25 minutes. I didn't realize I didn't change it, so I
tell
thought
us,
that
Eric,
was just like
in this
he
game
won.
that you imagined, how did it play out?
He won?
He won. It was a quick game. So did he just like what? Play a quick?
Oh yeah, no, I guess you're
Quick
right, because we were
combo?
talking about signing on Iona.
he did turn
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess I never changed it. I just thought the game was taking so long that Sean just picked up a quick
All
one.
right, shall we just make up a game one since we didn't have one?
Turn 3 collected company
Yeah, just-
into 5 threats.
Yeah, exactly.
Kills the combo.
No, he had the
You can
turn
only
3
pull two
collected
off it.
company. He had turn 4 combo off the collected company.
So what do you guys think about the collected at dawn version of this deck?
Don't you get any creatures? Number of creatures that get revealed off the.
Yep.
I hate how every red deck I mean, Burn doesn't play Blood
You
Moon.
could definitely not put that in everyone because it's a little bit worse than Grixis.
Thank you for following 78 Z-Ride.
Also, I don't even think you can play it in Grixis Twin as easy. Like, it's a little rough in Grixis Twin to play it.
Rage at the moon. I mean, you can't really get mad about somebody else raging at the moon. Have you ever raged at the moon before? It's pretty awesome, especially when it's full.
Just start playing Robo Stompy.
Yeah!
Then you can really make them rage at the moon.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Play Moon Mist.
Moon Mist. They won't even be able to see the moon that they're trying to rage at. So let's see if we can get a Collected Company here in this 5th game starring Collected Company that we've
That
had
is
on
a-
camera today.
That is 1 land, 3 Path to Exiles.
Sean does have a Collected
That
Company.
is not a keepable hand at all.
Kevin does not. Alright guys, I think this is going to be it. I think we're going to see a Collected Company cast this game. I'd be surprised if we didn't. It might not resolve, but I think it will at least get cast.
Also, it doesn't necessarily mean you, for Blood Moon, it doesn't necessarily mean you read 2R when you win the game. It just means your opponents have to fetch basics. So stuff like Siege Rhino gets casted a lot later. So, like, I think the design space is good right now in Modern for it. Because otherwise you're just going to have, like, 4 and 5 color good stuff decks running around that don't matter. But, like, Blood Moon punishes that.
Kevin's got a pretty decent hand. He has 2 lands, a Remand, and a Thirst for Knowledge, and he has at least 2 different Tron pieces. Looks like he's considering, he's actually going to play a Tron piece turn 1. I guess now if he draws the 3rd Tron piece, he can get the turn 3 Tron, and he can still cast a turn 2 Remand if he chooses to do that. So I like this play of playing a Tron land. Meanwhile, Sean is leading with a Kitchen Finks, which is not the most impressive threat in this matchup, but it's still pretty good on turn 2. It'll hit for a 3 a turn.
It means he gained 2 life.
And it also means he
You
gains
can also just
2
get
life.
pathed.
I think you gave it to the wrong dude.
Oh, yep. Click the wrong part.
Enjoy that life while it lasted, Kevin. So,
There's a lot of old single card.
we'll see what Sean chooses to do here. Looks like he's
Locks.
played a Bird of Paradise and passed the turn. So he's playing around Remand pretty nicely here.
I think Contaminated Ground is how Blood Moon
But if he does it
should
again,
work.
if he plays around Remand this turn, Kevin's going to be able to punish him for a Thirst for Knowledge. So I think this is the turn where Sean wants to cast Collected Company. Another thing he could do is simply wait till the end of his turn and then cast Collected Company in response to the Thirst to make sure it resolves.
I also like Kevin just casually eating a cookie on camera.
Yeah,
You see him have a cookie in his hand.
why not?
Also, I think something funny that I've seen though is a Blue Moon deck just actually playing the Molten Rain instead of Blood Moons. So it plays just 4 Molten Rains instead of 4 Blood Moons in the main deck.
That's pretty nice. Subway cookies. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen any Chipotle on camera tonight. This store
It doesn't
should
happen that often.
really ought to get subsidized for Chipotle, especially on Wednesday nights, because
I don't think we eat that much. More Big and Littles.
a lot of people here
So
get
many people
Chipotle.
just go across to Big and Littles.
I've never even heard of Big and Littles.
It is literally right across the street from here, dude.
Doesn't sound as good as Chipotle.
It is
Alright,
fantastic.
so here's Thirst for Knowledge, and in response, here it
Corporate Knowledge?
is. Collected Company.
Collected Company. Alright, so
Let's see what happens. So there's at least one crew. Well, I don't know.
he's definitely going down to 14 from this attack.
So we have
Or is this still no, this is new.
we have creatures. He looks like he's got a Malira and an Anafenza.
So 2
so
cards
he's-
that do the exact same thing.
He's got 2 parts of the combo covered. All he needs now is the sacrifice outlet, and he can gain infinite life.
Yeah.
Now, is that game winning against Tron, or does Tron have ways to deal with
Theoretically, if he's playing Mindslaver Lock, it's not game winning.
that? Right.
He also
But
has
not
Path to
game-winning
Exile.
against
Well,
Map-
but then what does he
Mindslaver
do
Lock.
under the lock? Like, he has no way to.
At that point, you just deck your opponent.
Yeah,
you,
you
got,
can just-
you got to mill him out.
Well, you Mindslaver Lock and just make him cast every draw spell
You make
possible.
them fetch with all their fetch
Yeah.
lands. You make them cast all their draw spells.
So you just make him deck himself.
You don't cast any draw spells of your own. Thank you for that loud
Well,
pencil
actually-
noise, Steven.
Can I have a chip?
Yeah.
I guess the out would be to Murderous Redcap.
Thank you. Or you can also
Back.
make him Murderous Redcap himself. For
Yeah.
Himself,
Good call, even better.
if it's still in there. I mean, I guess it
So-
would be.
Kevin is not just dead to the combo by any means. He has Sundering Titan in his hand,
Or you could just Karn Ultimate.
which is going to be forced to kill his own islands, since I don't think Sean is playing any of those, but he
I don't know
can
that
kill
Kevin
one of
is
Sean's planes.
Playing blue white, like the Mindslaver.
You don't know that he has Mindslayer
Yeah.
Academy runes? Yeah, it's very possible he doesn't.
Ultimating Karn also works though.
Yeah, reset. the
Probably.
game.
Depends what you exile.
Gets around infinite life.
It does get around infinite life, but then you still have to
You
win the next
exile the
game.
combo pieces for yourself.
Yeah, just start the game with infinite life in the next game.
Well, if you're Mindslaver locking and then carning, you can guarantee what you start with is gonna get the job done.
Alright, so we have Gavany Township, which is very strong on this board.
The main problem is though, like the infinite damage combo also means you have a like the infinite life combo. Like he
I
just
mean,
gets so far ahead. with
Gavany
it.
Township plus 5 creatures is pretty much an infinite damage combo. Since I can't count how much damage it does, but it's probably infinite. So, let's see, we have 5 creatures on the battlefield. Birds of Paradise is already a 1-2.
5, 7, so that's 7.
1, 4, 6, 8 plus 5. It looks like 13 damage here is coming across. So Kevin is slated to go to 1. He has gifts in his hand. So if Sean taps out to use the township, he can gifts for Iona. The thing is that
Ellis Norn doesn't kill the board though. It just makes them all 1/1s.
Exactly.
He needs to gifts for 4 wraths.
It kills some of the cards in the board. So it looks like he is going to not cast gifts.
I think he pathed the kitchen
he's
things.
forced to use Path here. And
This is
he
definitely a wrathable
chooses to
board.
Path the kitchen things.
Wrathable board.
I would sort of be tempted to kill Anafenza here because Anafenza is going to have 3 power soon, effectively. As soon as another creature comes down, Anafenza becomes as powerful as the kitchen finks. But either way,
No, I think you have to kill the kitchen finks just so like it doesn't come back right away.
Bolster birds.
Oh, so yeah, it bolsters on the birds.
right, but the point being like it's basically added a 3rd power to the board.
Yeah.
2 for itself plus it's 1 bolster.
But, like you still basically have to hit the kitchen finks there because
You do take 1 less damage this turn, and that's pretty nice since you're going to... a
also
pretty
as
low
of right
left
now
hand.
you're dead to a sack outlet.
Right, well that was true before and it's true now.
No,
Oh,
no,
you're
he's
right.
not just dead to a sack outlet.
Good point. Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Yeah, the card next to Anafenza is Malir.
Yeah, the deck plays both win con style, so that is how much? 3, 6, 9, 10, 11? Oh, no, that's not math. 3, 6, 7,
9.
9. Alright.
So Kevin's
So
falling
I counted
5.
too far.
He does have a thirst for knowledge, so he's going to be able to dig for something. But instead he's just drawn negate plus lands. And even though one of the lands is a colonnade, colonnade is not as good as township here.
He needs a wrath. If
Looks
he
like
doesn't
the
find
colonnade
a
is
wrath,
actually
he
going to
just
get
loses.
discarded. Yeah. And unfortunately for him, he does not have the turn to
Is that a what card
gift
is that?
4 wraths.
Is that a disenchant? Or what
Looks
spell
like
is
a
that?
cranial plating.
That was not a cranial plating.
I don't.
You
I
troll.
Agree. I agree that it's not, but it did look like a cranial plating, and I'll stand by that statement.
Might have been a Tron land. No, what is that? What is that card? Is that a disenchant?
Might be. I mean, it kills Birthing Pod, right?
On to game 3.
I think there was a disenchant for Spellskite.
Maybe. Yet Spellskite isn't very good in this matchup, so. And I'm pretty sure Sean sideboarded them out, since I don't really see any reason for him to leave them in. Circle of Protection green.
That is not legal in modern.
Question. Is it?
No, that's not legal in modern. The
Alright.
only circle protections legal in modern are, I believe, black and red. Maybe it's white and red.
It's legal in Pauper, though.
Oh, because that's relevant right now.
Disenchant says rush too slow.
Okay, I thought it was disenchant, but I couldn't get a good look at it.
It is now.
Let me see if I can figure. Because that was like one of the old arts of disenchant.
It kind of looks like a circle of protection.
No, I think it was.
It is circular. It protects you from certain things.
Which one is it? I believe it was this art of disenchant. Because that's what it looked like.
It's interesting, Disenchant. It's about the destruction of slivers.
All the
circle
circles-
protection- Oh, all of them are
Green
legal?
is legal.
I guess I only know the ones that are kind of relevant. Which is
Why you
circle
gotta
protection
hate
red.
on Pauper, Rambo Jesus? Pauper is a fun format.
Oh, I'm good. Pauper is an okay format.
That's right. You tell him, Uko Baltu.
What is that circle, though? It's not really a circle, but you name the color.
Not
It used
sure.
to be Ren with the goats.
They banned Treasure Cruise in Pauper. Yeah, exactly.
I think it costs 3. Oh, story circle.
I'm not going to GP Vegas for Modern Masters, though it would be really fun to go to GP Vegas. Are you?
This is what I was thinking of.
Story Circle is the card. Thank you for suggesting that, Winged Orpheus. So yeah, this card lets you choose which color you want to be protected from. Alright, Game 3 is underway. Kevin's got an expedition map in hand plus some lands, but I guess not enough lands because he's mulliganing down to 6 for the second game in a row. And this game, Sean will join him on 6. Looks like Sean has brought in Kataki. Interesting card against Blue White Tron. I guess it basically shuts down Azorius Signet, as well as any other mana producing artifact. It's not very good against Expedition Map. It's not very good against Wormcoil Engine, since paying 1 to keep a Wormcoil Engine around is a pretty good deal, and you really don't want to let that card stay in play. Eric, what do you think of Kataki out of the sideboard of Collected Company here?
I don't think it does enough.
I think it's better than Spellskite. I'll say that for it.
Spellskite
hits
protects
for
your
2.
combo though from Path.
That's fair, but I don't know how often you're really going to be able to combo out in this matchup. Looks like a Condemn out of Kevin.
Condemn's a good card. That is a...
Not to mention a Relic of Progenitus. This is an interesting
I think
hand.
that's a mulligan.
He's already on 6. I think
But he has one
I think
land.
You keep this.
Doesn't he only have 1 land?
Look to me like he might have 2 lands.
If he has 2 lands, that's okay. But I think he
rough.
might only have
Looks
1.
like a mulligan to 5 from Sean. So Kevin's going to be on the play with 6 cards. Sean is at 5 and quickly dropping.
Rambo Jesus is wondering what we think Modern Masters 2 is going to do to prices. I think it would do the exact same thing Modern Masters 1 did, which is drop the prices for a little bit and then just have them go back up. Because the value of these packs are actually worse than the original Modern Masters per pack, but they're being sold for more expensive. So, like, the only thing I see it lowering prices are the chase rares. Like, Vendilion Click and that stuff is going to be lowered some. Like, you can already see that now, but once it starts being printed, it'll go back up.
Looks like a decent 2-lander out of Sean. He has Collected Company to catch him back up. And he has the Kataki. Celestial Colony. Nope, it's a turn 1 Relic of Progenitus. Choosing to play that over the Expedition map. Which makes sense, especially if he doesn't have a second land and he's planning on sacking it. From turn 1,
Ooh,
we see
16.
a Thoughtseize.
Ooh, that map.
And
I don't know what you take. Probably the map.
he has a Signet too. Signet is going to actually... Kataki's going to be good this game.
I don't see.
Kataki's going to shut down the Signet. Not to mention it's going to get the Relic off the board. And Relic is kind of an annoying card to have in play if you're the Eternal Witness Kitchen Finks deck.
I don't see Goyf dropping enough in the long run. Add Mythic Rare, I mean...
If you want my opinion on prices, A, I don't really care. B, I think it's all random anyway, and people who think they can predict prices are a lot of times just fooling themselves. So,
That is a land.
the card that was taken is Wrath of God. Kevin drew a land. I think he's just going to play a Signet here, and Kataki's actually going to get him pretty good, since Sean, it looks like, does have the Bloodstained Mire to fetch for white. And I don't think Kevin has a removal spell. So my guess is that Kevin will be sacking that Relic of Progenitus ASAP, and just paying for his Azorius Signet until he can
Was that a
get a
shotgun he
removal
just took
spell
2
for
from?
Kataki. Yeah, it's a
Okay,
shotgun.
I couldn't tell if it was a shotgun or a Razor Verge Thicket.
I think it was a shotgun anyway. I don't think he had a Razor Verge Thicket before. He might have drawn one. So Kevin is just staring at this Kataki here.
I think you...
He untapped. He looks like he's in his upkeep right now. Tap that Azorius
I
Signet.
think he's gonna.
Tap that Azorius.
I
Use
think
the
you
relic
tap
right
it
here.
and then crack the relic. Tap it, pay for itself, crack the relic.
Yes, I think that's a good
Draw a
play.
card.
Meanwhile, leaving open a blue mana in case you draw something you want to
Pay for
cast.
both.
No, you pay for both. You use one of them to crack the relic.
Yeah.
Because you have to pay 1 mana to crack a relic.
You pay for one and you.
I agree on the
Crack.
draw.
Well, you have to pay 1 to crack
Looks
the
like
relic.
an expedition
so it's just
map,
like
which is
paying.
another card that you can sack during your upkeep. So he's drawing for turn. Okay, he's got lands now, so he's gonna be able to has the tools to play a game despite this Kataki kind of hindering his development of his mana base. And yeah, expedition map, so he's gonna be sacking that in his next upkeep, I suspect.
I almost don't like having to use this. I don't think he had any choice but using the Signet that way, because now he can't condemn the Kataki.
That's true. But at the same time, he's about to fetch for a third Sean land.
Oh,
at
it
which
was
point-
isolated. It is isolated chapel.
Isolated
so he did
chapel,
not
okay.
lose the life. I was right that it wasn't a shock. I just also wasn't a fast land.
All right, we've got that figured out. So yeah, after Kevin fetches for his third, so I like tapping your non-Sean lands here. At least if you have something to do with the mana.
They're making fun of your response. If you want to know my stance, I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, cards will cost what they cost. So Expedition Map is getting sacked. Looks like a mana is being used to pay for the Signet. And I think he will fetch a Tron land here, which is nice because he can now has the mana to cast Remand.
Yeah, he just leaves it with the last Tron land. Oh, I missed a swing from Kataki.
Yep. So Kevin has taken 2 down to 18. Alright, so we have basically the full-on Tron combo versus what looks to be a turn 4 Collected Company out of Sean. I think he'll need to hit something good off this. Unburial Rites the draw for Kevin. I don't know that he has anything to target with it at the moment. He does have a Colonnade, so he's choosing not to play his Tron land.
I also know that he has black mana in his
put his
deck.
white into play. Yeah, he might have to draw a Thirst for Knowledge in order to use that to its full potential, shall we say. So Kataki swings in for 2 more. Kevin falls to 16.
Stony Silence.
Wow. Alright, well, at this point, you may as well just sack that Signet. So
That Signet's getting sacked.
For it. It did its job. It's out of here. And I think that might have been a Sunlance. More likely just a Path, I guess. Missed second Thoughtseize. Was there a second Thoughtseize? Yeah, it looks like there might have been 2 Thoughtseizes.
What did he Thoughtseize, though?
I don't know what he Thoughtseized.
Alright, I'm gonna take your word for it, chat.
Yeah,
I
thanks
didn't see
Rambo
what he
Jesus
took
for
either.
catching the life total news. Not clear what that Thoughtseize took, but it probably took something, since you do have to take something with Thoughtseize.
I think he took the Condemn or the Path, whatever that white spell is. It took the
Yeah.
Condemn.
I think it might be a Sunlance.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know, actually.
Sunlance is a great card in Pauper.
Yeah, he took Condemn in the Wrath, so it is Condemn.
Alright. So Kataki is getting in there. See,
I like these Kataki beats.
told you it was better than Spellskite. Draw is Remand. Kevin has no answer to this Kataki, despite not having any artifacts in play. Okay, here's the Collected
Ooh,
Company.
That gets remanded.
Remanded instantly, and
Timely Reinforcements is an answer to Kataki, kind of.
yeah, it sure is. He has to lose a little bit of life, though, if he really wants to make the most out of it.
Well, now he's at 12. He lost life.
Alright, great. Everything's coming up. Timely Reinforcements.
It was all so he could play the Timely
This
Reinforcements.
Collected Company resolves with Kevin tapped out of blue mana.
No,
and
he sells. Oh, no, he doesn't have Colonnade.
We're
I thought
gonna
he played
see.
a Colonnade.
Alright, he has at least a Birds. He has at least a Birds and a Voice, so he's not going to completely whiff.
I think
We'll
that
see if
might
he
be
has anything more. He has a Viscera Seer. Wait, it is a Colonnade, so you're right. He's not
Yeah.
tapped out of colored mana. So yeah, he took Condemn and Wrath. And I think that's a Worm Coil for Kevin. Which, you can't activate its activated abilities, but that's okay because
But you can
any.
block.
You can block, attack.
Beat up the Kataki.
Now, Viscera Seer is actually pretty good against Worm Coil Engine if Kevin falls to low enough life. And that he can just sack whatever creature.
Did he crack a fetch to do
it
that
tries to
Collected
block.
Company?
What is he pathing?
I think he's going after the Voice of Resurgence.
I don't think he did need to crack
I don't
a
know.
fetch.
Okay, he's going after the Viscera Seer. I think under
Oh, he
the
did crack a fetch then.
under the idea that if he goes after a Voice, then Sean can just sack the Voice of Resurgence to the Viscera Seer and get a token out of it. So he's killing the Viscera Seer first.
That makes
Collected
sense.
Company was pretty good. But if Sean doesn't have a great follow-up, the Worm Coil is
He's
better
not-
than anything Sean has going
he
on
knows,
right now.
knows he has no basics, I guess.
Yeah, no basic lands. Good point. That's an interesting non-fetch for Sean. I think that you want to play at least one basic in your
Kitchen
modern deck.
Finks.
Path to Exile is a very widely played card.
And
Alright, Rambo Jesus thinks Sean is at 13.
He is at. I fixed it already.
We have fixed.
He was. I didn't miss the fetch.
It's really great that you guys are so on top of the life totals. We have our hands full with.
even if you're not worried about
Talking.
getting a basic off path, you ought to respect Blood Moon.
So Kevin, I think, has another Wrath in hand. But my guess is he...
Did he just? Where did that die from?
I don't know.
Oh, he's letting it get sacrificed to Kataki?
Wow. Thank you for
Oh,
following
well, there you go.
Young Reezy 30.
Oh yeah, he sacrificed to itself, so he didn't actually search. He never had a chance to search. He allowed the scry.
Okay, yeah.
He has 5 land.
He scried instead.
He didn't get. Yeah, maybe he has a basic. That doesn't
Finks
make
gained
sense to
2,
not
so he's
run
at
at least a
15.
forest.
Oh, yes.
Quick roar. He probably sideboarded out the swamp.
Of course. You
Well,
definitely
imagine.
side out basics.
Yeah, Kitchen Finks makes it hard to keep track. All right, I don't know how I feel about this play of letting your Wormcoil die. I mean, it's certainly imaginative. Thank you for following Jazzy Horde.
She might have been killed because they would have haste.
That's true. Does anyone know how these Wormcoil tokens got spawned?
He also didn't pay for them.
So
I have no idea what just happened here. 'cause I
they
feel
might
like-
have come into play with haste. I think that's the most likely explanation.
Do you want to go pause and ask them really quick, or
Sure.
ask how that died? Because I have no idea how those gained haste. We're gonna go check that because we literally have no idea how they gained haste. He should be at 6 though from that attack. And then he gained 3 from the Wormcoil, so at 9. If this is correct.
Oh, yeah, so that's why I would die. But then why does
Yeah.
they don't get to swing?
But so they definitely died because he just let his Wormcoil die, but they shouldn't have had haste.
No, they definitely didn't.
Unfortunately, I think it's too late now for it to be noticed.
All right.
It died to the mystery.
We have confirmation of the story of these tokens. So basically what happened was that Kevin didn't pay for his Kataki trigger, Wormcoil got sacrificed, and both players forgot that they didn't have summoning sickness.
What?
I guess because they were thinking
So-
like.
Yes.
I guess they were thinking it was the Wormcoil.
How they got haste, it's a mystery.
You just swapped the life total.
Oh, they're doing a judge call right now, so I think they're going to
Yeah.
go back.
We
and
got
fix
Sherwin
it.
involved, and he is going to rewind the game with his magical judge hands. This is my favorite card of a judge call, that there's just so many hands waving all over the screen.
All right, so hold on. So his life total goes back to 12.
Yeah, we also have to rewind the life totals.
I'm gonna go ask them what they.
No, just wait. They're working
Yeah.
on rewinding it.
Pretty obvious.
He didn't pay for his spell skite either.
I
Lol.
would just wait before they figure this out.
Is there a spell skite on the battlefield?
No.
I want my tokens to have haste. Yeah, who doesn't?
That definitely changes the attack. Sean does also.
Well, yeah, it changes them to not being able. Oh, Sean does, yeah.
Beautiful. Like here's the guy. There's like, I don't think those have haste, guys, because either he didn't pay for them or.
Yeah. Sean played one after all the madness. He played a spell skite.
He played a spell skite on his turn.
He played a spell skite using its madness cost.
Oh. Madness spell skite. I don't know what's going on, but no, he
Yeah.
played it after combat.
This is a hell of a rewind. Rewind into Restoration Angel.
Yes, this was he missed the trigger. He drew a card, played the land. Go.
Everything is being backed up. What do you think, guys? Should we just not have gotten involved? Did we make a
No,
mistake?
we have to keep the game as it should be.
Was this a giant punt on behalf of the Commodores? You tell us.
They're gonna have a real nice time extension.
Yeah. We're gonna have a time extension too.
Oh, he can't unbear. No, he doesn't have black, so he can't even unbear.
Yeah, he can't bring back the Wormcoil. He has to discard Thirst for Knowledge somehow.
Yes, that's what we have it at now.
And the attack that he would have done, he is now not doing.
Yep, they
so
rewinded
all
all
the
the way
attacks have
back.
been undone. No, you should definitely get involved.
Yeah, so all the attacks were undone.
Winged Orpheus, how do you think the judge should be handling it?
Oh, it's the argument of has it been too far since it's passed to reset the game or not?
Weirdest rewind I've seen.
So because also like they knew the game site and also they have us here that can help them rebuild the game site, they allowed them just to rebuild. But sometimes the judge call can be there, just the game has progressed too far, leave it as is. Since you both screwed up, and like a warning to both players for like not keeping the game state.
Yeah.
But because they were able to back it up so easily, like, he just allowed them to rewind the game. Because also, it's like, if this was a competitive REL event, they probably would just leave it as is and do the warning for both. But since it isn't, like,
So
I
do we
think
go
this is
tell him
correct.
I don't see the problem in backing up. Yeah.
Wait, so he just sacked his spell
Yeah, he sacked
because
the spell
forgot-
because he missed it, so he did that the same thing.
What? So you have to repeat also sack your spell skite in this new timeline?
I think because otherwise...
No,
it's
this
not-
is the new turn where after he played it, he missed it.
Alright, so back to the game. Kevin does have Wrath of God in his hand, so I wouldn't be surprised if he just attacks with both tokens here, trades them for like with the aim of just trading, and then Wraths
Gaining
to
3
kill the
life-
entire
you
die.
board.
gain 3 life with the lifelink one.
What? He missed another trigger.
I think he drew again. He's forgetting about...
He's gonna start putting cards on
Oh,
top
we
of
can
his
we
deck.
can hear him laughing and clapping. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kevin just forgot about Kataki
There's some
again.
cackling going on outside.
Kevin just forgot about it again. You just heard Sean laughing after what happened last turn.
Yeah.
Well, they
Also,
one
as,
forgot it, the other forgot it. Go back to him, forget it.
I do
again.
not blame you for laughing your face off.
yeah, as a response to Wing, the reason why he reset is because this is not competitive REL. So by the fact that they were able to reset it, he just did. But yeah, we could hear Sean laughing from in here that Kevin missed it again because it's a little silly.
Maybe it's all part of his plan. Maybe he just wants Sean to overextend into Wrath.
Okay, so this is 2, 4, 6, 9. So Kevin is at 3.
So Kevin just drew gifts. The problem is that he actually has Unburial Rites in his hand.
He also has Wrath of God. Why has he not played Wrath of God?
He doesn't have 2 white mana.
Oh, that's... So you can also just gifts here. So there is an argument for gifting for, like, either multiple Wraths or Thirst for Knowledge, Elish Norn.
Yeah, the problem is that you're still dead even if you cast Wrath, because Kitchen Finks comes back, Voice of Resurgence makes a token, you're still dead.
Yeah, I think what he's gonna go. I think what he's going for is some combination of like Thirst for Knowledge, Elish Norn, and other spells just to see what he can get from it.
I don't know what he can get. Yeah, Kataki on your upkeep.
Sacrifice all artifacts.
It's pretty good against artifacts.
Yeah, so if this was just kind of as a comment, like if this was competitive REL, it probably would have been continue as is, and both of you get warding because this is like an F&M style, not competitive. Like they're allowed to, they give a little bit more leeway with rewinding as long as both players can agree on the bet, like return to the board state. So like, if it was competitive REL, I have like very little doubt that would have just been, all right, you guys both messed up. Warning to both of you, continue the game as is. But since it was easy enough to rewind, and it wasn't, like, they just were able to rewind it.
I do have doubt, but either way.
No, because normally it's like once it progresses past one turn or something.
Yeah, it's too bad Kevin doesn't have a black source of mana here.
Yeah, they've got time extensions. Well, because the argument is, like, if both players don't agree on the board state in competitive, it's a warning.
Should be
Like,
time
both
around.
these guys know each other. Like, they play around here a lot, so, like, it's you
Yeah,
can
I
be
mean, if
fairly
they
certain
do
that
agree
they're
on the board
rebuilding.
state,
Yeah,
then-
like, you can be fairly realistic that they're building the board state correctly.
If you get land, wrath here, then
He gives
you
you
either
two
get
rats.
2 rats, or 2 lands, since Sean doesn't know about the wrath in hand. So actually, that play makes a little bit of sense, since Sean doesn't know if you have a wrath in hand or a land in hand. You could always just bet that he'll guess wrong.
Also, is
Wow,
this
that's
an
an
upkeep?
Ugin. Look at that.
So they are in turns. Does Kevin actually have a Elish Norn or Unburial Rites in his hand?
Kevin
Yeah.
has Unburial Rites.
Is
in
that
his
why he's
hand.
thinking so long?
That's
Yeah,
why
he
he's
is.
thinking so long. He's drawn the Unburial Rites, has no source of black mana. He does have an Ugin. So if he likes, he can get Ugin and be almost guaranteed that he'll be getting 2 out of the other 3
what about
cards.
like Ugin, Thirst for Knowledge, Elish Norn, and like Sphinx's Route or something stupid like that?
Something where you.
I don't think he has
definitely get
enough
the
colored
compulsive.
mana to
Is
cast.
this the other question? Is this
Sphinx's
end of turn or
Reset.
on upkeep?
I think it's on his turn.
I'm
I don't really know.
This has got to be on his turn and not the other, but I don't know. I just walked in, so. I was watching that match. I was like, what?
All right, he's made his decision. We have Ugin the Spirit Dragon, which is almost
No, it's
surely.
not confirmed yet. It's not a face
not
down. Oh, there it
getting
is.
them.
Ah.
We
Slow
have
rolling it.
basic plains, or rather basic snow-covered plains.
Alright, not giving that Ugin.
We have
Plains.
Elish Norn and Thirst for Knowledge.
Yep, this is discard outlet. There you go.
Looks like he's gonna get Plains Thirst for Knowledge. So Sean is allowing him to Unburial Rites.
Well, because you
the
can't let him
Elish
cast Ugin there. You could not let him cast Ugin there.
Right,
Also,
so why not just give him Ugin and the other card?
Because he probably
Or, sorry,
doesn't
not
realize
Ugin.
he has Unburial Rights in hand.
I guess.
He's going to get punished heavily for it right now, because now it rats his board.
But he also doesn't... he can almost assume that he must have Unburial Rights in his hand.
Also, if Sean has
if
a
he didn't gifts for it.
if Sean, I don't think Sean has a hand right now. But in response to his own persist trigger, he could path the Elish Norn and keep his guys.
In response to the persist trigger.
In response to the death triggers, so he would have
Sure.
2 triggers on his deck. He can path the Elish Norn, and then he still has lethal on board.
Before the creatures come into play.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Doesn't look like he has any paths happening.
Looks like he's discarding Unburial Rights, getting back Unburial Rights for the Elish Norn.
I could
I
see
don't-
this game being a draw if Sean doesn't have a way to deal with Elish.
He does have a card in hand. I thought it was a path.
I mean,
Wrath doesn't save Kevin. That's right, it doesn't. But Elish Norn just might. Any kind of ramp deck with Cobra? Yeah, Cobra's pretty sweet with fetch lands. Problem is, like, what are you really ramping into?
So he will gain 2 life from the persist trigger anyways, but
He
it
did
doesn't look
discard
like...
the animation. I think he did discard the animation spell.
Yeah, he did discard Unburial Rights.
He just swapped them. Alright, Elish Norn is...
oh no, what he going
doing
do
work.
now?
Though I don't think he can actually kill Sean in time.
I don't know if Sean remembered his persist trigger on the Kitchen Finks to just gain the 2 life, but I'm going to pretend like he did for the sake of this game.
Either way, since they're in turns, this game looks like it's
Yeah, because
probably
going
going
to
to be a draw.
I definitely don't think he's gonna.
The Colonnade is not quite quick enough. He has
Well,
2
he has two
Colonnades
col-
in hand, but he can't play them fast enough.
He has a Colonnade on board also and can activate the Colonnade. So Elish Norn Colonnade 2 swings is lethal.
Okay,
Because the Colonnade gets +2/+2.
sure, yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's also got vigilance, so if he can activate it again. But
Both his creatures have vigilance.
Yeah. So that's 4. Elish Norn is a 4/7, so that's 4 + 6 is 10.
Sean down to 7.
I say that's fast enough to kill him.
Yeah. That's 2-turn clock.
It's that stupid alternate
Kitchen
art
Finks.
foil. The condescend.
Oh! We hear the cries.
That
from
was the
crowd
good game,
outside.
and then Kevin's like, nope, condescended. So that was game for Kevin. That was a mistriggered nightmare.
Didn't even need that entire Worm Coil Legend. Because he sacked the Worm Coil and then he sacked the tokens that he got for it. He basically just gave up an entire Worm Coil Legend and still managed to win. So we have the power of you, Blue White Tron, against
Alright, for
Creature deck.
all of you sticking with us with that very interesting match, I'll say, the mistriggers galore. We have this to raffle off to you guys. This is a Spanish Emrakul. I will open up the raffle in a second. I'm going to give time for the video to catch up. In order to enter the raffle, you type in !raffle. Just do what everyone else does. And then we draw after giving you guys some time to enter. And we will send you a message if you won, and we'll also announce it in chat. So it's pretty sweet. Emrakul's pretty kick-ass. I'm going to close the raffle because it's not supposed to be open. So you're going to have to put it in after I open the raffle. You guys have to give it a second.
Who's gonna get this Spanish Emrakul? Wow. New followers.
Thank you, Left Side 50 and Winged Orpheus. As a reminder, you have to be followed in order to enter.
Good luck in the raffle.
Good luck, everybody. It is for a very nice looking Spanish Emrakul. And it's the promo, so... Oh, and even the date on the promo is in Spanish. Although,
What does it say? Let me read it. I want to read this.
it looks like it says of 2070 because the 1 is weird.
Cuando lances a Emrakul, toma un turno adicional.
Also, look at the 1 on the 2010. It looks like 2070. So this
Yeah.
Emrakul looks like it's from the future.
Future Emrakul. That's sick. Thank you for following Sage, Mech Turtle 1, and somebody else. Your name disappeared too quickly. Mr. Arkansas 870.
Thank you all for following. Thank you guys all for coming out and joining with us tonight. A lot
Yeah.
of you stuck with us for all 4 rounds. If you came in at the end and still like us, good for you.
I
We
appreciate
enjoy
your
having
help
followers.
with the life totals and with
Yes. Paying attention to
cards in
everything
hand.
going on and commentating on it and keeping track of life totals can
Love
be
it.
challenging. So thank you guys for the help. We appreciate it.
Thank you for signing up, Zach Pones You. Appreciate the compliment, if that is a compliment. Might also just be the person's name.
Yeah, I hope you guys were able to enjoy it. We had some pretty interesting decks going on.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be closing the raffle soon. I'm gonna wait a few minutes and type in it, a few seconds to type in chat so the video catches up, because it looks like it's slowing down.
Yo, it'd be like Dave Show. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
They just finished the
Wrapping it up.
match.
All right, the countdown is starting to the end of the raffle. 5, 4, 3. We're getting the simultaneous type countdown and audio
It's actually not
countdown.
simultaneous because
Yeah,
we're like
it's
30
not
seconds
remotely
behind.
simultaneous.
It is not
Yeah,
even
if you guys
slightly
put-
simultaneous.
Listen,
It
if
seems
you guys-
simultaneous to me, but
If you guys put exclamation point waffle, I will make waffles. And then I can
we have a
close.
promise to make waffles if you
I will make
exclamation
waffle.
point
If
a
you put
waffle.
exclamation
For
waffle,
GP Omaha.
For GP Omaha.
Thrixis. However you pronounce your name. The guy who we couldn't pronounce his name earlier in
It's
chat.
Thyrix
How
6.
angry were everybody watching all of the misfigures that last game?
They were
How
pleased.
angry
They
was
were
everybody?
quite pleased.
Were they? Like,
That's
these
hilarious.
people suck at matches.
It's so funny.
All right, we have a
Congrats,
waffle.
Thrixis.
Austin, you're on for making
Uh-oh.
waffles.
May have lied.
I'm giving this away tomorrow.
Alrighty, let the legacy people know that because I will not be here.
I'm just saying you can tell the people stream to watch tomorrow.
Oh yeah, there's also going to be a playmat raffled off from Texas Rager, who was the guy who you couldn't hear because this thing does not have enough, couldn't see because this thing does not have enough room for 3 chairs. EMRAKUL.
The Emrakul has gone to Thyrix 6.
Tyrix. What kind of Emrakul?
It's a Spanish Emrakul.
Pretty awesome.
The Eon's Torn.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We had
I'm
some
not cool.
great matches
Los
today.
Eones desgarrados.
Exactly.
No puede ser contra.
Thank you for trying to pronounce all this stuff out loud and making my terrible Spanish accent sound just slightly better by comparison.
About that last game and how.
That was so.
Contra-
I also like the magic
worthless
haste
worm.
on the
Cuando
worm
lances
tokens.
a Emrakul.
What?
I like the
When you
magic
throw
haste on the worm
Emrakul?
tokens. When they had to rewind the game because you gave them haste.
Toma un turno.
I thought it was all part of your plan, just setting him up for wrath.
Yeah. Like,
Vuela.
No.
Protección
that
contra.
Yeah.
That was the
hechizos
plan.
de
I just didn't
color.
hit
Second white source.
Eventually.
Aniquilado.
Just in time.
No, I had to guess for it.
You had to gifts for your white source. Yeah.
Oh,
it was
it's
an interesting play. He didn't realize you had unburial rights in your
He's
hand.
spelling the.
thirst allergy.
He is correcting the enunciation of his name. It is Herixis. Any guys, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. We are going to be shutting down now. Join us again tomorrow at 7:30. It will not be us exactly, but it'll be 2 other people for Legacy. I believe Mark is going to be doing it tomorrow, so if you like being entertained by him and sometimes his talk of bear sex, come to us tomorrow and see what I'm talking about.
Congratulations,
And-
Herix 6.
Hey.
Thank you guys for sticking around. Have a great night.
One last message. Here's the raffle tomorrow.
This will be added to the raffle tomorrow, so have a good evening, guys. Thanks for coming out. We will see you later.